Waverley Hawks last week, which was a bit of an 8-point game as well. Both sides before that match sitting on the 4 wins. So they are still certainly in the race, the Eastern Lions, but cannot afford to drop this one. A man who's been all over the stats since he's been back from his trip in Germany. It's so long ago now, we don't have to keep talking about it. He's going around the grounds this afternoon and chiming in whenever he likes, of course. It is Wayne Brasher. Good afternoon to you, mate.
Yeah, good afternoon, BWS. Good afternoon, listeners. Another fantastic and intriguing contest this afternoon. A must-win game, I feel, for Eastern Lions to keep their finals hope alive, whereas for Forest Hills, they can still maintain the rage and keep the pressure on the top 2.
Great to have you on board. We'll also be having a man down on the boundary line this afternoon. He doesn't have to bring the umbrella, hopefully, out onto the park today like he has recently, but he's nicely settled in the caravan at the moment after his huddle debut last night, which was fantastic. Very good afternoon to Will Jong.
Oh, thanks, mate. Thanks for letting me come on the pre-game. But yeah, I'll be down on the boundary today. We came out here yesterday, set up the van, and there was about a foot of water around the ground, and the sun's luckily soaked some of that up, but it'll be a very sloppy and muddy game today, I reckon.
Damo, we're going to get some guests coming in shortly. We'll talk to both of the senior coaches and, of course, the home club president, which we always do. But you've been quite busy throughout the year of 2016. You're now back on board. You've kept a close eye on what's been happening across the Eastern Football League. How have you seen the season pan out so far?
Well, it certainly has been intriguing. Probably the big surprise for me, and I've since learnt there's been a number of exodus of players from Norwood. Their drop to 8th position. I know they're still in the finals hunt and there's still a long way to go, but that was a big surprise for me, and I've been impressed with Rowville in that particular division as well. So those are the things that have caught my eye so far this season, and it'll be interesting to see in the back half whether things will change or will it be replicated from the previous couple of months that followed. And it'll be certainly one of the more intriguing things to look at in the run home in Division 1.
Brash, you didn't get a chance to check out Forest Hill earlier on in the season. You must be looking forward to seeing what the Zebras can bring out on the park today.
Yeah, look, clearly at the moment, BWS, they're probably, if not the second best, but more so the third best side in Division 4 so far this season. They've gone about their business in a very workmanlike fashion, not spectacularly, but they've been getting the job done. Just there's still a few concerns with me. I think Marty's still having issues with settling the side down. They continue to make 3 or 4 changes a week, whether that's because of injury or a mixture of poor form and that. And knowing Martin, he's probably wanting a lot more from some of his players now towards the back end of the season. And I'm sure as we hit the finals, he want to be starting to settle that side down a bit even more.
It's a big year for Martin Stillman this year, isn't it, Damo?
He is. Not only, of course, the exalted position of the coach of the Forest Hill Footy Club, but the CEO of Little Athletics Australia. And I'll be asking him how he thinks the track and field team will perform in Rio with the games only a couple of weeks away. That'll be very interesting as he is in charge of the body governing some of the future stars of the Australian Olympic team for weeks to come. But I think Forest Hill would be in the box seat this afternoon. They are in good form despite the implications of some of the changes that Brash mentioned earlier, and I think they'll go in as favourites today despite the wet conditions.
If the Aussie blokes don't get mugged before they make it to the track.
What do we think of the condition of the ground out here at today, guys?
Well, it's probably not the best I've seen this ground. It looks like the middle looks okay, but around the wings and half forwards, it looks a bit muddy. So both sides would be probably wanting to play through the middle a lot more today.
Always makes it tougher when there's been wet weather over the last couple of weeks, and then you're the third game on the day to come out onto the park. Currently in the reserves, it is the Forest Hill Football Club leading the Eastern Lions 4-5-29 by 16 points. So the Lions 2-1-13. There's a good crowd out here at Fair Park. Make sure you get down here if you're in the area. There are still plenty of parks around, and you can park across the ground as well, as we've got some local supporters just coming along and giving the old thumbs up. There's Cooper Dooley, one of the Oz kickers, just playing in front of the van. So no doubt we'll get a shot of him on camera later on. He's one of the young guys, Brash, who I had a kick a few weeks ago before I came into the studio. So
it's your number one fan, BWS.
He's a really good kid. I worked with his old man who he's having a kick with at the moment. So good to get him in and show him what it's all about. But Well, the Eastern Lions, well, it looks like we might just have our first guest just coming into the studio. Fantastic, good stuff. Hopefully we can get him a headset. Come over here, Spud. It's great to have you come and join us on pre-match. We've just introduced the team and talked about how happy we are to be out at the Eastern Lions here today. Thanks as a club for having us out here, and you boys must be really looking forward to the challenge.
Oh, absolutely. Pleasure to have you out here again, by the way. But yeah, great day for footy. The ground's holding up really well, and got the sun out, and we're pretty keen to get into it soon.
Just had the team meeting in the club rooms there. What was the main message that you said to the boys today?
Oh, just we had to go back to attitude and effort, unfortunately for us. We've been so strong in those categories for the majority of the season, and a little slip with that over the break in the way that we prepared, and also the way we fronted up last week was hugely disappointing for us. We've counted most of the challenges that have come our way this year, but we've got high expectations for ourselves, and just that effort that we put out last week we found hugely disappointing. So we're really trying to address that today.
How crucial is this game in the context of your season, given that you're in the running to make the finals race? Kilsyth currently hold that final spot, and if they prevail today against the White Horse Pioneers, they'll be 2 games ahead. How big is this game this afternoon in the run home for your season?
Yeah, they're all going to be huge for us, and we're hopeful that we're going to be in the contest to get them going the right way for us. Every week now is just going to have to be finals preparation for us to actually get to the finals, so that'll put us in good stead if we come out the way we want to. But unfortunately, we've made our bed, and we're in the position that we're in, and we've got some chasing to do.
And given the conditions as well, do you think the physicality will come into the match as a big factor this afternoon? And do you think you can stand up against the big bodies of Forest Hill, particularly in the centre corridor?
Yes, so I'd expect it to be a physical contest. We wouldn't be hiding from that. We enjoy the thick of it, and our central line was talented midfield,
And mate, with the slot,
been spoilt for conditions in most of the season so far. We will see, but yeah, look, it's got its parts of the ground that does have a lot more moisture than others. The centre's up pretty well, and hopefully we can take some advantage of those things.
Games most of the season, it seems like
They're pretty similar in the last couple of years, but we do boring factor for us in the second half of the year. Relies on a few opportunities that have behinds, and we're really chasing that momentum shifting 4-goal spell, and we haven't managed to get that. So we've let some opportunities slip, but we do feel that the club has made some big strides this year. So it's disappointing to see the position on the ladder, but we feel internally there's some really good growth.
I know you've lost your last 2, and I mean, look, there've been 11 points and 30 points, but you had 3 really good wins in a row, which built momentum. Those 2 losses, was it because that you copped some injuries to some players that took a bit of momentum out of the side, or is it just the fact that it was just that the other sides just played better on the day and you just didn't have the personnel to cope with that?
We are a pretty young side, and our depths have been tested, that's for sure. But I feel that the win came out of our sails right at the end of Surrey. We actually still felt comfortable and confident right to the end of the game, and we lost that in the last couple of minutes. I think that unfortunately that momentum did slide a little bit, and then that break I feel really did hamper us rather than help us. You want to give these players that little break. They do commit themselves hugely, but unfortunately, I think we really took our foot off so much and were slow to get back to the training that following week. And I think that showed on the park last week, which was just such some subpar footy really for us, I think.
And you were held scoreless in the final term against Glebe Waverley last week. Has that been an issue addressed during the week, and how do you feel the side can rectify that?
Yes, we were really disappointed with the majority of the game last week. We've worked hard on the track this week, even in the pouring down rain on Thursday. And I think the attitude across the ground is the main thing we're looking at, and that seems to be a lot more in place now. And I'm really hopeful to see our leaders step up and lead from the front today and really get that that momentum going again for us. That saw some improvement earlier in the season and are stacking up against every opponent. So, yeah, we're hopeful of that today.
Sorry, mate. Enjoying the senior coaching gig?
Yeah, third year in.
Yeah. And you've still got some flowing locks and no greys either.
No, there's plenty of greys.
You envy him, Ben.
There's plenty of greys if you look closely enough. They're coming in thick and fast, and I feel like I am aging a little advanced. But no, it's a big challenge. It's a huge one. Huge rewards and also huge frustration at times. I wouldn't change it too much. We work really hard as a group. I've got a lot of great support down the club now too, and there's been a lot of improvements in the club as well, and that's seen some of the benefits going on.
Well, great to have you on pre-match, mate. Thanks for sharing 5 or 10 minutes with us. Hope it all goes well for the Eastern Lions out here today. We've been looking forward to coming out and watching you guys for the whole season. So all the best, and hopefully we're talking to you at the end of the game. A very happy man.
Thanks very much, guys. Always subscribe to the coverage, so good to be part of it today.
Thank you very much to Lee Murphy, the senior coach of the Eastern Lions Football Club, the home side out here today at Fair Park. The second half has started here in the twos, and it's still a 16-point lead to the Forest Hill Football Club. But great to have Spud come in and have a chat to us, Brash. One of the youngest coaches in the Eastern Football League, into his third season now. But they have shown progression in each of those years, and that they're certainly moving in the right direction.
They are, and look, he speaks well. He's a very impressive individual, BWS, and I think the Eastern Lions are going to be really benefit from his experience. And I reckon in the next couple of years, I think Lee Murphy is going to become one of the best coaches in the EFL system that we've got.
One of the advantages of being well spoken, I know because of his age, he's relatively young.
Yep.
That can leave the vulnerability of questioning his authority if you're one of the players, because the age gap is so small. But he seems to be so well spoken and so in control of his planning and implementations on the ground. I don't think that's a real problem for him, so that's a real asset.
I think just going on with that, Damian, I think you're right, because in the days gone on, the coaches, like the bravado and but nowadays you've got to talk to people and players, and obviously being of a young age, he can actually drop onto those younger guys' wavelength probably a lot easier. And I think that makes the communication side of things are more advantageous for him, say, maybe than an older, experienced coach. But that's not taking anything away from that type of coach.
And what he was saying as well, Brash, was that it wasn't just about game plan when he was telling us about the problems the team was going. He was talking about the attitudes. So when you were saying there about the communication he has, if he can really assess the attitude of his players on and off the ground, that's going to be very advantageous for him and the Lions.
Forest Hill Football Club, they've won 5 games in a row now, Brash. So they're one of the informed sides of Division 4, aren't they?
Yep. I mean, you have a look at it. You look at their scores: 5 points, 63, 24, 12, and 2. A couple of close wins there, BWS. But I reckon you learn more about your football club in close wins than you do by winning in 10 goals. And sometimes you've got to have those close games. Especially when you're heading into a finals like they will be again this year, it'll set them in great stead, because then they know how to absorb pressure when sides come at you, and that's a really, really big plus coming into the second back half of the season, because they'll probably get to play the Kilsyths and Furniture Gullies and Donvales again, and there's probably a good possibility that they may be able to sneak a win or two against them sides leading up to the finals.
Matthew Cardelli with 55 goals thus far for the season. How does the Eastern Lions defence curb his influence, Brash?
Well, the thing is, they're probably going to have to try and chop his space off, play one in front and then one come from behind. Very much like you probably have to play like a Luke Barker, because he's pretty quick off the mark. I mean, but if you take the 20 goals that he out of that, he's kicked 35 for the season, and not denigrating that performance.
No, well, that's still an average of 4+.
That's
anyway.
right.
Yeah.
So look, Matt Carnelli's been a sensational player in this competition for many, many years. He's a very wily veteran, and it always takes a good footballer to play on him each week.
The Division 4 ladder as it stands at the moment, we all know the run that Ferntree Gully have been on in the back half of last year. They've won 10 on the trot after getting a pretty big scare out at Kilsyth last weekend. But Donvale are in second. They dropped one they probably didn't expect to last week either. They've got the 8 wins for the year. Forest Hill just the 1 win behind them on 7. Then Kilsyth, they're in the 4, but they've got 5 wins, but so does the Glen Waverley Hawks. Surrey Park also have 5 wins, and then the Eastern Lions and the Whitehorse Pioneers are on 4 wins apiece. So effectively, that fourth, are you saying, when you mentioned Forest Hill, they'll be there in finals, are you locking in those top 3 sides at the moment and they'll be there come September?
Yeah, look, barring injury, I think those 3 sides will. But those 3 sides will determine. I can't go who's going to be the premier. Well, I think at the moment Ferntree Gully is certainly firm favourites. But as we've known in many final series, doesn't necessarily mean when you finish on top you're going to win a grand final. That's not the guarantee. You're only guaranteed of winning a minor premiership, and that's all. Finals is a just different football game. Forest Hill have gone through enough heartache in recent years. They should be now ready to atone for their and seek redemption. I feel.
You've been chatting to Nick Pincott on the sidelines, Brash?
Yeah, I have. And look, interestingly enough, he just thought that after a bit of a chat yesterday, sometimes when wet weather conditions and grounds can often bring the most highly of skilled sides down to the other side's level. And it sort of actually levels up the game a little bit because, you know, you've got to play a different type of football. And let's be honest, the winter that we're having in Melbourne this year is a little bit more unseasonal that we've had in past. The last 2 have been pretty mild and the grounds have really held up. But especially over the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've had lots of rain and it's gone back to the sort of conditions of old, you know, typical wintry conditions where you got to get down and dirty, and it really, this is when the inside players really come to the fore, especially in the midfield.
Yeah, it's one of the intrinsic parts of local football as well. And when you mentioned Ferntree Gully, Brash, they do have that history of falling down in September. They've always been around the mark in the last few years. I know they had an off year in 2015, but do you feel that could be a factor mentally as they play finals?
Look, I think Ferntree Gully have been working towards a premiership in Division 4. They've been roundabout like BWS. I think they won their last 6 or 7 last year and their first 10 this year. So they're on a 17-game run, unbeaten streak. Hard to keep that momentum going, but I think the big difference at Ferntree Gully this year is the fact that they've recruited some players from some higher divisions, and that's added a little bit of stability and experience to the existing playing group, and it's reaped benefits so far for them this season.
Well, let's introduce our next guest on the A1 Airport Parking pre-match show, and it's the senior coach of the Forest Hill Football Club, Martin Stillman. Good afternoon to you, mate, and we're looking forward to the game today, and I'm sure your boys are as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me in, and it's a great day for wet weather footy.
Can we hear it? Have you got
his
Martin
mic's
through?
on.
Yeah, okay. Let's. Don't know where Brucey is, but it doesn't seem like something's not quite happening there. But we were just talking about how the club's on a bit of a roll at the moment. So you've had the 5 wins on the trot now, so that's some really good confidence heading into the back half of the season.
Yeah, look, it's been good. I thought it was going to take us a good 6 or 8 weeks to gel with so many new players, obviously a new coach, new game style. So I thought the Kilsyth game round 6 was the one that turned around for us. We had a really good, hard-fought 5-point win. The Donvale game also, while we went down by 4 points, that was a good game for us. And the boys are just starting to come together as a group. So the last 6 weeks have been good.
Brash mentioned on the pre-match that you absorbed the pressure last week as well against Surrey Park and came out in a tight victory. How much confidence do you take out of that and the fact that you have absorbed the pressure, it hardens you up for the finals, and you're used to a myriad of different finishes, whether it be convincing victories and also those tight, scrappy wins? That must take a lot of heart and a lot of benefit for the side.
Absolutely, and you train for that when you're a goal or so in front, and you've got 2 or 3 minutes left and control the play and slow play, as they call it. So they're just crucial, those games. When you win by less than a kick, if you drop those couple of games, we're back in the pack. 5-5 with a cluster of other clubs. So sometimes you just got to find a way just to get across the line, and again, you know, it was a big game for the club with Christian Holdsworth's 300th game, and I think sometimes it's those little things that just drive the players a little bit harder to get the win. But we knew if we won that game, and Ferntree Gully did the right thing by us, we're a game behind Donvale and 2 games clear in 3rd spot. So it was an 8-point win for us, really, in that respect. And that just means that today, as I just said to the boys, this is another crucial game because you can undo all your good work by dropping a game to a team that on ladder position is under you. And they're going to be really hard. We had a really good tussle against Eastern Lions earlier in the year. I think we got across the line by 3 goals in the end, and on their deck with heavy conditions, it just brings the teams back a bit. So we're expecting a real fierce contest.
I think you guys had the home ground advantage in your last contest, as you said, about 3 goals, 20 points. Do you feel that the boys will be more confident coming out against, like, as an away team? So you're coming out to a deck which is very sloppy, very choppy, and it's away from home. Does that have as large an effect as we would think? We always say, you know, the home ground advantage is such a big difference in these games. What are the boys feeling going into this one?
Look, the size of the ground is very similar to Forest Hill, so you know, I don't think it holds any concerns for us. It's heavy. You know, we trained in heavy conditions Thursday night, so you know, usually when we move to grounds like Coldstream or Ferntree Gully, the other grounds, that's where we have to adjust our game because we're playing on a larger deck. But the size dimension's very similar, so it's just you know, a couple of heavy pockets. So I don't think the ground will have any excuse for us today in terms of our performance.
Martin, when we look at the Forest Hill side throughout the year, I've noticed on a week-to-week basis you've had to make a few changes. Is that the fact that you still are not happy with the dynamics of the side, or is it because injury has sort of played a part and forced your hand a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit of both. You're right. As you can see with our reserve grade team, who are you know, a couple of players today, so it's a like to get sometimes your hands forced.
The dynamic around, especially from
today. Cheers.
Thank you very much to Mark. The Caravan is the place to be on a cold winter, and they keep right with open arms. He is the senior.
Away from 4th position. That's sort of we had a look, and we hadn't realised coming up this year. So 700th game in 2 weeks against Nunawading at home. I know that sounds like a stitch up. It actually is our 700th game. That game, it's not some sort of setup we've done. We've looked at the things and we said it actually has landed on the home game against Nunawading. So that's going to be huge. It's great to celebrate the history of the club. We're going to have all the past players down here and have some celebrations. So it's going to be a big occasion down here.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the past players. There'll be a big reunion. There have been many that have gone on to success stories at higher levels for the Eastern Lions, just looking back.
Well, not in the way of leaving our club to play in higher division. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, the AFL onto higher things. I know it's a relatively young club.
It's as you see, we've only been going for 700 games, just around just about 46 years. So that build-up's hard. I mean, Alan Richardson used to be a coach down here. I suppose look at him. He's stepped up from the junior footy, so he came back and did a talk to the group last year. So he's probably the most notable.
Yeah, and what about its club sponsors as well? Give a shout out to them that keep you afloat.
Yeah, great time at the moment. Tax for Tradies is in the back of our jumpers there. It's tax time, so get around the Tax for Tradies there. Go to our website and you'll find out all about them. There's tradies out there, so get around them. And of course, I'm
not very handy.
Not
very technical. I don't know what I am. But I do need to do my tax for the last couple of years, so maybe maybe I should go and have a word. I think so. And also the barbecue smelling pretty good over there. Yeah, and Dyson Baker on the huddle earlier in the season after the night game gave you guys a below average score. So we're all going to go down and try it today and try and rectify that for you guys.
Well, like I said, we do some good feed, but it's never presented well with Rocket working fine on the bar. He just slaps it on, does it out there like that. Tell you what, the roast beef rolls are in the canteen. If you're not happy with that, go hit them up later on this afternoon. They go like hotcakes, so jump in.
Just as long as you don't let Bruce Pritchard near that hamburger thing, mate, I'll be fine.
All right.
Well, thanks for joining us on EFL Game Day. Thanks for having us again, and we'll have a chat to you later, Luke.
Sure.
Thanks very much to Luke Gordon, the Senior President of the Eastern Lions Football Club. Well, that's half-time here on the A1 Airport Parking pre-match show. So time to head to a break, and we'll come back and go through the other 20 great games as you go local for your football today. we're having a little bit of trouble with our ad breaks at the moment, but certainly we do have some great sponsors that are on board with us this year, and I do have them in front of me as well, so we can give them a little bit of a plug, Damo. The first one is our goal of the day and our sponsor of our boundary riders, which is Chiropedic Betting, who have jumped on board with some great sponsorship this year with the Eastern Football League. The goal of the day gets a $100 voucher at any Chiropedic betting store throughout Melbourne. There's a lot of stores out west and north, but there is one of their main stores in Nunawading and also one in Pakenham, which covers the eastern suburbs. And they've also got a special going, which has been running all year, which is 10% off anything in the shop, regardless of whether it's on special or not, if you show your EFL membership as well. So you have to be a member of a football club to go down, flash your card, and you get an extra 10% off. So great to have them on board this year.
Yes, indeed. And Nunawading would be the golden mile of bed retailers, so it's good to see that they're part of that.
Well, it is along that huge stretch
Whitehorse
between
Road,
on Whitehorse Road. I'm not going to mention the other betting companies because that wouldn't be right. But
they're in the mix.
Smack bang in the middle of them. The Pancake Parlour is that's been lovely for a very long time to the Eastern Football League, so it's great to have them back on board, and they sponsor our play of the day, which is a $50 Pancake Parlour voucher, which goes to what we see fit as one of the best players of the day. So that's always an exciting one to pick, and it always leaves us scratching our heads at the end of the game to see which was that play, because there's always so many great ones.
It's lovely for our stomachs too, I must say.
And certainly, Brash always likes to get around it. There's no doubt about that. The mark of the day is the A1 Airport Parking voucher, which is a $50 voucher to go towards your long-term stay out at Melbourne Airport. And I can tell you what, I use this place every single week. I do leave a car out at the airport, and they are absolutely fantastic. So get on board with those. There's a nice little extra plug there for the sponsors, but we are going to have a genuine break at the moment. Then we'll come back. We're going to start with Division 1 football, and we'll work ourselves right through to what is going to be an epic clash out here today between the Eastern Lions and Forest Hill.
Dave and his mates are flying to the Gold Coast to watch their team play the Suns. Do they B, pay too much for a taxi, C, hope for an airport rail link this century, or D, get a lift from a mate and hope for the best when they fly home?
What about A for A1 Airport Parking?
At A1 Airport Parking, get 2 days for $25, 3 days for $34, or get 7 days parking for just $69. And at just 5 minutes from the airport, they'll get you there in time for your flight and pick you up when you get home. Show your footy or sporting club membership anytime you park and get 10% off. A1airportparking.com.au.
Program sponsor.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man.
Hope we win this weekend.
Oh, I hope we win too. Because I want to kick some weekend goals at Pancake Parlour after the game.
Because if your AFL team wins, you can go in and get a free sweet pancake with any savoury menu item purchase.
Oh, free pancake. First your team wins and then your belly wins.
It's win-win, man.
Claim your free sweet pancake with any savoury item purchase just by showing your winning team's colours.
Or your team membership.
At any Pancake Parlour this weekend.
Oh, and don't forget, check out Facebook for this week's offer.
Lovely.
Program sponsor.
Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. It's the Aussie family company that's been manufacturing mattresses in Melbourne since 1991. They offer a huge range, and selected mattresses come with everyday deals like free delivery, old mattress removal, 30-day comfort guarantee, and up to 20 years warranty. Buy direct from the factory and never pay retail prices again. Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. Locations all around Melbourne and country Victoria. Or shop online 24/7 for mattresses, bases, beds, pillows, and custom-sized mattresses at chiropedic.net.au.
Program sponsor.
Join a brand new lineup for The Huddle as the gang take a light-hearted look at the Eastern Football League every Friday night. More importantly, the team will reveal the ins and outs for this week's round of matches. The Huddle, 4:30 to 6:30 every Friday evening as you love it local. Never miss out on the latest information on the Eastern Football League through the league's social media channels. Live updates, information and scores through the league's Twitter account.
Real people, real stories.
Whether I'm driving the morning coach is very
It's emotional, it's uplifting, it's rewarding, and it's a vocation. It's not a job, and I love it.
Watch the A Day in the Life video series now at tobinbrothersfunerals.com.au for an insight into the specialised work they do. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating 80 years of service.
Program sponsor.
EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to EFL.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best.
Welcome back to Fair Park out here at the Eastern Lions, right across the road from EFL headquarters. And big crowd out here today, and as I said earlier in the piece, get down here. The sun has finally come out in Melbourne town, so a great opportunity to get down and watch some local football wherever you may be in the at Moreton Park. It is Blackburn taking on Doncaster. There's no change for the Burners. For Doncaster, they have two changes. In is Raymond and Valkenburg. Out is Batista and Rumboldi. How do we see this one panning out, Brash?
Well, I think BWS, this is a game where I think that Blackburn probably should be winning at home, but I like the way Doncaster, they rebounded well last week. They had a fantastic victory. It's going to be a hard yakka for them down there today, but I think they're going to get the job done.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Blackburn can contain the versatility of the Doncaster players from one end of the ground to the other. They're so even and balanced, and we've seen that many times in recent seasons. It's the reason why they've elevated themselves a couple of divisions within the space of a short period of 2 or 3 years. So I think Doncaster could get the job done today. It'll solidify their position in the top bracket.
Yeah. And also just worth mentioning, Blackburn will be coming out firing after a 6-goal loss last week, 5 or 6 goal loss. And I think this game will really separate the table a bit. We spoke to Luke before. He was saying that it's very close across all the divisions, but in the Premier Division, there's one game separating those 4 teams. So it's a very even keel. So this game will really set 2 games apart for the 2 teams, and it should be interesting to see what happens.
I've been on the Doncaster bandwagon all season, and I'm not jumping off. Don't be worried, Sharks fans, but I've just got a feeling that Blackburn are going to take home the points today. Home ground advantage is going to play a key part in this one. They went down to North Ringwood a few weeks ago in a terrible display. They usually bounce back strongly, but they came up against an informed Norwood. I think today they'll be really hungry for the victory, and I'm going to tip them in a bit of an upset out there at Blackburn. So it'll be the Red Jackets versus the Navy Blue Jackets out there today. Both supporters always out in force, there's no doubt about that. Let's have a look at the next game, and it's out at Knox Gardens Reserve between the Falcons and the Tigers. That's Knox and Balwyn. For Knox, they've got 3 changes. Curtis, Hannon and Lenny and Kenny come in, and for Balwyn, Sanfilippo and Thomas come in to their side. Brash, Balwyn easy in this one?
Yes, unfortunately, BWS, I don't expect Knox to put up much resistance. Balwyn, even though they've got injuries to the side, they just continue to keep forging ahead. And look, once again, they'll probably kick the sweep this afternoon, but look, for Knox, it's still not all doom and gloom. They go out there and they give everything they've got once a week, but lack of personnel will once again come to the fore, and Balwyn should get the points by about 60.
The biggest Achilles heel, I think, for the Falcons is their forward line. They only average about 5 or 6 goals a game, and the Balwyn defence is very, very resolute, as we've seen in recent years, and that'll be the difference. Balwyn easily for me.
Couldn't agree more with you boys. Balwyn for me as well.
Yeah, Balwyn will take home the points today. Out at Seabeck Oval, a huge clash between Roval and Noble Park. This one certainly wets the whistle. Ray Baird's giving himself the Saturday afternoon off to swan on down in his Roval undies out there at Seabeck. So he'll be looking forward to that and keeping us up to date with all the scores throughout the afternoon. 2 changes for Roval. McEwen and Robertson come in, so a couple of big ins for them. Noble Park, just the one change. Kelly comes in, but Anderson goes out. Which way is this one going to go, Brash?
I've been agonising about this game all week, BWS, because of the fact that both Roval and Noble Park coming off losses last week. Roval coming off an unexpected loss by a point last week. Noble Park, after a barnstorming 6-3 last quarter, failed by 3 points to get over the line at Vermont. You look at the two, both these sides are just going okay at the moment without being spectacular. I just think that at home, I just think Roval have just got a little bit more polish, and I think they'll get over the line, but I reckon there'll be only about 2 goals in it.
I believe it'll be a tight contest as well. The Hawks, for me, at home, they've been the more polished performer this season, and I think they can prevail.
Yeah, I think just that home ground advantage is probably the only difference. I could split the two and they'll just get the job done.
Yeah, it's definitely the toughest game to pick all week, that's for sure. I'm going for Noble Park in this one, and I'm not just trying to be the devil's advocate of you guys here in the caravan, but Bulls have been in really good form. They were so close to another victory last week, which will have really hurt them, and I think they'll come out firing against Roval today. I think it'll be low scoring, and I think it'll be really close. Next game to have a look at is out at the Kennel, Cheon Park, between South Croydon and Norwood. 3 changes for the Doggies. McKernan, King and Rooney come in, and also 3 changes for the Norsemen, Kemp, Holmes and O'Neill. How do we see this one, Brash?
Well, Cheong Park's always a bit of a graveyard for some of these top sides, and Norwood this time have to travel down there. And look, I expect this to be a pretty close contest on paper this afternoon. South Croydon, on their day, if they can get things going their way, they'll be in this game for a long time. I just think that the experience of the Norwood Football Club, who have gained some confidence, they've won their last 3. They're on a bit of a roll now with Lee Williams back in the side, and he'll take he'll take South Croydon's best backman. I just think that Norwood will just continue to build and make it 4 in a row.
More on the line for Norwood compared to South Croydon this week. I think they'll win very easily.
And they had a good win last week as well, Norwood, so I think they'll continue that one and they'll win this week.
Yeah, it's always difficult to play out at Cheon against South Croydon, but Norwood's form is too good to go past on the recent week, so I believe they will take home the points. Vermont versus Montrose down at Tarara Road, Vermont Recreation Reserve. 2 wins for Vermont this weekend, which is Minchin and McComb come in, while for Montrose they've made 3 changes: Kane, McIntosh and Waters. Brash, your boys, the purple and gold, how are they going to go today?
Well, look, they've done nothing wrong so far this season, but BWS, 9 and a draw. They've had their injury worries, but the depth of the club has really carried them through so far this season. They've got really good players, doing a job for the club. No spectacular guys, but, one bloke we're starting to see the best of, and I reckon he's going to have a ripper half of the season, is Tommy Schneider, a 40-possession player before he did a leg. He's just come back into the side and he's fitted in really, really well, and he's starting to run again and kick those 2 or 3 goals. But the Vermont of old would have relied on 1 or 2 goal kickers, but the Vermont of new have multiple goal kickers, and they have a great steady back line and a really solid midfield and on-ball squad. I expect them once again today to get the points up at Tarara Road.
Vermont, but only in a tight one for me. I think that after their slight victory over Noble Park, I think it took a lot out of them, but the Eagles should prevail.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how they do respond after that 3-pointer last week, and I think they'll get over the line this week.
Vermont win for mine. Tomorrow afternoon on EFL Game Day, the standalone clash between North Ringwood and East Ringwood, a great local rivalry out at Quamby, and hasn't this game turned into an absolute ripper. North Ringwood have 2 changes, Ursich and Weeks come in, and for the East Ringwood side they've got 3, Williams, Walsh and Symes. So looking forward to heading out there tomorrow to Quamby. It's the first time the media team's been out there for a long time. How do you see this one panning out, Brash?
Well, look, this is a really good contest between 2 very even sides now. North Ringwood are on a real roll at the moment. They're coming for, they've won their 3 or 4 now, going for 4 in a row tomorrow, and they could put themselves back in the finals hunt with the victory over East Ringwood. Quamby is a really, really difficult ground for any side to come up and play, and North Ringwood play it so well. And for that reason, I expect North Ringwood, with Tommy Hill back in form and the power force getting in and under, I expect them to get the job done tomorrow.
Conversely, I think East Ringwood might cause an upset from Brash's perspective. North Ringwood would be physically sapped after last week's win. I think East Ringwood would take the chocolates.
I'm with you, Brash. I think North Ringwood just over the line. They actually do have the better percentage over Eastern, despite being a couple of positions down. It is a close competition, and I think they'll just get over the line this week.
Both sides been playing really good football of late, which makes it even more exciting to be heading down to Quamby. Not going to tip against the Saints, who I haven't backed the last couple of weeks. I was dirty when they played Blackburn. I should have backed them because we saw how good they were against Knox. They haven't lost a game since. They go in as my favourite and think they'll take home the points. And looking forward to Ronnie's Quamby burger. There's no doubt about that. Division 2 action today out at Croydon Park. The Blues take on the Tigers. Croydon and Mitcham. 2 changes for the Blues. Hager and Blight come in, while Glossop comes back into the side for Mitcham. They'll be wrapped about that one. Who's going to take home the points in this one, Wayne?
Well, I believe Brendan Wynett's not playing today, BWS.
He's out. That's a big out.
That is a huge out for them because he's been their #1 goal kicker for a long time. Mitcham, on the other hand, their form has been up and down, but that's more so the fact that of a side coming up from Division 3 to Division 2, they're just going to have their weeks where they're on and they're off against the better opposition. I'm going to tip the upset. I think Mitcham are going to get the job done today. I just feel that there's a lot. I just don't. There's something. The dynamics at Croydon are just not there at the moment for mine.
Well, without Wyner, it'll be difficult to find the scoring power for the Blues, so Mitcham for me.
Mitcham for me as well.
I get the feeling that Wyner going out is going to open it a little bit up for them, and where we've called them a little bit too one-dimensional in the past, I think Paul Newlands might be throwing out a few tricks this afternoon. Wet weather football out at Croydon Park. They're second on the bottom, but a game and percentage outside the top 4. You wouldn't read about that. I'm tipping. I believe the Croydon beating Mitcham is the upset today, given the ladder positions, and I think the Blues can do it. East Burwood take on Bayswater out at East Burwood Reserve. We just want to see the Rams get a win on the board. Will it come today against the Waters? Only time will tell. There's a number of changes for the Rams. Wrigley, Vinataros, Brown, Kilduff and Fitzpatrick come in, while for Bayswater, Cotty comes into the side. Brash?
Bayswater for mine, BWS. Too strong, all are over the ground.
The Waters easily.
Yep, same for me.
Yeah, it's not going to be today's day for East Burwood to notch their first win. Bayswater in sensational form at the moment, sitting nicely in 3rd position. A 2-game gap on the rest of the sides trying to get into that 4th position. Lilydale take on Murrelbach at the LSO. Murrelbach, they didn't submit any sides on time, so I can't tell you who's come in for them, whereas for Lilydale, Grant Hill, the evergreen Grant Hill goes out of the side and Wood comes in. Danger game for Murrelbach today, Brash?
Yes, it is a danger game, especially going up to the LSO. Lilydale coming off a big win last week. I expect Murrelbach to rebound, though.
Murrelbach in a tight contest for me. I think they can maintain their perch on top.
I definitely think they'll respond as well after that big loss last week, and they'll get over the line today.
Yeah, I'm expecting them to bounce back. Also, the line-off out at Mulgrave Reserve between Mulgrave and Doncaster is sure to be a great game out there. If you're in the area, check it out, because there's been a big rivalry between these two clubs for a long time. In comes Doyle for Mulgrave, while for Doncaster East, the big ruckman Padgett and Jared Lowther come into the side. So a couple of big ins there for Doncaster East, Brash.
Yes, it is, and Mulgrave play that home ground of theirs extremely well. Having a really good run at the moment, Mulgrave, but Doncaster East stirring victory last week. 2 big ins this week. For mine, I reckon they get the job done.
Yeah, the Lions will be galvanised for that victory last week. I'll tip them.
Yeah, I'll tip them as well. I couldn't agree more.
Both sides are in good form, but Doncaster East form has been of the better, you would think. And in a very tight affair, I think they'll just get over the line. The final game in Division 2, the Waverley Blues versus Wanturna South out at Mount Waverley Reserve. Match of the round in Division 2. Don't you worry about that. Sandrick and Placestead come in for the Blues, while Wanturna South have made 5 changes. Cook, Burkett, Hardham, Papp and Molyneux comes into the side. Wayne Brasher, your tip.
I've got to go I'm going to go Waverley Blues in this one, BWS, because there's some key outs for the Wanturna South. Daniel Badame, Tim Lee, Lincoln Wong. There's 3 or 4 quality players that are out of that side this week. I don't know whether Manny Clark's Foxen or not, but this is Waverley Blues' big chance for me. they can win this game this week.
Waverley play their home ground very well, and I think Wantirna South will be disheartened by that loss last week to Doncaster East. So the Blues for me.
Blues for me as well.
Oh, Wantirna South to bounce back. They were great for a lot of the game last week. The Wantirna South boys, inaccuracy really cost them in the end. They should have been up against Doncaster East by about 6 or 7 goals at halftime at a minimum. They will have gone back, taken stock, and the Waverley Blues, although they really need to win this game, they've been struggling to find a way to win, while Wantirna South, I think that will take home the points. Let's have a look at Division 3 football. Park Orchards versus Upper Ferntree Gully out at Domini Reserve today, Brash.
Upper Ferntree Gully unbeaten. Away form is fantastic this season. I don't think they're going to have too many problems against the plucky Park Orchards.
Upper Gully easily.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how far they can go undefeated, and they won't stop this week, though. They'll win.
Plucky?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
No, I think Park Orchards have been thereabout without being spectacular.
Players might look like ducks in the wet weather.
Yeah,
pluck a duck.
Quack to you too.
Upper Ferntree Gully to win this game. Ringwood take on Chirnside Park out at Jubilee Park. This is another tough game to pick, Brash.
Ringwood are a bit of an enigma to me this year, as much as Chirnside Park is. Flip of the coin, Ringwood for mine.
I'm going to go with Chirnside Park. I think their young players are maturing very well.
Yeah, Ringwood for me as well.
Yeah, well, it's a tough one to pick, but Ringwood at home. Although Chirnside Park's away travel this year has actually been really impressive. So
yeah, but they go win-loss, win-loss. So this week...
they lose this week?
Yeah.
The
Law of averages.
The stock graph has to go down this week, mate. It's all bearish.
Sylvan have been really struggling, haven't they? And they take on Veronia, albeit at Sylvan Recreation Reserve. Can the Cats cause an upset today?
No, I went up there last year and saw this corresponding game, and Veronia got the job done. I think Veronia got a better side in with a lot of youth, and I think they'll run Sylvan fair and square off their legs this afternoon and come away with a big victory.
Hawks have more to play for to get into the top 5. I expect them to win easily.
Yep, absolutely. Cannot fault them, so Hawks for me.
I concur. Veronia to win today. South Belgrave versus the Basin at Belgrave South Recreation Reserve. What a great rivalry for a number of years this has been between these two sides today. The Basin have been in good form.
Yeah, real grudge match this one. South Belgrave form away from home is abysmal. At home they go all right. They're a bit hot and cold for mine. I reckon the Basin up there will get the job and keep their finals hopes alive.
In racing parlance, this would be my roughie. I think South Belgrave could cause an upset because in a rivalry, it's always 50-50.
And I think the Basin for me, because last week they were in the game against Templestowe. It was a very good output by them, and I think they'll continue that and win this week.
Yeah, I have to stick with the Basin. South Belgrave left me scratching my head too many times this year. I just can't pick it when they turn up to play. So the Bears to notch another win. Templestowe versus Heathmont out at the Apple Peel. Templestowe Reserve. Templestowe no changes in the side, and Heathmont just the one. Can the Jets topple the side just above them?
Well, Heathmont are clearly the third best side in Division 3 so far, but I still think they need to find another 5-10% against Templestowe today. I think the Dockers will get the job done today, but the margin will be about 5 goals or less, I reckon.
Yeah, I concur with that. The Dockers at home.
Yeah, huge game, but Templestowe will get over the line.
Yeah, can't go past the guys in purple today. The final game in Division 3, Warrandyte versus Scoresby out at Warrandyte Reserve. A really tough game to pick.
Both sides are going absolutely terrible at the moment. Honestly, Warrandyte probably hope the break can't come quick enough for them because their last 3 weeks have been abhorrent. But
abhorrent?
Yeah. But look, at home...
2 Damians.
At home, they...
Just trying to show you up today, Damian.
Yes.
And once the reserves game finish and we go through these other matches, we will have a break and come back and talk more in depth about this big clash. But let's move on to Ferntree Gully Reserve, where the top side take on the bottom side today.
By how much?
Well, it's a bit like that, isn't it, Brash? Ferntree Gully and Nunawading.
Yeah, Ferntree Gully 200 plus.
500-0.
Is that a record score? That'd have to be a record score. Yeah, it definitely is.
They've endured big losses. I think it's in danger today.
What, 500?
Why not?
I'm going to say 150, which is minuscule.
That's probably... actually, that mightn't be a bad tip, Will, because taking the conditions into it.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, Ferntree Gully are going to do this one easy. Siren sounds out here for the reserves clash, and that's Forest Hill who have taken home the victory by 26 points over the Eastern Lions. Let's have a look at the Glen Waverley Hawks versus Donvale out at Central Reserve. 2 games at home in a row for the Hawks.
I'm going to go Glen Waverley Hawks. For me, this is last chance for them for me.
I agree. Glen Waverley Hawks have far too much on the line.
Yeah, I think they'll just get them over the line. A bit of extra motivation, so them for me as well.
Nah, you're all kidding yourself.
You're going against everything, mate.
Well, it sounds like you're just agreeing with them, and then I'm disagreeing with all of you.
I'll get that. I'll send that tax man on you.
Donvale to bounce back. They're the side that's had the better form for this year. Surrey Park and Coldstream out at Surrey Park Reserve today. The Panthers should do this comfortably, Brash.
Yep, comfortably.
They'll be fired up after that loss to Forest Hill last week, so Surrey Park for me.
Yep. Surrey Park for mine as well.
Coldstream got their second win on the board, and they've only had the 2 wins against Nunawading, so it's good for their confidence to notch up that win last week. But Surrey Park just sitting outside the top 4. It's a must-win game, and they will win it today. The final game is the Whitehorse Pioneers taking on the informed Kilsyth out at Springfield Park.
Always a difficult assignment going down to Springfield Park, but I think Kilsyth will be spurred on after going down narrowly last week, and I expect them to get the points.
Kilsyth easily, and that'll have big ramifications for the Eastern Lions depending on their result here this afternoon.
I'm actually thinking Whitehorse in this one. They had a great win last week, and I think they will continue that with some good form this week, and they'll get up.
You just wanted to disagree with them because of what I said.
Exactly.
We'll see who wins.
We will, and it will be Kilsyth. I'm more than happy to put a 6-pack on it if you'd like. I think they'll take home the points today. The reserves are just walking off the ground now. It won't be too long until the senior teams run out. That was the A1 Airport Parking pre-match show. Great job by Will and Damo and Brash. We're going to have our final break before we come back and call the big clash. It's EFL Game Day, all thanks to the Pancake Parlour.
Dave and his mates are flying to the Gold Coast to watch their team play the Suns. Do they B, pay too much for a taxi, C, hope for an airport rail link this century, or D, get a lift from a mate and hope for the best when they fly home?
What about A, for A1 Airport Parking?
At A1 Airport Parking, get 2 days for $25, 3 days for $34, or get 7 days parking for just $69. And at just 5 minutes from the airport, they'll get you there in time for your flight and pick you up when you get home. Show your footy or sporting club membership anytime you park and get 10% off. A1airportparking.com.au.
Program sponsor.
Hey, man. Yeah, man. I've got some weekend goals. Like what? First, wake up around lunchtime. Oh, yeah. Second, go into Pancake Parlour and get one of their traditional breakfasts because it's served till 5 p.m. every day.
Oh, you gotta go to Pancake Parlour for your weekend goals. Yeah, what else?
And then when I'm all full,
like in your belly,
just sit on the couch and watch me team kick some winning goals.
Bang, goal!
Oh, Pancake Parlour's weekend goals.
Up and about and lovely.
Program sponsor.
जिंदगी से लुत्फ अंदोज होते हुए
Świętować życie.
Го прославуваме животот.
Celebrating lives. Tobin Brothers Funerals speaks your language. At Tobin Brothers Funerals, they attend to every religion and culture and can speak 28 languages.
Celebrate la vie.
庆祝生命
Yortazuntas
Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating diversity as they celebrate lives.
Program sponsor.
Never miss out on the latest information on the Eastern Football League through the league's social media channels. Live updates, information and scores through the league's Twitter account. Nothing better than a companion to keep you up to date with all the latest when you're at the footy. Better still, one that fits in better than a companion to keep you up to date with all the latest when you're at the footy. All the latest information, better still, team lists, fits in feature articles and much more. The Eastern Footballer is a your copy this weekend. All the latest information, team lists, Eastern Football feature articles and much more. Pick up your copy this weekend as you love it local across the Eastern Football League. EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to EFL.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best. Bigger and better in season 2016, Netball EFL is back. The fastest growing competition in the eastern suburbs continues to expand. Don't miss the fast-paced action every Friday night across multiple venues. For more information or to get involved, head to efl.org.au.
Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct for mattresses, bases, beds, electric beds, trundle beds, quality pillows, as well as custom-sized mattresses made to measure. Factory Direct locations around Melbourne and country Victoria. To keep up to date on the latest sales, fun facts and news, go to Facebook, search and like Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct, and you'll join over 17,000 Facebook fans. Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. Buy direct from the factory and never pay retail prices again. Or shop online at chiropedic.net.au.
Program sponsor.
Join the EFL media team for unrivaled coverage of the Eastern Football League 2016. The Huddle takes a light-hearted look at the league 2 hours from 4:30 every Friday evening. From 1 p.m. Saturdays, EFL Game Day gives you play-by-play from the game of the round, as well as all the latest live scores from around the East.
Well, it's all about to get underway out here at Fair Park. Ben Warren Smith leading the team out here today. Got a great team ensembled. He's back in town. His name is Damian Watson, sitting in the special comments chair today. You must be looking forward to this one, mate.
Should be a very intriguing clash, that's for sure. But the Eastern Lions, of course, have a number of wins on the board up to this season. In fact, if you have a look at their recent record, they strung together 3 consecutive victories before 2 losses in the last fortnight. So a very important game for them as far as their finals aspirations are concerned. But for Forest Hill, a big game for them as well. Can they notch up 6 wins on the trot?
And it's a bit of a reunion happening out here in the caravan today, because it's been a while between drinks before we've had this man join us inside, and it's great to have Will Taylor back on the team today in the special comments chair next to Damo. Welcome, Wilbur.
Yeah, thank you very much, Benny. Looking forward to this one, and I tell you what, the Eastern Lions did very well last week. I had a little visit out to Central Reserve last week, and I thought they did a fantastic job against the Glen Waverley Hawks, so don't be surprised if the Eastern Lions can pull it off this afternoon.
It's a throwback to the old days, isn't it, Will, with you with the big stats bench there, recording everything that happens on the ground?
Yeah, I actually bought a big whiteboard this time, so at
we
least
can all see it.
Correct.
Well, Gareth Britton has won the toss for the Forest Hill Football Club, and they will kick towards the club room end out here at Fair Park in the first term today. The man who's going to be working feverishly right around the grounds and chiming in wherever he sees fit throughout the day is the main man, Wayne Brusher.
Thank you, BWS. And a really good contest, like I said earlier. Forest Hill, just a little bit more experience is going to get them over the line this afternoon, but Eastern Lions will give them a big run for their money.
We've got Loiue Bulzomi coming into the caravan to call the game play-by-play with myself. He actually umpires in the morning, and they had a bit of an injury in the last term, so a pretty bad one too, which is never great to hear. So a little bit of paperwork he's had to complete, being the umpire at the end, and he'll be in the car racing down here, but really looking forward to calling the game with him as well. We're going to cross down boundary side very shortly. Once Will makes his way out onto the park and get a ground report. And it's looking pretty patchy at the moment out there, as we said at the start of the day today. It's been churned up a little bit, of course, with the couple of games already being played on it today, so it will make conditions pretty tough, but that might play into the Eastern Lions' hands today.
Absolutely, and Forest Hill probably more of a free-flowing side. Having said that, they had to cope with wet conditions and a low-scoring encounter last week in their win against Surrey Park, and the Zebras also, I find, finish off the better in the second half, whereas the Eastern Lions, that's their main deficiency. I believe both sides will favour the corridor this afternoon because it is very patchy around the boundary area.
Well, it's not uncommon for most of the play to be on the other side of the ground to where we are.
Particularly when you're calling, Ben.
We all know that I do struggle a little bit with my sight at times. Your tip this afternoon in this game, Damo?
I think Forest Hill by about 3 goals.
Will Taylor, who's going to take home the points today in this big clash?
Yeah, I think Forest Hill will get the job done by at least 5 goals.
And Wayne Brash, so he's He's ready. Was coming through all afternoon at Footy EFL via Twitter. We need to know what is happening. As much as I love my Eastern Lions, I also do love the Forest Hill Football Club. And, well, hand off the heart means that I'm tipping the Zebras to continue on today in a big clash out here at Fair Park. Geordie Buckingham holds the ball aloft and we are under away as it comes out now, picked up there by Murphy. Got a little quick kick up into no man's land. Comes out towards the wing position. The ball's plugged up a little bit there. Vanessa got the handball back. Here's Jason Want. He's got the kick in, sorry. Louis coming to the studio and he's already messing everything up as it comes out. The kick being chopped up there by Banks. Cam Banks on the right boot now. It goes forward. He just popped it up a little bit. Roved at the back there by Pincott for the Zebras. Gets a banana kick away up towards the wing position. Bouncing football. Went straight into the arms there of Hall though for the Lions. He's ripped down in a pretty unfair tackle. I did hear a whistle. In fact, the umpire said it was holding the football.
It is.
So it'll be a Forest Hill free kick and they'll get the first chance to go towards the Cardinelli direction. In the front spot there was Gibbons, couldn't quite pull it down. Nicely done there by Hurd. Got a little bit of a handball away to Murphy, but he was quickly brought to ground and will have a bounce about 50 metres out from the Forest Hill goal line. Neither side has scored yet. Big fly over the back there by Stoneham. Got the knockdown. Forest Hill kick towards the top of the square. It'll go towards the row direction. He had the back spot. There was really good play there and kicked away there by Hurd. Linking up nicely now with Wand. He arched the back and he goes through the middle of the ground, kicks it up towards true centre half forward. Big fly over the back and knocked away. The ball's about 40 metres out from goal. The first player who's going to pick it up there is Britton for Forest Hill, who got a little bit of a push, did he? Yes, yeah, the umpire said he got a push and we will have a free kick to Forest Hill in the back pocket as we welcome Louis Bulzomi to the broadcast team.
Thank you very much, BWS. And I now worked out which microphone I'm on. I won't muck around with yours anymore as we get the kick across goals, originally from Britton, who did get that free kick for Forest Hill, and it's just trickled over the line and out of bounds over on the scoreboard side. And we've ticked over a couple of minutes in this first term, no scorers yet. So from the throw in, up high from the back was Stoneham. Got it down, not to really anyone in particular, but on hands and knees, though. He had a teammate just falling in. Probably got a little high. Umpire said no. The initial dive wasn't there for him. So another ball up. I mean, Gibbons there who had the tackle. So Stoneham down this time. Now they get a bit of a clearance here to Forest Hill. In the hands now of Ziegering. Ziegering gets around the would-be tackler, but his handball wasn't all that kind to Berger. They've now lost it here, Forest Hill. Eastern Lions with an opportunity, but sliding on in. Berger again, second effort was excellent, but the wrap-up by Kyle Hurd, fantastic. Didn't let him go. It was Ziegering, in actual fact, who had to go and try and mop up his mess. Couldn't get away from the Hurd tackle.
So the umpire throws it up. Stoneham getting a few knockouts early. Ball hits the deck, diving over it there. Ryan Fisher, he has to hand it back to the umpire and we'll have a restart.
It'll be interesting to see how the Eastern Lions defence match up on Carnelli, whether they double team him.
Stoneham once again got the knockdown. A lot of players around this ball. Quick kick forward for Forest Hill towards the Carnelli direction, but it trickles over the boundary line and out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in about 45 metres out from the Forest Hill goals.
Yes, those forward entries will be crucial here, Will.
Yeah, at the moment, it's 2 apiece between both teams at the moment.
So throw in. Forest Hill forward line, probably about 30 from goal. Third man up at the back there was Hurd, but it was ill-directed with the tap. Ziegering now with the kick around the body, trickling to the right forward pocket and going out of bounds. Not too far away from a fair few mud puddles there as well, BWS.
And a few cans being drunk just over the fence also.
Indeed.
There'll be a few puddles after the game as a result there as well.
Just adding to extra irrigation there. Fair Park Reserve as from the throw in on hands and knees there was Murphy for the Eastern Lions. The tap out now gets a little bit of a clearance here, trying to keep it in desperately for the Zebras was Holdsworth, but he couldn't do it, and we'll get a throw in just outside forward 50 now, broadcast side here for the Zebras.
I think that at the moment the Eastern Lions are letting Forest Hill getting too many clearances around the ball at the moment.
Hire throws it in and there's been a whistle. I think it might have been too short of a throw-in and we'll do it again. Geordie Buckingham just handing it into the boundary umpire who's moved himself in about 5 metres closer just to get it a bit further away from the mud. The knockdown that time straight into the arms of Murphy. Got dispossessed of the football. Now Forest Hill get their chance to go forward looking for the Carnelli direction. They've gone to him a few times. He hasn't been in the correct spot. They'll get another chance though, Forest Hill. Swinging around on the left boot, Ziegering. finally got boot to ball. Little toe poke there by Pincott to no avail. Rushed over the boundary line by a Brad Nide, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
You get the sense this will be the pattern of play, very congested around ground level this afternoon.
So real chance here for Forest Hill, but once again the Lions get themselves out of danger. Kick up towards the half back line, almost being held there was heard. The umpire said play on, and now they'll go through the middle of the ground here, the Lions. That mud is making it really difficult for players. It's a scrappy match early in the piece. Now it comes out wide, kick forward, bouncing towards the Pincott direction. He might try and trap this one, tapped it backwards. They still get themselves inside forward 50. His fitness tried to release it to Want, almost copped one high. Pincott chopped it off there for Forest Hill, then gets it back on the left boot up towards the half forward line, where making space was Remington, and he might just be beyond range here. Remington on the left boot goes forward, but getting down and taking a solid mark was James Hall for the Eastern Lions.
So Hall now switches play. Murphy, left back pocket, goes towards left half back now. 2-on-1 though here for the Zebras. Going up in the mark there was Stoneham, had the arms chopped, said the umpire. And the infringing player there for the Eastern Lions, Mercer, on that occasion. Going backwards here, a bit dangerous too to go into the middle. Not sure exactly what Stoneham was thinking there. Could be a crucial turnover here for the Eastern Lions, and they get it. Could be after the races here through Van Ness. The kick, though, was an absolute shocker, but you can probably forgive him in these conditions, and have turned it over once again now to the Zebras. Holdsworth involved in a couple of chain handballs. Fisher now coming through the middle, draws a few tacklers in, and then kicks it beautifully out to Berger at left half forward. Berger too far out to score, especially as the ball starts to get a bit heavier in these early minutes. The kick, though, again, another shocker, and the Eastern Lions get out of jail here once more. Banks. Banks' kick on the half volley. No, just marked in here in time by Whirl. Whirl up to centre half forward. Okay, kick. The intended target there did have enough space against its opponents, but didn't take the mark. Unfortunately, then a free kick, a little cheapy one against Rankin, and the Zebras should be able to clear from centre half back.
So had that kick hit the target, though, BWS, the Lions were away because they had plenty of space inside their forward half.
Both sides just struggling to link up at the moment. So Fisher, the recipient of the free kick, but in the front spot was McElroy for the Lions. So he takes the mark, true centre wing position. We'll cross down boundary shortly as the ball goes into the middle of the ground. That was a beautiful kick and a strong mark taken there by Murphy. On the right boot now, kicks it inside forward 50. It's a strong kick too. And making really good position about 45 metres out from goal. The Eastern Lions will have the first genuine chance shot on goal.
Well, it was certainly very good play. Good linking up on that occasion by the Eastern Lions through the corridor. And Forest Hill, just a couple of questionable disposals out of their defensive half. And I think that might have cost them in the last couple of minutes.
So Nathan Whirl it is for the Lions. And either side has scored. We've gone 6.5 minutes here in the first term. He's about 35 metres out directly in front. The fans will tell the story. Set sail for goal. The goal umpire did not move too. That's the first 6-pointer of the day, and it goes to Nathan Whirl of the Eastern Lions, and they have a 6-point lead, 1 straight 6. Forest Hill yet to score. It's crossed down boundary side thanks to Chiropedic betting. Here's Will de Jong.
Yeah, guys, the outskirts of the ground are actually very, very slippery, but the middle is looking pretty fresh. The sun is doing wonders, and it's fairly dry in the middle, but the outskirts very slippery.
Yeah, look at the turnover counts costing Forest Hill at the moment. 9 to 5 in the turnovers at this stage, so it's really costing Forest Hill at this stage of the game.
There was one moment in that passage of play where they managed to switch the ball backwards, and it cost them because they don't hit their targets, and it's very risky in these conditions. If you don't hit your targets by making a switch, you leave yourself open to a counter-attack.
No, very well said all around, and despite having most of the play in the early going here, Forest Hill, they trail it by a goal. As we restart here in the middle, here's an opportunity and a high tackle coming the way of the Eastern Lions, definitely for Need that time. A little crude by Davis over the shoulder. Pretty easy one for the umpire to pick out as Need now goes to very open territory on the broadcast wing, and it gets stuck in its place in the mud. Plug that hole as Banks now recovers for the Lions. Handball back was okay to Jason Want. He wants a good kick in centre half forward. He needs it actually. Across now is Rankin. He tried to bust a pack and then eventually got the ball off the ground, and then he helped get a little nice 1% out to Combe. And Comb's kick is a behind only.
I think that was Mercer down there just trying to get boot to ball for the Eastern Lions. So they're peppering the goals early. and currently lead this one by 7 points. 8 minutes gone in this first term. The kick goes out wide, and the strong mark's been taken there by Holdsworth. He'll want to look towards the middle. The ground thumped at every bit of 50 metres, but straight down the throat of Jason Want, wearing the short sleeves today. He just poked at the football. Could have done a little bit better than that. He was looking for McElroy. So now the Zebras a chance to kick the ball forward. It went into open space. Leading the charge out there was Top. Tried to trap it. Right on his hammer was Nathan Jamu, and he sees it over the boundary line and out. Let's cross down boundary side, thanks to Chiropedic betting his will.
We've got Reed, and that's Brad Reed down on the boundary. He's been off for a couple of minutes trying to plug a blood nose, and he's looking to get back on in the next few, boys.
So throw in, left half forward here for Forest Hill. Coming over the top in the ruck contest there was Hurd. Forest Hill players playing for a free kick. Umpires saying no. Handball for Need. Back into heavy traffic here. Trying to hold up there was Boucher, and the tackle there on Gross. Didn't quite affect it though, as a nice quick kick now comes into Davis. Davis is quickly off too. Not sure that was the right option. No, I know he was trying to do to keep the play going. Unfortunately, though, for Eastern Lions, Want dropped the mark. Centering ball here for Forest Hill. Mark not taken by Remington. At the back, the Lions might be able to clear here. It's in the hands of Filtness. Filtness's kick, careful and okay as well to Hurd. Quick hands off by the ruckman and McElroy. Tripped down. And the umpire pays that free kick there for the loss of footing to Cohen McElroy, who now looks to bring play over to the broadcast side. Kick those smothered, a little bit too cute there with his decision on that occasion. The ball spinning like a dreidel that time as Forest Hill recover it through Fisher. That's unfortunately, though, the chain of handball's not so efficient, and out it goes for a throw-in 45 out from the Forest Hill goal.
You love the intricacies of the Sherrin, don't you? Get stuck in the glue pipe, spins around. Fantastic.
Love that dreidel call as the umpire throws it in now, and the Eastern Lions, so, well, what can they do with it? Stoneham did well on hands and knees. Eventually, quick kick around the corner by Fisher up towards half-forward line. Pink mark, super mark, and an early contender too for our mark of the day, and he might be taking home a voucher for the A1 Airport parking, $50 today. So mark that one down as our first contender, Nick Pincott. He'll go back and have a ping from just inside the 50 here.
Goals at a premium today, so a very crucial kick.
Been such a great player for a number of years. Best and fairest winner as well. And that is a beautiful kick. Straight through the middle there for Nick Pincott, and Forest Hill get a goal that they desperately needed to, and the margin is only back to 1 point. 7 plays 6, 11 minutes into the first term.
What's that turnover count, Will?
The turnover count at the moment, the Zebras 10, Eastern Lions 8. They've had the last 3 turnovers at the moment, the Lions. But one thing I need to point out is James Top on Matt Carnelli. He's shut him down really well at the moment. And at the moment, the Lions are clogging up the Forest Hill back forward line at this stage.
But they were caught out on that occasion because the kick came out of the pack. It was a hack from the congestion. And on that occasion, they didn't have enough numbers across their half-back line, the Lions, to block the kick.
So, as we expected, a nice, tight, tussling contest in the early stages of this first term here on EFL Game Day. As the rucks go at it once again, a few players there slipping through in the glue pot. Trying to get a high tackle there was Need against Holdsworth. Nothing doing, said the umpire. And now a clearing kick out for the Zebras. Comes to the danger zone about 30 out. Carnelli not involved in that one. Ball spills free though. Here's a snapshot by Jamal. Jamal not quite, but off the tap. Brilliant soccer work by Rowe. And there's an early contender for our goal of the day there. And 2 in a minute for the Zebras. They go to 2 straight 12. Eastern Lions 1-1-7.
What a goal.
How about the improvisation there from Rowe? Just read the ball perfectly off the pack, got his foot out, didn't have enough time to grab it and then execute the kick on the goal line. That was a great goal out of midair, and that is a goal of the day contender.
Yeah,
BWS.
first contender to take home the $100 voucher to Chiropedic betting. Ray Baird's favourite player in the Eastern Football League, Jakey Rowe, puts through his first. And couple in a minute, sees a 5-point lead now to the Zebras.
The Iceland soccer commentators will be very happy about that.
Must have watched the Euros all week.
Yes, indeed. Well, the Copper America as well. It's going on.
It's all happening, isn't it?
Taking a leaf out of Messi's playbook.
And Saturday afternoon is owned by the Eastern Football League.
Certainly is.
Australia's biggest and best Metro comp. Umpire throws the ball up in the middle. Geordie Buckingham comes out now wide. Just got booted ball there. Was Mercer up towards the half-forward line. And it was a strong mark taken there by Need. So he's had a bit of the football early. So he's starting well. Floating kick inside forward 50. Gareth Britton read it well. And he'll go back and... kick his side out of that danger zone. Short passes on. So using the far side of the ground out here today. Most sides, it is the drier of the two. Make no mistake about that. Just underneath the Bendigo Bank scoreboard at the moment. Forest Hill just working themselves down the field. The kick goes up towards the half-forward line now. Big fly by a pack of players, scooped upon there by Hurd. Had a little bit of time, then the big man swung it around the body, kicked it up towards the wing
Down the
position, but eventually knocked away. Out of bounds on the full in the end it was. You're spot on there, Wilbur, as Mitch Newman now for Forest Hill to bring the ball back into play.
So Newman called the play on now. Kicks it to another big pack of players here. Hurd ducked out by the umpire. The umpire says, no, it was a clean take. So Berger has got it. Short pass, wants Carnelli. Caught behind, though, in that contest. Well done, top to Reed. That kick coming off the boot of Berger. Taps it out of bounds for a throw-in, 25 out from the Forest Hill goal.
There's a Forest Hill player down behind the play. It looks as if it's Nathan Jamo, who's being assisted to.
Yes, yeah, he's just got up very gingerly. Can't really put any weight on that left leg. And Jamo will keep an eye on him as we get a restart. Missed there by Pincott. Ball now bobs up. Berger, another quick handball in. Put Fisher under all sorts of pressure. And he's wrapped up, and we'll get another ball up. Similar position to where the throw-in happened a few seconds ago.
The Lions have to congest the Forest Hill forward line here. Keep it locked up.
Nice ruck work there by Hurd. Just big body size to push his opponent out of the way fairly. But the tap, though, not to advantage. Still locked in that forward pocket area for Forest Hill. And what improvisation that was to get the short kick to Pincott.
Yeah.
Jake Davis, I reckon it was 1.5 metres instead of 15, a decimal point differential. But it works. It still reads 1 and 5, so I'll take it.
I think umpires Buckingham and Pulley will be giving allowances this afternoon with the distance, given the conditions.
It's a fair call.
No, why not? So Pincott, we've already got one today. Make it a second. It'll drop short. 1, 2 grabs. Almost for Remington, but nothing doing as the ball gets
boundary
over the line, and we'll have a throw in. We'll cross down boundary side. Will to Jong for Chiropedic betting.
Yeah, it was Jimo coming off there, boys. He grabbed straight to the left knee, and he's now getting a bit of work done on the boundary.
Okay, I'll get you keep an eye on that as the quarter unfolds from the ruck contest. Handball by Hall. Tucked away in the pocket here, Eastern Lions in a bit of danger zone for them. Smythe, one of the 5 inclusions for Forest Hill in today. Quick handball into Gibbons, who quickly gets rid of it as well. It's a hot footy there. Well done by Laws to get it over to Fisher. Fisher's high kick. Marked, though, and well read for the Eastern Lions by Need.
So Need wants to switch the play here. It's a good-looking kick too. He was looking for Vanessa. He dropped what he probably should have taken. Berger came charging in for Forest Hill. Great tackle there by Vanessa. A good response, and he made up for the dropped mark, and he'll go back and get his side out of that danger zone. Short passes on to World. Kick the opening goal this match. He's now on the half-back line for the Lions. He'll kick it up towards the wing position. Just poked at it really in the end. Holdsworth over the back, got a fist on the footy, and over she goes for a boundary throw. In 16.5 minutes gone here in the first term. It's a 5-point lead to Forest Hill.
The disposal's not all that efficient from either side, as you would expect in the wet conditions, but Forest Hill have improved their conviction.
Thanks to Choose Tap, some stats that matter. Will Taylor?
Inside forward 50s, Forest Hill 9 to Eastern Lions 6.
So quick hands coming out here for Gibbons, and Gibbons goes forward, and he's actually got the goal. Fantastic work. It almost looked like it was just a nice little chip pass in towards anyone in particular, maybe Carnelli, but no, he fooled them all and actually put it through nicely, including me. So, great goal for Forest Hill. They go to 3 straight 18, and the Eastern Lions 1-1-7 as we get close to time on here in the opening term.
That's exactly what they needed to do, Forest Hill. Use that running game to their advantage, and they've caught all 3 goals. They've scored that all kept Eastern Lions napping in the clearances.
They certainly have, Wilbur, and Lucas Gibbons continuing on his good form. Best on ground last week, in good form today.
Stoneham and Cowan. Stoneham won it again, and another quick ball inside forward 50, looking for the row direction, bouncing right up to him. Little handball over the top, but to no avail. Knocked through for a boundary throw-in, close up to the behind post, so it's only about 10 or so metres out from the Forest Hill goal line. A little bit of a stop in play at the moment.
Forest Hill certainly dominating in the clearance count, as Wilbur alluded to, and that's the difference at the moment.
So Kick out of mid-air, goes to the top of the goal square, is looking for Pincott, but scooped upon there by Want, goes after the football, just couldn't quite get a handle on it. Just kick around the body by Zegering, just tried to square it up, nicely knocked away there by the player in Jaden Murphy for the Eastern Lions. Got it in towards the middle of the ground. Filtness got brought to ground in a strong Stoneham tackle, and the umpire said, give it to me, boys, we'll have a bounce right in the middle of Fair Park.
So leaping high there in the ruck contest was Stoneham. Didn't get a lot of purchase on that attempted punch, but Forest Hill will still get the clearance. Handball to Holdsworth, who kicks it to left half forward. Wanted Berger, outnumbered 2-1. Bit of a throw effort from Hall there, but the umpire saw some semblance of a fist, though, to let it go on. Now the ball trickles to the feet of Rankin. He can't pick it up, but his second effort was fantastic as well, and he gets out the back door beautifully too. They might have a chance here, the Lions. Vaness, his handball, okay too, to Filtness. Filtness kick is okay as well between centre wing and left half forward now for the Eastern Lions. Mark there, taken by McElroy. Gets onto his left, centres the ball in. Long opportunity here for Mercer, and he gets nice purchase too on a heavy ball as well to the top of the goal square. Opportunity unfortunately goes begging as it's rushed over by the Zebras defence, courtesy of McPherson.
Good defensive play there from Forest Hill. They were under pressure, 2-on-2 contest right on the goal line, and they managed to effect the spoil.
That is their first inside forward 50 in 8 times inside forward 50 in this game.
So it'll be Christian Holdsworth to bring the ball back into play. Most into time on here in the first term. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern, streaming live around the globe, efl.org.au. The kick goes to true centre half back. Mark wasn't taken, but a quick kick into the middle of the ground. Couldn't be trapped there by one. Now the Zebras are running out wide. The kick goes up towards the half forward line, right in front of us here in the broadcast position, but travelled a little bit too far for Jakey Rowe, and he sees it bounce over the boundary line and out 50 metres out from Forest Hill's goal line.
Rowe's certainly been impressive. He has been a storm for Forest Hill over the last couple of years. He's been very good in that forward half, creating opportunities.
And just waiting for the ball to come back into play now. Has got quite heavy, Want. Did okay to get the handball away. Mercer was under a lot of pressure, but got it on towards Bachia, who kicked it into the middle of the ground. It was picked up there by Whirl. Handball went really nowhere. Banks was in after it, couldn't quite pick it up. Also, there was Vaness diving on top of the football was Gavin Willoughby with a strong tackle for Forest Hill over Jason Want, and he'll hand the football back to the umpire. Brad Pulley restarts this match. Knockout that time there for Cowan for the Eastern Lions.
Interesting to see what the Lions can do just to reinvigorate their movement forward. They've been very stale in the last couple of minutes.
So, bit of a fresh air shot there. Good tackle there by Cameron Banks.
They've done well, though, to shut out Carnelli so far, as Will mentioned. They've double-teamed him, and that's going to be a key factor.
Pies seen some shepherding off the ball. Stoneham got a big knock on it, but it'll be a free kick the way of Forest Hill as they send the ball forward. Willoughby wanted to go on with it, but the umpire said, no, go back over your mark.
Umpire Pulley exerting his dominance there.
EFL media team member Brad Pulley.
I just think the Eastern Lions need to now really lock it down for the next couple minutes in this first quarter.
So Willoughby on the left boot. That's a beautiful kick to Carnelli, who comes out. He bounced off his chest, but he had the space, so he takes the second bite. He'll kick from outside the 50, but as we've seen in so many years gone by, distance should not be a problem for the big man.
They were caught napping there, Will. The Lions' defence allowed Carnelli to run into the hole that should have been blocked off.
Correct, but James Topp's done a great job so far.
So Carnelli's kicked 55 goals for the season. The powerful forward. He'll come in now. It's a beautiful kick off the boot. Has it got the carry? It certainly does. Put that down as number 56 in your Eastern footballer. Forest Hill have their fourth on the board. They're kicking straight this afternoon on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. They are 4 straight goals, 24. The Eastern Lions 1-2-8.
And again, as I mentioned a couple times in this game so far, another fourth goal, 4 times have got the Eastern Lions caught napping in the defence.
Indeed, and don't underestimate the power of that kick. With the heavy wet ball, that's very difficult to execute from a distance of 40 metres out. So great kick by Carnelli.
Cross now down the boundary side, Will to Jong for Chiropedic betting.
Yeah, Jamo's set to come back on, boys, after that cork, a high knee cork. He's just got some treatment and he wants to come back on right now.
Most crucial word there was cork, and it's good news for Nathan Jamo. It could have been a lot more serious. Damian, you mentioned earlier about goals being a premium, but kicks like that into the space for Carnelli to mark are just probably even more worthy than the goals themselves, I reckon. That was just scintillating.
Great
delivery.
delivery.
Kick from the middle. So we get a restart. Dying stages of the opening term. Hurds dominated the ruck taps, but hasn't really got many to advantage, and it's going to happen once again, you would think here. But he just tries to go in after it again. Holdsworth's involved as well. He gets brought down, and the umpire calls for it, and we'll get another ball up a few centimetres away from the centre circle. So Forest Hill, 4 straight 24. Eastern Lions 1-2-8. Leaping up high that time was Stoneham, and the Zebras get the clearing kick to centre half forward at the feet of Berger, who allows a few teammates to run through and try and get it for him. The umpire's found a free, might have been a throw, I guess, against the Eastern Lions. So here come Forest Hill once more. The kick is perfect again, just like the kick to Carnelli earlier. That one there to Rowe was just as perfect. Fantastic work, these two last passages of play coming forward for Forest Hill.
Indeed, Loiue, they were identical there, Wilbur. Again, the Eastern Lions failing to guard that space along the half-forward flank, and it results in an opportune goal here for Rowe if he can score.
Did it Lionel Messi style for his first goal. He do it the more conventional style with a drop pass. It won't matter. It'll be a goal assist anyway. Mark on the last millimetre of the line as all the players in front of him tried to get up and spoil it away. He just sat back and said, "Thank you very much."
Think it's big Lawsy.
It certainly is.
That's a cardinal sin on the goal line not to get that fist away, that's for sure.
No. And it's been the bane of the existence of the back line for Eastern Lions today as Laws comes in and puts through his 3rd of the season, his 5th game. Returning to the side today, one of the 5 changes that the Zebras rang through during the week. They got a 5 straight 30, Eastern Lions 1-2-8.
Yeah, all the states to choose tap. Inside forward 50s, Forest Hill 14, Eastern Lions 7. They've had the last 6 inside forward 50s. Clearances, Forest Hill 14 to the Eastern Lions 8, and the free kick count 7-3 in favour of Forest Hill, and Mutt's inside forward 50s 4-1 in favour of Forest Hill.
All thanks to Choose Tap, Will Taylor. Special comments and our stats man this afternoon. Straight into the arms of Murphy. His kick was half smothered, chasing after it. Willoughby did well on hands and knees to get the little handball out. Now picked up by Hall, got a handball out wide. The Lions have a little bit of space here. Here's Need. This way, that way, just needs to get boot to ball. Kicks it to the top of the goal square, but play there and out. McPherson Park and waste no time either. Sends the ball out towards the back pocket. So they're still in their defensive arc. An absolute shank of a kick might go straight down the throat there of Top. Goes after it again. He had a couple of players meeting him quite heavily. Geordie Buckingham comes in and will pay that free kick to James Top.
He had his head over the ball there and the bump was effective while his head was ducked.
Short passes on. Murphy made some space. Still in the middle. Wanted to switch it to Wanted. Also made a good run down the far side. But once again, players are being asked to go back and kick over the man of the mark.
Do I see a report?
Bit confused.
Yeah,
I think
that's a report.
Yeah, he went into his sock to get the book out. Yes.
Because that was a very heavy bump while the player had his head over the ball. So that could be a report here.
You can see now on the vision, if you're watching the stream, Geordie Buckingham is certainly writing down a report. Maybe Will de Jong, who's on that side of the ground, might have seen what went down there. It's usually with a report, a player's actually sent off the field. So I'm a little bit confused there as it goes inside forward 50. A big fly there by Jack Crosby. Fist on the ball and over the boundary line and out of bounds.
They desperately need a goal here, the Lions, as we're on the cusp of quarter time, just to at least maintain their striking distance within Forest Hill, because it's out to 22 points, and in conditions like these, it's a big margin.
That it is. Minigo Bank scoreboard 5 straight 30. Forest Hill Eastern Lions 1-2-8. Have they got enough time here, the Lions, to sneak one last one in? They might have an opportunity. As a high tackle. Is that Rankin who's gone down?
It is.
Yep, so Lee Rankin. He's kicked 4 goals for the season, so not one of your more conventional goal kickers, but can go up and pinch a couple if need be. We'll have the shot, could well be the last shot of the term as we get very, very close to the half-hour mark of this opening quarter.
So important he puts this through.
Tough kick. Very heavy ball. Distance is okay, and accuracy even better for Lee Rankin, and he gets a very, very, vital goal for the Eastern Lions just to keep themselves at arm's length with Forest Hill. 2-2-14 to 5 straight 30. But Tuesday stats go to Will Taylor.
Yeah, look, they finally got some clearances. They had 3 straight clearances inside their forward 50, and they finally scored. So that's exactly what they need to do. Eastern Lions just grind it out on Forest Hill. Otherwise, this game could be blown out of proportion.
Indeed. 5 straight, though. That's been the difference, the accuracy from Forest Hill. The Lions, they need to capitalise their opportunities, and they had their head over the ball, winning the contested football on that occasion, and that was what rewarded them with the goal.
Can't be too long to go in this quarter. There are some quarter-time scores that have come through around the grounds. Thank you, Wayne Brasher.
Yeah, in Division 1, Doncaster by 5 points, Balwyn by 24. In Division 2, Doncaster each up by 3 points at quarter time. Division 3, Chirnside Park are down by 9 points to Ringwood. Baronia 15 points in front of Sylvan. Templestowe 15 points in front of Heathmont. Whilst in Division 4, a point the difference between Donvale, Glen Waverley Hawks. Surrey Park 26 points up over Coldstream. And Kilsyth 19 points up over White Horse Pioneers.
Boundary.
Let's cross down boundary side thanks to Chiropedic betting. Here's Will.
That massive clash we saw on the outer side there, boys. Cox is just coming off with a bit of a sore neck. He's moving his head, and I'm assuming that's where the report came from, as there was head-high contact in the bump.
Great stuff. Pincock got the handball away to Zegering, who spun around in a pirouette out of a tackle, looking for Mathers on the receive of the handball. Gets down low, eventually released it. Now back to Zegering on the left boot, kicks it up towards the half-forward line. Almost could have been a free kick for a push there. Law's got the handball back. That was okay. Snap around the body there by Holdsworth, but went nowhere in the end. Now they'll get a chance, the Lions, to get out of the danger zone. Murphy was going backwards instead of looking forwards. Eventually went to Hall on the left boot, kicked it up towards the wing position. We're making beautiful space was Podger Carroll.
Play on.
Takes the mark. Oh, the umpire said play on. He'll get it back now on the left boot. Oh, it was very neat and a good kick up towards the well direction.
Hurry it up.
On the right boot now, they know there's not too much time left. Set sail in towards the forward 50. There's a number of Forest Hill players there to get their chance, and the Lions come in for it. A snap-on goal from around the body.
Yes.
Which way is this one gone? Umpire's doing a fair old bit of dancing, but he's coming back in. He wants to have a little bit of a chat.
Fair here. Umpire or the
Work out who got to ball. I think it might shot on goal.
It was a shot on goal. I guess the question will be is, did it go exactly over the post, or did it sneak in for a goal? So
he's given it
lesser score. It is.
behind.
I think it's inconclusive. Go the lesser score in the end. It's unfortunate.
It's interesting that they had a chat to each other then about that. I thought normally you just go with what the goal umpire believes, but maybe it could have even perhaps been an option of touched off the kick of the ball as well.
Very
but
true.
Nonetheless, it is a 15-point margin out here to the Forest Hill Football Club out at Fair Park on EFL Game Day, all thanks to the Pancake Parlour. They lead at 5 straight 30. They're kicking very straight, aren't they? The Eastern Lions at 2-3-15, so 5 scoring shots apiece. It's closer than the scoreboard suggests, with Forest Hill having a nice little patch there in the middle of that term. All single goal kickers on the scorecard thus far. And if you're out and about across the eastern suburbs, get excited, because we're about to go to our first break, and when we come back, it'll be Wayne Brasher bringing you all those important around the ground scores. Stay tuned to 98.1 Radio Eastern and EFL.org.au.
Dave and his mates are flying to the Gold Coast to watch their team play the Suns. Do they B, pay too much for a taxi, C, hope for an airport rail link this century, or D, get a lift from a mate and hope for the best when they fly home?
What about A for A1 Airport Parking?
At A1 Airport Parking, get 2 days for $25, 3 days for $34, or get 7 days parking for just $69. And at just 5 minutes from the airport, they'll get you there in time for your flight and pick you up when you get home. Show your footy or sporting club membership anytime you park and get 10% off. A1airportparking.com.au.
Program sponsor.
Bigger and better in season 2016, Netball EFL is back. The fastest growing competition in the eastern suburbs continues to expand. Don't miss the fast-paced action every Friday night across multiple venues. For more information or to get involved, head to efl.org.au. A new time and a new team, driving you home in 2016. Join a brand new lineup for The Huddle as the gang take a light-hearted look at the Eastern Football League every Friday night. More importantly, the team will reveal the ins and outs for this week's round of matches. The Huddle, 4:30 to 6:30 every Friday evening as you love it local.
Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. It's the Aussie family company that's been manufacturing mattresses in Melbourne since 1991. They offer a huge range, and selected mattresses come with everyday deals like free delivery, old mattress removal, 30-day comfort guarantee, and up to 20 years warranty. Buy direct from the factory and never pay retail prices again. Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. Locations all around Melbourne and country Victoria. Or shop online 24/7 for mattresses, bases, beds, pillows, and custom-sized mattresses at chiropedic.net.au.
Program sponsor.
EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to EFL.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man.
Hope we win this weekend.
I hope we win too. Because I want to kick some weekend goals at Pancake Parlour after the game.
Because if your AFL team wins, you can go in and get a free sweet pancake with any savoury menu item purchase.
Oh, free pancake. First your team wins and then your belly wins.
It's win-win, man.
Claim your free sweet pancake with any savoury item purchase just by showing your winning team's colours.
Or your team membership.
At any Pancake Parlour this weekend.
Oh, and don't forget, check out Facebook for this week's offer.
Lovely.
Program sponsor.
Welcome back to EFL Game Day here, and the big clash between the Eastern Lions and Forest Hill. Quarter time scores here. It's Blackburn down by 5 points to Doncaster. Baldwin 24 points up over Knox. Noble Park, good first quarter, 11 points up over Roval. Division 2, Bayswater by 16 points over East Burwood. Murrelbach 10 points up over Lilydale. Mulgrave trailing by 3 points at quarter time over Doncaster East. In Division 3, we have Ringwood 9 points up over Chirnside Park. Baronia open up a 15-point lead at quarter time. Templestowe 15 points up over Heathmont. Division 4, the radio game. Forest Hill 15 points over the Eastern Lions. Glen Waverley Hawks a point down at quarter time to Donvale. Surrey Park 26 points up over Coldstream. And Whitehorse 19 points down over the Kilsyth Panthers. Damo.
Yes, very interesting around the ground scores as you go local for your footy across the eastern suburbs in the EFL. Let's head to Will Taylor for some Choose Tap match stats in what has been a very intriguing and scrappy first quarter.
Correct. Just before we go into those stats, because they're also around the grounds out at Walker Park in the Junior Championships. Yeah. And the EFL defeated South Metro 11-13, 79 to 2-10, 22 in the under-15 Division 2. And, of course, at the moment, 12-minute mark of the first quarter, South Metro three goals ahead to 0 in favour of South Metro in Division 1 of the under-15s. Let's have a look at the stats thanks to Choose Tab. Inside forward 50s, Forest Hill 15, Eastern Lions 10. Very similar stats in the clearance, 15 to 10 in favour of Forest Hill. Marks inside forward 50, 4 to 1, which most of them came late in that first quarter. Free kick count 7 to 5 in favour of the Zebras, and it was turnovers 19 to 16 in favour of Forest Hill. Damo.
Yes, indeed. So very intriguing, that's for sure. Forest Hill certainly dominating the clearance count and also the inside 50s, and I think that's been the difference so far. We'll head down boundary side thanks to Chiropedic betting very soon because Will de Jong has a guest with him on ground level.
Yes, I do. And Lee, mate, what was the focus going into that huddle there with the boys?
Just to make sure that our effort was what we wanted at the start of the game. We came out pretty strong.
Yes, it seems as if he's dropped out there, Will de Jong, who had Lee Murphy with him on ground level at quarter time. He'd be relatively pleased with that first term, despite the fact Forest Hill kicked away probably the more accurate side, and that's reflected on the Bendigo Bag scoreboard. 5 straight 30. Forest Hill, the Eastern Lions 2 free 15. Louis Bulzomi, what do we expect in
promising signs, Damian, in the last few minutes for the Lions, who really held firm when the Zebras were pressing hard. But the unfortunate thing is that most of the time that they've got their 5 goals have pretty much been when the Lions defence has caught napping. So we'll see whether they can rectify this in the second term as we get underway. Rux went at it, but wasn't much achieved coming out of the centre as the likes of Murphy and Gibbons slide in the mud and pin the ball down for another ball up within seconds of this second term. And leaping up high that time was Stoneham to beat Hurd. On occasion, good tackle by Newman, wrapping up Ormston. So another ball up, just trickling out of the centre square, or at least I think so. I can't see the white line because of all the mud, but doesn't matter. I'll assume it is. Hurd. That tap down was not so good, though. Taken away by Gibbons. Quick snap around the body to half forward. Players slipping and sliding. Chance here for the Lions. Vaness, his handball, though, was a bit hospital, so had to go up and mop up that mess. Did it okay this time as he gets the ball to centre wing. Slipping again was Newman. Rides the tackle. The umpire going to say no prior? No, he said you had prior.
Good tackle.
And McElroy doing the job nicely there. Will take the free kick. Through centre wing on the broadcast side. So with his trusty left boot, sends it nice and long. Betting penetration on there. Potential target was Combe, who ended up taking a player out in front of him, but it was all fair. Ball trickled out the back, and desperately trying to keep it in was Crosby for the Zebras. Couldn't do it, and we'll get a throw in at about 30 from the Lions goal, kicking to the club room end here at Fair Park Reserve.
Pye brings it back, big fly over the top there by Hurd, went after it again, handballed backwards. He was looking for his teammate there in Murphy. Pincock came in to chop the ball off and create a hot football. Strong tackle there by Hurd on his opponent, Christian Holdsworth. Both players hit the deck and will have a bounce 65 out from the Forest Hill goal line.
Boundary.
It's crossed down boundary side thanks to Chiropedic betting, Will de Jong.
Sorry about those technical difficulty, boys, but the focus for Lee was just to come out and play a physical game due to the conditions, and it looks like they're doing that thus far.
Quick kick out of the pack, went straight into the arms there of McElroy. He'll go back to Want. They're going backwards to go forwards here, the Lions, but it might work out okay for them. A kick squeezed up towards centre half forward. The big man Stoneham went in after it, but he was met there by Need. He couldn't trap the football either. Hurd goes after it again. He's getting down and dirty, the big man, and forces another stoppage 60 metres out from the Eastern Lions goal line by Jordan Buckingham. Restarts play. Knocked down, straight into the arms there of Newman. He tried to get a handball away. There's a lot of players around this football. Vanessa's tackled by Gibbons strongly and will have another bounce.
Very, very physical in this game. Gibbons has already scored a goal already. He's a crucial player for the Zebras.
So just outside the forward 50 arc for the Eastern Lions. They go in there now, courtesy of Need on his left. Ball trickling towards the left forward pocket. Picked up, though, here for the Zebras by Britton. Britton, a hurried kick away. And he finds touch and will get a throw in probably around the intersection of the boundary line and the 50-metre arc. So only 3 minutes here in the second term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 5 straight 30 for Forest Hill. 2-3-15 at the Eastern Lions. From the throw in, Gibbons putting a nice tackle. Brought down Mercer. Ball jars free. Kick went 15 metres, but up instead of long, so no mark to be paid there. Now the ball comes to the back here. Need gets it in to about 20 from goal. Punch away was very good by McPherson. Still, though, in a danger spot here for Forest Hill. Can they break away? No. The tackle was shrugged off by Combe. Now the kick comes out. It was fantastic as well. The assist from Combe. The goal by Well, his second. And the Eastern Lions get exactly what they needed to start this second term. 3-3-21 to Forest Hill. 5 straight 30 and more round the ground scores in the Eastern Footy League thanks to Wayne Brasher.
Yeah, Vermont opened a 31-point lead at quarter time. Vermont 5-3, Montrose 2 behinds.
Well, that's a big margin. I'm sure Brash should be happy with that, but a fantastic goal there from Whirl. Great improvisation on that occasion. He had a number of players around him in traffic, and he scored dubiously, but it was there.
Yeah, look at that. Caught Forest Hill napping in the defence that time as well.
Stoneham got a knock on it. It's only 9 points the margin here. Willoughby at the bottom of the pack gets wrapped up nicely and will have a bounce.
It's crucial for the Lions to get that first goal of the second term as well. All of a sudden, it's a contest once again.
Pye throws it up, Stoneham. He's just got a little bit of extra height, which is helping him get the tap. Goes up towards Podger Carroll, who got down low, took it on the chest, on the left boot now. He kicks it out towards the direction there of Combe. He almost ripped it in the end. And then the umpire said it was holding the man, and he'll go back and have a shot on goal. Will Russell Combe from about 25 metres out, almost directly in front, and it could be 2 in a matter of minutes for the Lions.
Yeah, fantastic. They certainly are entering the 4A4 with greater conviction in this term, Will.
Yeah, they certainly have, and as Will was just saying on the boundary line, that Lee Murphy wanted execution, and that's exactly what they've got so far in this early stage.
Needs to score the goal here, though.
Taking a fair old run up as well.
Michael Holding like.
He'll probably kick from, I said at 25-30, it's more like 40 in the end, but distance isn't going to be a problem. And either the accuracy, both sides kicking nice and straight. Some good goals we've seen so far today. He gets his first, and the Eastern Lions draw within 3 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Well, you have to take your hat off to the Lions in their second term. We thought it would be a run-of-the-mill Division 4 encounter where Forest Hill would kick away, but the Lions are responding very well.
Yeah, that's coming off turnovers, Damo. 5-2 Zebras to 0. Inside forward 50s 4-1. 4-2 in the clearances in favour of the Eastern Lions. 3-0 in the free kicks in favour of the Eastern Lions, thanks to Choose Tap.
So like the fine tooth there, Combs slots it dearly and truly. Back to 3 points here on EFL Game Day. So back to a nice contest as we expected. Bit of hot potato going on here in the middle here for the Eastern Lions midfielders. And eventually too hot for them, holding the ball. Free kick to the Zebras, courtesy of Holdsworth. Good tackle applied on Mercer. So Holdsworth now goes to the Scoresby Road side, and he finds Remington. Too far out to score though. So he's going to pop this one in the Calpenny direction. That falls short, so Carnelli I should say. No ping in that one. And the Eastern Lions should be able to break away here. That Boucher's got the mark. It is. He's come in the middle, and that's okay as well. Biltness goes on. Bit of an open forward 50 area here for Podger Carroll to try and take the mark. Couldn't quite. Second hand, fantastic as well. And a few party tricks shown on top of that also. And that's another contender for our Chiropedic betting goal of the day to Benjamin Podger Carroll. And within the blink of an eye, fellas, the Eastern Lions are in front. 5-3, 33 to 5 straight 30 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Yeah, again, another one, another goal going for that side. As I said, Forest Hill napping again. Just the way the Eastern Lions got themselves out of defence really well, using the wings and finding themselves inside forward 50 and finding ways to score goals, which we didn't see in the first quarter.
Podger the Dodger was fantastic there.
Got a number 23 for the Eastern Lions. Will, if you could find that out for us now as the umpire throws it up. Law's got the knockdown there, but it was well done by Hurd. Got the little handball away to his teammate in number 23, who we're trying to find that number. So we'll have a bounce. Eastern Lions are on fire
Matthew
in
Eddy,
this second.
I believe. BWS.
It was an emergency before the start of the game. Thanks, Loiue. Comes out now. Almost getting boot to ball there was Mathers. He was dispossessed over the top there, Need. I said all was fair, and we'll have a bounce just inside the centre square here.
The Lions certainly matching the Zebras physically and winning the contested ball. I think that's the main difference at the moment, as well as the turnovers.
So knocked down that time there by Hurd. Little kick out wide there by Newman. Picked up by Jason Wan. That was really good play in wet conditions. Kicks it up towards the Podger Carroll direction. Got one bite on it. McElroy came in for support. Pushed over by Haylock. And we'll have a bounce right in front of the caravan here.
Yeah, good play by the Lions. They're actually pushing numbers out of the 50 to leave space at full forward so they can have a genuine scoring opportunity.
So big knock on there that time by Hurd. Got every bit of 25 metres. Just had really no one going after it, but well laid a good tackle and had some support too. And eventually Crosby gives the ball back to umpire Geordie Buckingham. So about 30 metres out here. Ball and
capital sustain it within wet conditions, and they have to score as many goals as possible in the next few minutes.
Third man up there was Gross. He couldn't. He got the knockdown straight into the arms there of Combe. He got released to the football. Comes out wide now. Here's Filtness. Chases after the football. Well, got beaten to the contest, and the handball was intended to him, but eventually knocked over right in front of the Eastern Lions bench or dugout. And Coach Lee Murphy standing on the sidelines as the ball's brought back in.
So Hurd with the height advantage against Laws that time. He was in the ruck for Forest Hill. Got the tap down, but again, it's gone the other way. The kick comes in the Carnelli direction, but he's got a couple of beat. He's come well out of forward 50, though. No one inside there for Forest Hill in actual fact. The Lions now through Hall go back over to the Scoresby Road side, but that's been chopped off by Berger. Berger quick off the mark to Carnelli, who's gone back now towards the goal square, and a few party tricks of his own. If Benjamin Podger Carroll's goal was up there for a Chiropedic goal of the day, Carnelli's one now is another contender. How about that? The little spillage, just the hypnotism of the ball, and the flute just swings in like a 9-iron and sends it through. Sixth straight, 36, Forest Hill, 5-3, 33, Eastern Lions on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Forest Hill, that was their fifth straight clearance in this quarter so far in that passage of play. And look, you can't leave play like Matt Carnelli wide open like that.
Yeah, and it allowed him time to recover as well when the ball was at ground level. He quickly got the ball onto his boot, and that was the difference in the end. And he's always going to be a very crucial player in that forward half for the Zebras, and he proved it and capitalised on the opportunity there. That's a crucial goal too for Forest Hill to kick a goal against the flow, break the lines, and they regain the lead.
10.5 minutes gone. It is a 3-point lead to the away side, which is Forest Hill today, taking on the Eastern Lions. So a great game we're seeing on EFL Game Day. Knocked down there by Hurd. Won the football again. He might be able to get boot to ball here. Tried to link a handball out wide. It was stolen there by Haylock. Got it away to his teammate there in Gross. Up towards the half-forward line. It was a strong kick too. Remington made some good space, and he takes it about 55 out from goal. Might be just beyond him here. So Mitch Remington on the left. Gives it a fair old roost towards the Carnelli direction, but he shepherded it magnificently. He worked himself out of the contest, and the ball just sailed through for through the goals. They can't miss at the moment. The Forest Hill Football Club. Mitch Remington gets his first, and now they've opened back up their handy little 9-point lead, Damo.
Yeah, spot on there, BWS. Carnelli shepherded the ball through. It could have easily been touched on the line. The Lions didn't have enough numbers back on the goal line, and as a consequence, it's gone through for a goal well.
Yeah, look, again, Forest Hill just doing what they do best, running the ball and getting the defenders absolutely napping and out of sorts in some ways.
We'll go around the ground shortly, Loiue.
That we will, but as we get a restart,
On the ball.
a free kick here. It's going to go away with Forest Hill. Fisher, quick hands off, over to Willoughby. We called his name all that much today. The centre half forward on hands and knees there is Want. Digs it out now, and the Lions will clear. High ball to right half forward. The 3-on-1 contest on that occasion. Almost impossible for young Mitch Need to be able to try and pluck a mark out of that. But he did well enough, though, to cause a 50-50 ball over line and a boundary throw in.
Still looking for some scores to come through from around the grounds in the Eastern Football League this afternoon. At Footy EFL, get them in as soon as possible as the umpire brings it back in now. A few soccer skills coming out in play here as the ball comes out. Smythe got a little toe poker on it. That was okay. Here's Newman brought to ground in a strong Hurd tackle. Geordie Buckingham said it was too harsh. So a free kick to Forest Hill. It should be downfield, you would expect.
Yep,
it is. Just slotted in nicely. 20 metres further afield. So after getting jumped early in this second term, Forest Hill have really stemmed the flow. A big kick by Kimpot. Look at the mark there by Laws, who just plucked it out of nowhere. He was third man back in the pack, and it ended up falling in the breadbasket. And the big man will go back and have a shot for 8 straight for the Forest Hill Football Club from about 45 metres out.
Can't underestimate the skill to take that mark in a packet free. He, as you said, plucked it out of the sky there, BWS. That was a fantastic contested mark.
And that is the 6 marks inside forward 50 for Forest Hill to 1, thanks to Choose Tap.
Early favourite for the A1 Airport marking mark of the day. Laws. You don't want to be the first player to miss one, and he makes no mistake either, and the celebration's pretty impressive as well. Laws gets his second on the board, and it's back out to 15 points here. Forest Hill have the lead.
I'll tell you what, in conditions like these, I'd defy any team in the Eastern Football League this afternoon to have gone virtually without a blemish on the scoreboard this afternoon. So fantastic effort by Forest Hill. We'll head around the grounds now. Wade Brasher.
Yeah, quarter-time score from South Belgrave in the Basin. It's the Basin up by 2 points, 4-2 to 3-6.
Let's go through all the rest of the Division 3 scores as you have them at the moment, Brash.
Yeah, we have Chirnside Park up by 9 points, Bronya up by 15, the Basin by 2, Templestowe by 15.
And in Division 4?
We have Glen Waverley Hawks down by a point, Coldstream up by 26, Kilsyth up by 19.
Brad Pulley just pulling rank in the middle of the ground. As,
took you that long to get that one. Quarter and a half into the game.
I didn't even mean it.
You did not either.
Ball hits the deck. Let's have a look at Division 1 and 2, the scores that we currently have at quarter time, Brash.
Yeah, Doncaster up by 5, Balwyn by 24, Noble Park by 11 and Vermont by 31.
Pincott, little handball out wide. It goes back towards the Burger direction. Got caught in the tackle, but got boot to ball. Wantu's had a super game for the Eastern Lions. Almost pulled in a great mark. Almost copped one high and in the back. And the umpire will come in and restart play.
And Brash, just quickly, any behinds there, any unblemished scores there from either of the sides in all 4 divisions?
No, not really, Damian.
There you go. So Forest Hill would stand alone, I think.
Still a long way to go, Damo.
Division 2 scores at quarter time, Wayne Brusher.
Yeah, Bayswater by 16, Mooralbark by 10, Doncaster East up by 3.
So we get a restart. Missing the play there was Eddie, the late inclusion in the Eastern Line side today. Fresh air shot from Banks. Didn't get boot to ball. The umpire said it was a genuine enough attempt to not ping him. Now the ball trickles into forward 50. Picked up by Mercer. And Mercer slots it through. It wasn't pretty getting in there with the assist and the 1%ers, but it was enough for Mercer to break free and see a bit of space and drill it to bring the Eastern Lions back within 9 points. 6-3-39 to 8 straight 48 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard for Chew Staps, Will Taylor.
Yeah, look at 7. At the moment, we have 7 goals without a behind so far in this quarter. What an amazing game we've seen so far. And I think it shows everyone in the EFL that you can play weather football and still kick accurately.
Absolutely. I don't think I would have picked that at the start of the game, looking at the conditions as well. So fantastic effort from both teams, I think.
I think we might have to recheck the ground report, Damian. I'm not sure if that's 100% right.
Umpire starts the game again now in the middle. Picked up there by Willoughby. Got a handball away just in the nick of time. Eventually in the arms of Pincott. Snaps around the body. Had really good vision because Gibbons was by himself. Kicks it inside forward 50. Looking for Carnelli. Knocked over the back there. Nicely done there by Cowan. Got the releasing handball. And now the Lions are out of danger because Banks made some space. So Cameron Banks on the right boot, kicks it up towards centre half forward. It was a beautiful looking kick too, looking for Mercer, but stolen there by Haylock. Got it boot to ball and sends it straight back down into the forward 50. But now the Eastern Lions, their chance through. Want kicks it out wide. He's looking for McElroy. He had to stretch pretty hard there, but pulled in a good mark. Has a bit of time too, bit of space. Can square up on the left boot. Kick the ball inside forward 50. No one was really going up for that, and standing strong there was Sam Gross, who switches the ball out wide for Forest Hill.
To a one-on-one, but Forest Hill win that one-on-one contest, and now the ball travels even further and stops right on its fat side at right half forward. Trying to break away. Now coming through to lend a hand is Smythe for the Zebras with his teammate there. It might have been Britton trying to fight his way through again. Nice and rough and tough in this congestion here at right half forward for the Zebras. Quick kick was smothered, now picked up by Rowe. He's well wrapped up as well and will get a ball up. So very nice rough. That was a bit more of the kind of football you'd see in wet conditions, but certainly as far as the Bendigo Bank scoreboard is concerned, you would think we're under the roof in Docklands the way this is going. 8 straight 48 to 6-3-39. Zebras by 9 points. Shrugging the tackle nicely with a 360 turn was Willoughby. His kick trickles forward. Boo!
Send him off.
Moz
Send him
is
off.
Done. Got the Moz in. And the first blemish comes on the scoreboard for Forest Hill, 8-1-49 to 6-3-39.
Let's cross down boundary side, thanks to Chiropedic betting, Will de Jong.
Jamo's just come off again, boys. He's getting another niggle from that cork earlier in the last quarter. He's just getting a bit of treatment on the sidelines, just jogging up and down the boundary line. He'll be wanting to get back in this one.
So, yes, Will?
And that was after, just before that behind, we had 9 straight goals kicked.
So, Cohen McElroy got a lovely left foot kick about him as he kicks it outside the 50. Picked up nicely there by Bachia. Gets the handball out wide. Here's Vanessa on the left boot. Kicks it up towards the wing position. Podger Carroll went hard at the football, but standing strong was Ronan Laws. The big man takes a mark. Short passes on Pincott. He's getting a lot of the football in this first half. Usually a good disposal as well. Kicks it up towards the Carnelli direction. Over the back there. Had some support there in Smythe. Goes after it. Good tackle there by the Eastern Lions. An advantage will be paid now. Here's Want on the right boot. It was a sloppy kick inside forward 50, but it might work out okay. Over the top of it there was Berger. He copped one in the back. The umpire was blindsided to it, Brad Pulley, and will have a bounce about 45 metres out from the Eastern Lions goal line.
Just on the Olympic theme, the first quarter resembled Greco-Roman wrestling. This quarter, a tennis match. It's gone from one end to the other.
Little toe poker on forward there by Newman. I tell you what, that's pretty close to deliberate, but you're not going to pay those sorts of ones on a day like today. Over the boundary line it goes. So it's about 25 metres out from the Eastern Lions goals. Over the back, Hurd got the knockdown straight into the arms of Banks. He had a player right on his hammer. Hurd goes after it again. And we'll have another bounce. Rankin just coming in there and lending some support.
Sent away Brasher from around the grounds.
Got a half-time score here in Division 1. Noble Park up by 24 points.
Well, the social club boys will be happy they can have a beer early out there at the Bullring.
Just like you, but...
Did I say welcome back earlier?
Get rid of him.
So we'll see if the Eastern Lions can conjure something out of this. Stoneham over the back, got the knockdown. Pincock couldn't trap the football, so the Lions will get a chance here going forward. Here's Banks on the right boot, kicks it to the top of the square, and eventually knocked over by Combe. Got a fingertip on it in the end, and we'll have a boundary throw in. Still in the hot spot though for the Lions, right in front of the faithful, right in front of the bar and the barbecue.
Good crowd too, BWS.
On both sides of the ground as well as it comes in. Here's Combe, just did it all. Combe on the right boot. No! In the end, rushed through for a behind. We all tried to carry that one home, but a minor score is the result. 22 minutes gone now in this second term out here at Fair Park between the Eastern Lions and Forest Hill, with the Zebras leading this one narrowly.
So ball brought in by McPherson. He goes to right half back, and it's an okay kick as well. The outstretched hands that time of Willoughby takes the mark. The kick, though, not so flash, over to Laws.
Out in the full.
On the full.
And it certainly is on the full, so Roger Carroll to bring it back in for the Lions. Short kick's okay to Vaness. Vaness between centre wing and left half forward over on the Scoresby Road side here at Fair Park Reserve. Goes nice and long. Was there a bit of infringement against Fisher? No, says the umpire. As play continues on. Ball trickling now just in front of Mathers and also Murphy, and we'll get a throw in around at 45 from goal. So we have some more halftime score updates around the grounds. Wayne Brasher.
Yeah, Ringwood up by 9 points. The South Belgrave have got up by 41 points up for Surrey Park and 19 points up at halftime for Kilsyth.
So from the restart there, nothing much happening, and umpire Brad Pulley does the proverbial and pulls the ball in for another ball up. So we've gone now 22.5 minutes in this second term. Margin 9 points in favour of the Zebras. Again, stacks on the mill here. Not a lot of meterage covered in terms of travel for the ball. As the last man up there was Combe, wrapped up by Britton. Then we get a restart again. Rankin getting involved in the ruck contest that time. Gibbons just harassed off the footy that time, but all within the laws of the game. Not Rowan laws, of course. McPherson as well, seeing the ball over the line and out of bounds. But he's been really good in the second term, Rowan Law. Speaking of him, a couple of brilliant A1 Airport marking mark of the day contenders as well. As McPherson on the throw-in gets brought down by Combe, and we're going to get another ball up. Saps Will Taylor. How many ball ups is that in the last minute, I reckon?
We've had 5 so far.
We have a stat for everything, don't we?
Indeed.
Look out, Soupy Campbell.
You're on notice. As Rankin comes through, make that 6 now. As we trickle more towards half-time. The first quarter went almost 33 minutes. So based on that, you might think there's still plenty of time in this term to go. Soon find out, as Britton's little tap was an excellent 1%er, though. It might allow the Zebras to get out of here. The handball though from Fisher, a bit too hot for Gibbons, but he had enough time to make amends. The kick though to centre half back was no good though. Turnover for Shea, good kick as well. And as Damian caught it, was an excellent spot up to Need, right on the forward 50 arc. He'll have to go about 5 metres back from that. So distance, well, it might just be on his limit. It all depends on how heavy that ball is. But we've seen so far in this contest, it hasn't mattered for whoever's had the set shot in terms of getting the distance. Can he do it?
Oh, what a room!
There's a perfect example. 55 out with a heavy ball, no issue at all. Golden Need, he gets his first. We're back to a 3-point ball game on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 7-4, 46, 8-1, 49.
Let's go around the grounds with Wayne Brasher for some more halftime scores.
Yes, Baldwin up by 44 points over Knox, and in Division 2, Mulgrave have got a 4-goal lead over Doncaster East at half-time.
That's an interesting
Just
result.
feel everyone staring at me at the moment.
On that occasion, though, Lucas Gibbons, he's been fantastic in and under throughout this second term, but a poor choice as he went to switch the ball across half-back, and it resulted in a Lions goal.
Well, Cowan went backwards trying to find Want here. It's moved up towards centre-half forward. Well done there by Want, dispossessed of the football. Had some support there in Murphy coming in. Good umpiring to let the ball play on. Little knockout now. Forest Hill still trying to urge his way did though, kicked it up towards the half-forward line. It's bouncing towards the direction there of Lee Rankin. Trapped it well, the big man. Good turn of foot too, but his disposal let him down in the end. Kicks it towards the Banks direction. He hit the deck. Charging after him was Newman, and the umpire said we will have a boundary throw-in. So it's gone forward for the Eastern Lions. They're just inside the arc. Will they have one of the last shots on goal and potentially put themselves in the lead and knock that time there by Gross? But the Eastern Lions, little kick towards the area of Fisher, who just gave the old don't argue, get out of my way, I want to get my left foot boot up towards the wing position, which was an absolute cracking kick out into space, and the good work done by Mitch Remington, who kicked a goal in this second term.
They need one here, the Zebras.
Just weighing up his options, goes towards the Carnelli direction. Is there a bit of holding or a push happening?
Push against Carnelli.
McElroy on the left boot, waste no time either. It was a dangerous kick, came out there. Sorry, that was McElroy then, got it away to Want, had so much of the football. Links up out wide, now they'll use the far side of the ground to surge forward. Couldn't quite trap the ball there, was Mathers for Forest Hill. Knocks it over the boundary line and out. Boundary throw-in, 26.5 minutes gone, and a 3-point lead to Forest Hill.
Yeah, One's been amazing for the Eastern Lions. Really kept that that midfield and that back line really stable for the Lions.
More than just what the Eastern Lions want. That's what they need at the moment, and they're doing it brilliantly to keep within close range of the Forest Hill Zebras. That was a fantastic tap from Gross to find Rowe. Rowe's kicked now in the direction of Smythe. He has it punched away from him. Now sliding through is Need.
Well done, Rowe.
Rowe mopped up as well. Got it out towards Mathers. Mathers to Carnelli, and a good fist away against him by Top. And it was quite off the shelf as well for a rush behind.
Around the grounds, Wayne Brusher.
Yeah, East Burwood are trailing by 52 points at half-time against Bayswater, and Mooroolbark opened a 23-point lead at half-time over Lilydale.
Keeping the scores coming through all afternoon at Footy EFL via Twitter.
Love the spectator behind the goals, just having a puff at the cigarette as she retrieves the football.
Umpire.
The cigarette, of course, the priority.
Well spotted there by our man Leroy Green. Made his debut on the huddle last night. Fantastic stuff. Kick comes in now. They're going to use the centre corridor here as a bounces up towards Podger Carroll, who had the back spot there. So Forest Hill a little chance to create their play forward. Picked up though by Podger Carroll. A looping handball over the top, straight down the throat there of Gross, who got the handball away. Eventually Zegerink on the left boot just poked it out wide. And almost pulling in a really strong mark there was Cowan, but the umpire said play on. Nicely done there by Gross. Got the handball away. Here's Fisher on the right boot up towards the half-forward line, but just poked at it. And the Eastern Lions will once again get out of trouble.
Their defence has been very resolute today.
So on the left into the middle. Kick being chopped off there by Gav Willoughby. 28, almost 29 minutes now. Kick towards the Carnelli direction. Big fist over the back. Opens up a little bit of space here. He's going to be the recipient of this handball in the end. Read the play well. On the right boot, kicks it up towards the wing position. They've got players in the middle if they want to use them. Here's Will. He's already kicked 2 goals in this game. Played on in a brilliant smother in the centre of the park. This could be a massive turnover. Here's Remington on the left boot. Pops it up inside 450, looking for Pincott, who made good space. Chased after it well and takes the mark about 50 out. It might be just beyond him here with the heavy football. Screaming players to get back or into position, but eventually he'll go back and have a ping himself. Tugged very tightly up on the boundary line, and he'll have no choice but to have a shot on goal. They currently lead this one by 4 points, the Forest Hill Football Club. Pincott's already kicked 1 goal this afternoon. This would be a very, very handy one if he could put it through on the halftime siren. Goes towards goal, but pushed it left. That's their 3rd blemish, moving them to 8 goals, 351. But they do hold a 5-point lead over the Eastern Lions, who are 7-4-46 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. A great first half we are seeing out here. Let's cross down boundary side, thanks to Chiropedic betting to Will de Jong.
Yeah, just lastly, boys, Ormston's been in every single contest in about the last 5 minutes. He's feeling a bit worse for wear. You can see him hands on his knees, just on the outer on the boundary side. He's been in pretty much everything physical, and he's feeling it now.
Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe. EFL.org.au. Major goal kickers on the ground. Matt Carnelli has 2, as does the big man, Ronan Laws. 2 goals to Nathan Will for the Eastern Lions. The rest are singles. All set for a massive second half out here, as well as hearing all those important around the ground scores and the other 20 great games as you hashtag Love It Local this afternoon on EFL Game Day.
Dave and his mates are flying to the Gold Coast to watch their team play the Suns. Do they B, pay too much for a taxi, C, hope for an airport rail link this century, or D, get a lift from a mate and hope for the best when they fly home?
What about A for A1 airport parking?
At A1 Airport Parking, get 2 days for $25, 3 days for $34, or get 7 days parking for just $69. And at just 5 minutes from the airport, they'll get you there in time for your flight and pick you up when you get home. Show your footy or sporting club membership anytime you park and get 10% off. A1airportparking.com.au.
Program sponsor.
For the best EFL rap on radio, don't miss EFL Sunday. From 10 till 12 every Sunday morning, the EFL media team brings you all the final scores, goal kickers, best players and ladders, following a big round of EFL footy. The gang talk to the biggest names from across the league each and every week. EFL Sunday, from 10 every Sunday morning on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
मेरे मुस्तकबिल के कुछ मंसूबे हैं.
Mam zaplanowaną przyszłość.
I've also planned for the future. With the Tobin Brothers Funerals fixed price funeral plan, you can be sure your family won't be burdened with the cost of your funeral. Your life will be celebrated the way you want it and the price is fixed forever.
Je l'ai prévu pour l'avenir.
Plan for the future today so you can relax and enjoy the journey with those who matter most. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating diversity as they celebrate lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to EFL.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best. Never miss out on the latest information on the Eastern Football League through the league's social media channels. Live updates, information and scores through the league's Twitter account.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man.
I've got some weekend goals.
Like what?
First, wake up around lunchtime.
Oh, yeah.
Second, go into Pancake Parlour and get one of their traditional breakfasts because it's served till 5 p.m. every day.
Oh, you got to go to Pancake Parlour for your weekend goals. Yeah, what else?
And then when I'm all full,
yeah, like in your belly,
just sit on the couch and watch me team kick some winning goals.
Bang, goal!
Oh, Pancake Parlour's weekend goals.
Up and about.
Chiropedic Mattress Factory
Program
Direct.
sponsor.
For mattresses, bases, beds, electric beds, trundle beds, quality pillows, as well as custom-sized mattresses made to measure. Factory Direct locations around Melbourne and country Victoria. To keep up to date on the latest sales, fun facts and news, go to Facebook, search and like Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct, and you'll join over 17,000 Facebook fans. Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. Buy direct from the factory and never pay retail prices again. Or shop online at chiropedic.net.au.
Program sponsor.
Go live and local every Saturday for Pancake Parlour EFL Game Day.
Can he bring the house down, Robbie? They go charging into Division 2.
Stutter step, now sends it on its way. This one's going to go long. And straight through, Jeff. Pass. Gee, that was poetry in motion, to use the cliche. Braided cross! Cometh the moment, cometh the man!
EFL Game Day, 1 through to 6 Saturdays on 98.1 Radio Eastern. All thanks to the Pancake Parlour. Lovely.
And welcome back to EFL Game Day. It's been an entertaining encounter in Round 11 action in Division 4 football as you go local, Eastern for your footy. And at Fair Park Reserve, it is Forest Hill 8-3-51 against a very gallant Eastern Lions lineup, 7-4-46, only 5 points to margin, so make sure you stay tuned for a cracking second half. We may see a grandstand finish as we head towards full time. Many other scores around the grounds in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, and with all the latest, here's Wayne Brasher.
Yes, good afternoon again, listeners. Doncaster are 11 points up at half-time over Blackburn. Bowen open up the second quarter to lead by 44 points over Knox. In the big clash down at Roval, Noble Park hold a 4-goal lead, 24 points over Roval. And a progress score just on a stroke of half-time. Norwood are only up by 4 points against South Croydon, and Vermont hold sway in the second quarter to lead by 25 points over Montrose. In Division 2, Bayswater open up the game in the second quarter to lead by 52 points over East Burwood. Mooroolbark now 23 points up over Lilydale at half-time. And Doncaster East are 4 goals, 24 points down at half-time against Mulgrave. Whilst in Division 3, Ringwood are 9 points up at half-time against Chirnside Park. Baronia, after a good second quarter, open up the lead to 17 points over Sylvan. A point the difference to South Belgrave against the Basin at half-time. And Templestowe hold a 20-point lead over Heathmont. And in Division 4, the radio game, it's a 5-point lead to Forest Hill over the Eastern Lions at half-time. Surrey Park, 41 points up at half-time over Coldstream. And Kilsyth hold sway against the White Horse Pioneers by 19 points at half-time.
Great work, Wayne Brasher, bringing us all the important around-the-ground scores across the Eastern Football League. 4 divisions as you go local for your football. This is the Pie Shed half-time show with myself, Damian Watson, Will Taylor and Will de Jong in the box with me. Will, we'll head to you first with the all-important statistics from this match, thanks to Choose Tap.
Just before we go to the stats, Damo, we'll go around the grounds at the Junior Metro Junior Championship at Walker Park in Mitcham. Earlier today in the under-15 boys in Division 2, it was the Eastern Football League 11-13-79 defeating South Metro 2-10-22. And at the moment, it is half-time out at Walker Park in Division 1 of the under-15s. And it is South Metro with an easy lead at half-time, 8-7-55 to the Eastern Football League, 3 straight 18. So a 37-point lead there. Let's have a look at the stats thanks to Choose Tab. Inside forward 50s in this game, 28-23 in favour of Forest Hill. The clearance is 28-19 in favour of Forest Hill, 13-9 in that quarter. Marks inside forward 50s, 6-2 in favour of Forest Hill. Free kick count 11-10, 6-3 in that quarter by the Lions. And the turnovers 36-27 in favour of Forest Hill over the Lions, 17-11 in that quarter, Damo.
Yeah, that's been a key stat all afternoon, hasn't it, Will? Thanks very much for those stats. Thanks to Yarra Valley Water. Will de Jong's been on the boundary all afternoon. He's had a keen eye on this game. And, Will, you must be impressed with the Eastern Lions. Underdogs going into this match on a cold, wet winter's day. They've been very gallant and they've been very, very clean in their ball use as well, considering the conditions. You must have been impressed with that at ground level.
Absolutely. Just coming into the game, but also after they were down by that many points coming to the second quarter. So they were able to rally and get back in it, kicking a few goals in the space of the first sort of 7 minutes. That was really impressive. As you said, it's really good of them to come back after that. And it's a very physical game. We all know that, but sitting on the boundary is a lot of boys with their hands on their knees. A couple of names in particular, Hurd, he's been in amongst everything. He's probably been in some of the best for the Lions for mine. And also Jack Ormston, who hasn't had a lot of the ball, but just his physical presence. He's one of the bigger boys out there, and he's been in every single contest, which is really, really impressive.
And Nathan Jabot, I noticed on the boundary line, he struggled this afternoon after a very heavy collision early on in the game. Do you think that's negated his influence a little bit?
I think it has, and we saw he came off, got a bit of treatment, got a bit of the heat spray, got a bit of a massage, got back on there, tried to run around a bit, but it just wasn't working for him. Had to come back off, so it'll be interesting to see, Will, if he comes back on in the second half and does have an influence.
Yeah, he's going to be a very important player, Jamone, and I think it's just going to be interesting to see how Forest Hill's going to set that up without him if he doesn't come back on the ground at all. But one key one I thought was Carnelli and Top. At the moment, look, even though Carnelli's kicked 2 goals, I think James Top is all over him in that matchup there in the back in Forest Hill's forward line. And I just think for Eastern Lions, they've got to keep playing the way. And, Will, you just say it at quarter time, what Lee Murphy said, it's execution. And they did so well in that in the first 10 to 15 minutes of that quarter. Dropped off a little bit in the middle of that quarter, but I think that's what the Eastern Lions have to do to stay with Forest Hill. That execution, the way they played in that first 10 to 15 minutes in that second quarter to have any chance to hopefully going on and win this game for the Lions.
And as you said, Carnelli's influence, whilst he has kicked 2 goals, has been minimal. Do you think that they're double-teaming him, or do you think the one man is just doing the job on him?
I think that they're swapping and changing. I think at times they'll go to the double if he's really getting ahead like he did that late stage of that second quarter. But James Top, what he's done so well, he's keeping him off his game by going in front of him and playing that physical game. And at the moment, that's what's the key in this game so far.
He's been very impressive in the one-on-one contests in the air as well. Who have been some of the key players to look for in an attacking sense, boys? I noticed Ben Podger-Carroll for the Eastern Lions has been a live wire, particularly in that second term when they had the run on. Lucas Gibbons has been very, very physical at ground level, winning the hard contested ball. And I'm sure he thrive in these conditions as well. Who have been some of the standout players from both your eyes?
Yeah, Podger-Carroll would be my number one for now for the Lions. His work, especially late in the last sort of 5 to 10 minutes of that last quarter, really brought the speed, and that's what he brings to the table, speed and a bit of finesse as well. Also, I've seen Banks has worked well through the middle. He really creates that transition. And Will, I think, who is it? Want is also starting to come into the game as well.
Yeah, I think Jason Want exactly the same, and it comes into real, like he was everywhere, wasn't he, in the first half. Russell Combe, like I know from him coming from Bayswater, that midfield, really that toughness that I thought the Eastern Lions were missing throughout the season. That's what he's brought so far in this game. One player in particular that I think should really maybe push himself from the back line into the midfield is Jaden Murphy. Obviously, I had that chance to see him at his best at Bayswater a couple of years ago. I think he needs to do exactly like that in the second half. For Forest Hill, on the other hand, I thought Sam Gross has had a great quarter in that quarter. Nick Pincott was everywhere, and Jake Rowe. He's been amazing so far.
Great target inside forward 50.
And I think that's going to be the keys in this second half.
Just before we head to another recap of the around-the-ground scores with Wade Brasher, what do you think will happen from here, boys? Who's your tip from this point onwards? Will de Jong?
I think that Forest Hill, if they bring that tempo they brought late in that first quarter, if they can really present that early in the second half here, I think they will get away with it. The Lions, we did see come back, but they are starting a bit worse for wear at the moment. Really physical game. They might start to tire a bit for me. What about you, Will?
Look, I think Forest Hill will probably run out the winners, just purely for the fact that I'm looking at the key stats, and one that really sticks out to me the most is his clearances in the marks inside forward 50. The Lions have, I don't know what, but I think the Lions have leaving players wide open inside their forward 50 on a couple of occasions, and that's caught them napping and really got them unstuck, the Eastern Lions, for all their hard work, Damo.
Indeed, well, it'll be very interesting to see what transpires in the second half. Wade Brasher, some around-the-ground scores.
Yeah, got a couple more, Damian. A couple of progress scores. It looks like maybe half-time. Wantirna South are up by 32 points over the Waverley Blues. And in Division 3, very close game here. Upper Ferntree Gully, 5-6-36, up by 8 points over Park Orchards. Warrandyte, 3 goals, 6-24, are 4 points up over Scoresby in Division 3. And in Division 4 at half-time, Glen Waverley Hawks are down by 5 points to Donvale.
Yes, some very interesting scores as you go local for your football around the grounds in the Eastern Football League. The Eastern Lions have returned to the field for the second half. What they present in this third term remains to be seen, and make sure you stay tuned to find out what occurs in this all-important Division 4 clash between the Eastern Lions and Forest Hill as the Zebras come onto the ground. We'll take a break. The second half on EFL Game Day right after this.
Dave and his mates are flying to the Gold Coast to watch their team play the Suns. Do they B, pay too much for a taxi, C, hope for an airport rail link this century from a mate and hope for the best when they fly home?
What about A for A1 Airport Parking?
At A1 Airport Parking, get 2 days for $25, 3 days for $34, or get 7 days parking for just $69. And at just 5 minutes from the airport, they'll get you there in time for your flight and pick you up when you get home. Show your footy or sporting club membership anytime you park and get 10% off. A1airportparking.com.au.
Program sponsor.
How would you like to be celebrated?
I could put together a really cool playlist.
Frank Sinatra.
Elton John.
Beethoven.
John Lennon.
Boy bands.
A lot of 90s.
I'd certainly not be opposed to people dancing.
Finger food.
Party pies.
Homemade pickles. I'd like some cakes. There will be fairy bread.
Twinks.
I have a thing for pink lemonade.
And lots of coffee.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, they know that every life is unique, and they think that every celebration should be too. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
A new time and a new team, driving you home in 2016. Join a brand new lineup for The Huddle as the gang take a light-hearted look at the Eastern Football League every Friday night. More importantly, the team will reveal the ins and outs for this week's round of matches. The Huddle, 4:30 to 6:30 every Friday evening as you love it local.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man.
Hope we win this weekend.
Oh, I hope we win too. Because I want to kick some weekend goals at Pancake Parlour after the game.
Because if your AFL team wins, you can go in and get a free sweet pancake with any savoury menu item purchase.
Oh, free pancake. First your team wins and then your belly wins.
It's win-win, man.
Claim your free sweet pancake with any savoury item purchase just by showing your winning team's colours.
Or your team membership.
At any Pancake Parlour this weekend.
Oh, and don't forget, check out Facebook for this week's offer.
Lovely.
Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. It's the Aussie family company that's been manufacturing mattresses in Melbourne since 1991. They offer a huge range, and selected mattresses come with everyday deals like free delivery, old mattress removal, 30-day comfort guarantee, and up to 20 years warranty. Buy direct from the factory and never pay retail prices again. Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. Locations all around Melbourne and country Victoria. Or shop online 24/7 for mattresses, bases, beds, pillows, and custom-sized mattresses at chiropedic.net.au.
Program sponsor.
Go live and local every Saturday for Pancake Parlour EFL Game Day.
Can he bring the house down, Robbie? They go charging into Division 2.
Stutter step. Now sends it on its way. This one's going to go long. And straight through, Jeb. Pass. Gee, that was poetry in motion, to use the cliche. Braden Cross! Cometh the moment, cometh the man!
EFL Game Day, 1 through to 6 Saturdays on 98.1 Radio Eastern. All thanks to the Pancake Parlour. Lovely.
And welcome back to EFL Game Day. All thanks to the Pancake Parlour. We're live at Fair Park Reserve for this big Division 4 encounter between the Eastern Lions and Forest Hill. And it's the away side holding a very slender lead at the moment. The Zebras by 5 points over the Eastern Lions. Loiue, Bulzomi and Will Taylor getting set for the second half as the players await. Loiue, you've seen the first half action close at hand. What do you think will transpire from this point onwards?
Tell you what, I mean, going into quarter time, I thought, well, this could be almost, how far Forest Hill, only because the Eastern Lions would work so hard to get into their forward 50 for minimal result, whereas Forest Hill were really getting a lot of reward for their efforts going forward. But that didn't happen in the second term, so I reckon this could go down right to the wire as umpire Brad Pulley throws the ball in the air to get the second half underway here on EFL Game Day. 3-point lead to the Zebras, who get the early clearance forward. Laws at left half forward. The handball is okay too to Pilcock. Pilcock's kick in the Carnelli direction. He had the best position there. A1 at the back. Read it far more beautifully than what his opponent James Top could on that occasion. And he took the mark at the back and will line up for a absolute soda from about 15 metres out.
And that's exactly what Forest Hill needed. Some, at least, production from Matt Carnelli, and that's a good start for Forest Hill if he can slot this through.
Yeah, he read the ball perfectly there too, and great elevation and also to mark it as he went to ground level.
The great forwards of the Eastern Football League for many years, and he drills through his third for the afternoon. He's 58th for the season, and within 45 seconds, Forest Hill get the opening goal of the second half. 9-3-57 to the Eastern Lions, 7-4-46.
Well, if you want to make a statement and impose yourself on the game, Will, that's the way to do it. Matt Carnelli and Forest Hill with that all-important goal for the first goal for the second half.
Yeah, exactly right, Damo. And straight away, as we mentioned, clearances, marks inside 40-50, inside 50, it's all gone to Forest Hill, and that shows exactly why.
So back in the middle. Blinked and you missed that first passage of play. It was that quick. As good tackle there.
Still blinking.
He still is. Murphy, good enough tackle on his opponent there. Might have been in Smythe, who he didn't. He looked like it was going to just trickle high, but then just kept it on shoulder level and was able to allow play to go on. So the umpire, Brad Pulley, not getting fooled by that. Allowed it to go on for a ball up now. Quick handball out from Ziegering. Releases Pilcock. Pilcock back in the Carnelli direction. This time had two to beat. And on that occasion, Hall, the man in front, takes the mark.
That's what they need to do, the Lions. Fill in that hole and block the Carnelli lead.
So now Hall, onto his left, sees an opening, but it was well read by the Forest Hill forwards. Mathers picks it up at the back, and he finds Carnelli, who was able to sneak away after that unfortunate turnover by Hall, who then dropped his head and didn't see Carnelli sneak away.
Yeah, look at that. He could get number 2 in a quick hurry, Matt Carnelli, and he's just starting to get on top of James Top at this stage.
You talk about the ultimate momentum killer for the Eastern Lions coming out of the half-time break. And they had quite a fair bit of it going into it as Carnelli makes no mistake from 48, drills it straight through the eye of the needle, puts the coin into the slot and gets his fourth for the afternoon. And the Forest Hill Zebras now go out to a 17-point lead, probably the biggest of the game too, 10-3, 63 to 7-4, 46.
Well, I'm interested to see on the statistic count what Louis' euphemism count has been this afternoon. He's plucked out every single euphemism in the book. It's fantastic.
Quite high.
Indeed, he could lead a competition, that's for sure. But
I've been out for 4 weeks now. I'm making up for lost time.
That's it.
So back in the middle here, a handy little lead for the Forest Hill Football Club of 17 points as they try to surge forward once again, charging through there. Ziegering ducked under the tackle, but still copped one high. So he'll be given the free kick. So only 3 minutes gone, but Carnelli has 2 in this term. They go towards that direction again. He nearly pulled it down, knocked away from him. Strong tail tackle Stacks on the mill and will have a bounce about 50 metres out from goal.
Enjoyed the gang tackling from Forest Hill in this quarter. They've lifted the tempo.
So Hurd and Stoneham did well. Tapped it straight down to Ziegering on the outside of the boot, but he pushed it left. And there's been a whistle also.
Full, is it?
Out on full, is it? Yeah, it is.
So
out on the full.
Geordie Buckingham just chatting with the goal umpire there to get the right decision over the line. Decision is out of bounds on the full with Jason Want to bring the ball back in. He had a great first half. Russell Combe also doing good work.
Where do you think the game will falter through here, BWS? What do you predict will happen?
Oh, it's an interesting one. It's gone in ebbs and flows, hasn't it? Both sides have been owning passages of play 10 or 15 minutes at a time. If it is up to the Eastern Lions, though, now to answer the challenge, because in wet weather football, as it gets darker, it becomes tougher. Stoneham on hands and knees. They're about 55 out. The quick kick goes inside forward 50. Big fly by one over the back. Ziegering was in the front spot there. Snap around the body towards the top of the goal square. Carnelli was there, but nicely rushed through for a behind by Top. And a minor score goes on to the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 3 straight goals. The Zebras lead the Eastern Lions at the 5-minute mark of the third term.
So ball brought back in. Short kick is okay to Banks. About 35 out from his defensive goal line. Held up at the moment, though. Doesn't like what he sees up forward. Could go short to McElroy, but that would be fraught with danger because it's only about 15 metres in front of him. So he goes a lot longer, though, and Rankin pulls down a beauty coming in from the side. Nothing much Haylock did wrong there, but unfortunately just too much size for Rankin to contend with. Beautiful contested mark. He goes short. World, the opening goal of the game. He has 2 so far, the only multiple goal scorer for the Lions. Too far out to score on this occasion. He's stuck on centre wing on the Scoresby Road side, so his kick is short. And that is an absolute bone cruncher coming through. Is that on Mercer, is it, I think?
It is.
And he's, worse for wear, definitely
25.
a 25.
Yep.
Most definitely there. Very, very late, very crude.
It was crude because Forest still had like numbers back in their defensive 50 and they would have been able to curb the Eastern Lions attack, but with that 25 metres, they now have a shot on goal.
That's the shortest 25 I've ever seen.
I think it's that decimal point again, Will. 2.5, I think he ended up taking. It was probably best Mercer just trying to catch his breath again instead of taking the full 25. Anyway, his shot goes to the right and it's through for one behind. The first score of the second half for the Lions, 7-5-47, 10-4-64 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
So Nick Pincott to bring the ball back into play for Forest Hill. Gets every bit of 60 metres of purchase. Knock over the top there by Cowan. Got it down to centre-half forward. Trying to pick it up there was McElroy. Eventually got the handball out. Why, this is good play. He's kneed around the body. Can he put it through? He certainly can. And that's the goal that they were after. The Eastern Lions margin back here to 2 straight goals.
Gee, they needed that one, the Lions. That's an understatement. Forest still were getting on top in the inside 50 count. They were attacking fiercely, and the Lions to kick one and stem the flow. That is going to do wonders for their confidence.
Yeah, thanks to Choose Tap. Inside forward 50s 5-2. Clearances 3-0 in favour of Forest Hill. Marks inside forward 50s 2-0 in this quarter so far. Thanks to Choose Tap.
We have the obligatory local footy wait for the Sherrod to come back over the fence.
Good to see Leroy Green getting Geordie Buckingham just fixing himself up in the middle.
I think he's actually acknowledged that as well, just giving the old little mini applause there. Oh, Bucky.
He's got the old,
well.
got the old Ron Jeremy mo happening.
Have a look at that.
Of the red variety. That's even better.
Are you for real, you guys?
11 points is the margin. Ball back in the middle.
Brush. So, away they come, the Eastern Lions. They get the centre clearance this time. All important. Out towards the broadcast side. Feltness. Beautifully done too. Went to ground and then scooped it up nicely like an ice cream up towards the danger zone here. 25 out. Big pack of players there. Not going to come out of that congestion, and we'll get a ball up despite the best efforts of Will to yank that ball away from the pinned arms of Holdsworth.
Now the Eastern Lions got a bit of momentum.
So in the ruck, this time it's Mercer who's recovered from that heavy knock earlier. Forest Hill, though, with the clearing kick out of defensive 50. Davis on hands and knees, trying to draw a high tackle, but umpire Jordan Buckingham not going to be fooled by that. Already gave the head away by the initial duck. So a ball up. And centre half forward for the Lions. Attempted kick out by Remington was smothered. It's going to come straight back his way by the looks of things. Now it's an absolute desperation stuff here by Ziegering and co.
Boundary.
And we'll get another ball up. Will to Jong for Chiropedic on the boundary.
Well, we talked about at halftime how important Jamo was for the Zebras. He's set to come back on for the first time in this third quarter.
That's good news again for Forest Hill. Quick kick, though. Could be good news here for Eastern Lions? No, unfortunately, Murphy's kick sprays to the right. It's just the one behind, but they are charging hard after a very nice opening start for Forest Hill with the early 2 goals to Carnelli. The margin now, 10 points.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see whether the Lions can sustain this effort. The question has been asked of them in recent weeks, and they faltered in the latter stages of the match, so they need to reverse the trend today.
So just waiting for the ball to come back into play. Good luck if any of you boys wanted any lollies today, because Cooper Dooley's done a very good job of eating all those. As the ball comes back in now. Oh, that's a strong mark there by Crosby on the second bite. That's an absolute ripper. Another contender for the Pancake Parlour mark of the day. Sorry, you won't. You can. It's the A1 Airport parking mark of the day. Umpire says play on here. Is it? No, it should have been advantage paid there. Want was off, but it'd go back to Rankin across the half back line.
Needs to go to the corridor here. There's numbers.
So Lee Rankin's kicked 1 goal. Unfamiliar spot on the ground for him. Goes into the middle, Need. Kicked the last goal this match, but couldn't quite trap it. Now the Zebras are away. Kick goes up towards the half-forward line. Chopped off, though, by Cowan for the line. Short passes on, and they had a little bit of time. They might create a switch here. The kick goes out wide. Getting in the front spot there was Mathers. He did well. So Forest Hill create the turnover. Short pass on into the middle. It was dangerous, but it was good mark by Davis. Laws is screaming forward across the half-forward line. They'll go that way now. The big man has to fly over the back, but strong jukes there by Jaden Murphy, and he arches the back and takes off too. Gained every bit of 20 metres. Short pass was on. That was good play there by Need, who goes further afield short. Little knock on there by Mercer. Got it away to Need on the right boot. Bouncing football all alone in the goal square. Mercer stole it from Need in the end, but it doesn't matter because the goal goes on the board for the Eastern Lions, and they're back to within a kick once again. Let's go around the grounds. Thanks to Wayne Brasher.
Yeah, first score in from the Croydon-Mitcham game, and it's Croydon leading by 17 points.
Well, it's a fantastic play there by the Eastern Lions as they transferred it from one end of the ground to the other, and they capitalised on having the space at full forward, and poor defence there from Forest Hill. They were caught napping.
Correct, but the question is, Damo, can they sustain it for the rest of this game?
It's going to be a big test for them. Finals are on the line here.
What a great game we're seeing out here today.
Do you pick that BWS?
Absolutely.
You must have, because you picked the game.
Well, he's here calling it. That gives you another hint. As well as we get a restart. Trying to just tackle it out there was Fisher, despite the harassment from Vaness. High ball now to right half forward for the Zebras. Coming from the side was Gibbons. Couldn't take the mark. Laws as well. Just indirectly knocked it away from advantage against Murphy there. But luckily enough, the Zebras are back in possession through Ziegering.
He's been good.
Very handy indeed. Goes to centre half forward. Just out of reach there of the intended target. Coming through strong as Remington, but equally as strong was All in the tackle. He would not give up the ghost at all, despite the probably extra size for Remington in terms of strength. Ball up. Great tackle. Big leap from Stoneham. Got it down. Remington this time caught behind Hall on that occasion. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was Hurd, the other ruckman, and he got into his back. So it'll be a free kick to the Lions, who can sense the lead coming if they can get another good flow on from this kick. 4 points is the margin. And it's
Beautiful
a very good kick as well. Thread of the eye of the needle beautifully to Van Ness, who does likewise up to Rankin at left half forward. The open spaces of the broadcast side here at Fair Park Reserve.
On a dry day, he would slot this.
Still fancies himself.
I think on the wet day like this, he might be able to do it too, BWS. The way this game has gone, they have not been phased at all, either side really, by the wet and muddy conditions. Here comes Rankin. That one high, probably more a centering kick. If anything, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But the defence of the Zebras stands tall and they thump it through from behind.
Need to weather the storm here, Forest Hill. Just remain composed and trust their instincts in the final term and their fitness.
Around the grounds with Wayne Brusher.
Division 3, three-quarter time. Churnside Park now lead by 5 points over Ringwood.
Well, we said it was a tough game to call, and it's proving that way. So Forest Hill lead this game by 3 points on EFL Game Day. Working it out of the defensive zone. Ryan Fisher has the football. On the left now, sends it out towards the wing position. One had the front spot, went after it again, almost caught one in the back. The umpire said, okay. Christian Holdsworth sees the ball go out. Right underneath the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 10-4-64, Forest Hill. The Eastern Lions, 9-7-61.
It's been a game of ebbs and flows, hasn't it? Momentum swings from one side to the other.
Centre wing, Scoresby Road side. Toe poke for the Zebras went the wrong way for them, unfortunately. And Podger Carroll getting involved, put a nice tackle down on Willoughby to hold him up.
You can feel it's almost an early finals type intensity at the moment because obviously Forest Hill trying to get that double chance and Eastern Lions trying to get a final spot.
Eastern Lions season on the line, you would think, considering their spot on the ladder and the wins in the bank, as there's another nice scrap fest going along. Still on the Scoresby Road side there. Players involved for the Lions, Ormston and also Podger Carroll. Will Jong mentioned earlier, Ormston hasn't had a lot of the footy, but he's certainly been in the thrust of many a contested ball situation. Davis there couldn't get any penetration forward for the Zebras. It's the Eastern Lions who get it up now to right half forward. Desperation stuff shown there by Murphy to keep it in, and does enough to at least force a ball up. Right half forward for the Lions. Well now up in ruck against Willoughby. Got the tap down, and it's effective too. Banks. Handball back to a teammate who sets it nice and high. Is it going to go over? No, just stays inside the field of play, and that's just vital for the Lions to get touch on the footy to keep it alive at least with a throw-in.
Zebras need to get more numbers back here.
Thanks to Choose Tab, the clearances at the moment 5 apiece. Eastern Lions with the last 4.
Umpire throws it in, almost getting a push in the back was Flintoff. Umpire said it was okay. Still just in that forward line for the Eastern Lions. Trying to get rid of the football there was Jakey Davis, and he's brought down in a strong knee tackle, and will have a bounce 50 metres out from the goals of the Eastern Lions. Kicking away from the club room ends out at Fair Park in this third term. They'll be coming home to the faithful. Good tackle there by Haylock over the top there of McElroy, and the umpire will once again restart the game. Geordie Buckingham and Brad Pulley today, the umpires, doing a fantastic job too. Umpire throws it up. Came down towards the Ormston direction, got it a little throwaway. He's tried to be cheeky to Combe. He almost got away with it too. And the free kick goes the way of Davis for the Zebras, and he'll come away now on his left boot up towards the wing position. Big fly there by Want, got into the front spot, copped one on the shoulder. It was unlucky. It was there, but it wasn't intended. So Want will put under a bit of pressure in the end, and now the Eastern Lions have to go through the middle of the ground where it's chopped off by Pincott. They might make them pay here as the kick goes out wide, 65 metres out from goal. They'll have a shot, and which way will it go? It might go all the way and touched on the line. David Mathers trying to cheer it home. He had the celebration windmill already in half motion, but the umpire shut him down and threw for a minor score. It's crossed down boundary side, thanks to Chiropedic betting. Here's Will de Jong.
Boys, as soon as he came on there, he sprinted and did not stop to the boundary just to get to that ball pretty much on the last millimetre.
Well, he's dying to get dirty. He's probably one of the cleanest players on the park at the moment. And he almost had the perfect entry onto the field. The
Mercer.
As the Forest Hill faithful aren't too interested in handing the ball back anytime soon to the Eastern Lions. It's always harder with a can in hand. I have mastered it though.
Yeah, you don't want to interrupt the balanced diet at all, BWS, the can in each hand.
Nothing like the double park, mate.
No, not at all. I don't blame him in any way, shape or form. As Hall now marks the kick in, comes to left half back. That's a strong contested mark there, taken by Crosby. And he's another one who probably hasn't had a lot of the footy, but when he has, he's been very effective and important for the Zebras. Kick in, 3-on-1 on that occasion. Well done by the Lions defence. Boucher and Mercer all combining, along with Ormston. The kick, though, again into heavy traffic. Here's Big Herd. Gets it like a rover on that occasion, but the handball's ill-directed to Berger, who then gives it to Newman. Newman now. That's good. The switch of play here, Willoughby, was okay. And the Zebras can now open up things on the broadcast side, courtesy of Mathers. Mathers' kick is good to Gross. So Sam Gross, too far out to score. Wants to sit it on Carnelli's head, possibly. The kick touch goes to Pincock fortuitously, but his kick, though, too flat. Smothered there by Boucher. And now the Lions will look to clear. Couple of handballs. That's too high there. The need handball was Hospital initially, but fortunately for the Lions, Gibbons went too high. Around the head, wrapped up. And it'll be a free kick going the way of McElroy. So McElroy on his left looks to switch again through the corridor. It was an okay kick. He'll get it back here in the 1-2 from Banks. And now goes over to the Scoresby Road side, looking for Want, who put a hand to it, but enough work, though, was done by Rowe to force it to ground, and eventually it runs over for a throw-in centre wing Scoresby Road side.
I just think the Eastern Lions are in control of this game, but they just haven't converted on the scoreboard, Damo.
Indeed, they really need to capitalise on the momentum here, Will.
By throws it in. Jakey Rowe will be the first player to go after it, right on his hammer podger Carroll. And over she goes in front of Martin Stillman and the Forest Hill dugout.
Get the sense the tempo's decreased in the last 5 minutes.
Going up unattended there was Willoughby, got the knockdown, the quick kick into the middle of the ground. McElroy just sat at the back of the pack, and fortuitously it landed in his lap. Now on the left boot, he sends it every bit of 60 metres. That's a fair old roost too. They might have some numbers. Little handball out. Oh, stolen here by Combe. This way, that way. He went too long with it in the end, and that should be 25 with Murphy booting the ball away after the free kick was paid. And he might get away with it okay here. Great tackle there.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, he hung on with it. It was a bit indecisive there with the kick, that player there in Russell Combe, as he tried to shoot for goal, but it was, again, just indecisive.
Yeah, great tackle by Gibbons. Got it away to Pincott, who kicked it just out of that defensive zone here. Scooped upon nicely by Flintoff. Couldn't quite get boot to ball. He was met with a strong tackle and eventually seen over 50 metres out from the Eastern Lions goal line.
You have to admire the Lions' physicality in this game. I think they've probably exceeded everyone's expectations coming in, and they know that finals are on the line.
So ball comes back in, straight into the arms of Mathers. Over the top of him, Vaness, and will have a bounce. 55 metres out from the Eastern Lions goals. They currently trail by 4 points, 21 minutes into the third term.
But they can sense the lead, though, with this passage of play. As Hurts tap down is going to be turned over, unfortunately. The follow-up play, Vaness getting into the back of his opponent on that occasion in Newman. So Newman, his 8th game of the season in the seniors. One of the 5 changes that were made by the Zebras during the course of the week. Kicks it to a big pack of players, and Podger Carroll getting the fist in, sends it over the line out of bounds, centre wing on the broadcast side.
Let's go around the grounds with Wayne Brusher.
Yeah, Baldwin open up a 58-point lead over Knox at three-quarter time, and in Division 2, Doncaster East, third quarter comeback, trail Mulgrave by 11 points at the last change.
Interesting stuff there. As the boundary umpire goes for a second crack at it. The first one was like a bullet, stayed flat. This one, though, was okay. Mercer said thanks very much. Got the clearing kick away to left half forward. Again, player scrapped down. Fisher, though, able to extract it away. Gets onto the left. Nice and high. Good mark to Holdsworth. Just stuck the Dukes out the long sleeves. And he's off to the races now. Wants Carnelli. May not have to worry about him. Almost a mark to Willoughby. Didn't complete the exchange, however. So Boucher now uses Want. And they'll switch play over to the right back pocket. Too far.
And a red card. I've just seen a red card being pulled out, perhaps.
Okay. Keep an eye on that, and the faithful here too at Fair Park Reserve finding their voice as well.
The umpires are conferring. Will de Jong's there on the scene, so they're just deliberating.
Maybe a card hasn't been. I could have sworn I saw a Geordie pull out a card.
Well, yeah, he's confirming the goal umpire now.
One of the Forest Hill players is motioning, look at the third umpire. It's just unfortunate we don't have one.
It's been a pretty bruising affair, this game.
Yes, we do. It's league.
Out of bounds it is. If it's the correct result, it's the best thing they can do is convene between themselves.
Yeah,
exactly.
Don't know where I saw that card from. Maybe it was his shorts. It's a long way away.
Oh, goodness gracious. As the Eastern Lions now, through many chains of handballs, eventually get the clearing kick. It might have been that man once again in McElroy, who's been very busy today off the back line. Huge pack of players forming now in the Scoresby Road centre wing position. Will is there. And Ziegering comes in now to lend a hand to his teammate McPherson, who's come right up from the last line of defence to get involved. And we'll get a ball up courtesy of our man Brad Pulley.
Well, next goal is, I know it's an obviously an understatement, but very, very important here as we approach three-quarter time.
So Gross now up in ruck against Hurd. I would have thought Podger Carroll's head was taken off there by Fisher. Pulley said no, not at all. Didn't have a head to begin with, so we'll let that go.
There's a lot of hair, though.
Plenty of hair. But mustn't have been dirtied enough on that occasion. The Podger Carroll decides, so I won't worry about that. And I'll follow up with a huge kick, unfortunately, about 5 players in front of him. That wouldn't have tickled too much for them as well with the smother. Another ball up, centre wing. Scoresby Road side, in front of the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, which reads 10-5-65 Forest Hill, 9-7-61 Eastern Lions. Quick kick forward for the Lions.
Here we go.
Not there for Cone, who tried to go on the chest instead of stretching out, and he gets involved now here in the gang tackle to ensure that another goal opportunity could happen. He and Whirl teaming up there to wrap up Britain, and we'll get a ball up as we approach 25 minutes here in the third term. Fisher now tries to grab it the first time, missed it. Second time was okay, though.
Well
Quick
done.
hurrying kick, and it was effective as well. Canada's a 1%er maybe. Up to centre wing, Willoughby. Oh, he just bamboozled everybody there, including the ball, and it made it work for him. The follow-up kick, though, unfortunately not so good as it woke up from and Want.
Surprised they didn't continue down the corridor, but nonetheless, back to where they started.
Forest still have flooded their defence here.
McElroy, we know he's got such a good left foot rooster on him, and he kicks it up towards the half-forward line. Mark couldn't quite be taken there from Murphy. He had the back spot, and doing well there, Jack Crosby gives it back to the umpire.
Yeah, well done from Crosby, the contested ball.
55 metres out from the Eastern Lions goal line. Would imagine there's only a few minutes left in this. Little handball back there by Eddie. They've still got the numbers. Here's Mercer. Looping handball. They Hurd got the knock on, and the kick was forward there by Need. He was put under a lot of pressure, and now the Zebras will have a chance to create the turnover. The kick goes up to centre half forward, where Holdsworth is by himself. Dropped what he probably should have taken. Had a little bit more time. Kicks it towards the Carnelli direction. Almost pulled down a Perla. Stolen there by Need in the end. Now they'll get their chance to go forward. Here's Hall. Couldn't quite pick the football up. Had some support in there in Vanessa. And we'll have a bounce 55 metres out from the Forest Hill goals. That was almost a Perla from the big full forward, Manny.
Play from his opponent too to get the fist in there.
Absolutely, great spoil.
Good one-on-one contest. That's been intriguing all day.
Hurd got the knockdown that time, straight into the arms of Davis, snapped around the body, inside forward 50, bouncing football. It did a wrong in there on top, gave Carnelli a bit of a chance to come in. Laws was in there too, knocked the football on once over the pill. In fact, it's Podger Carroll, and we will have a bounce.
Love the tenacity in this term, even though it hasn't been a high-scoring quarter. Certainly the ferocity has been there from both sides.
It was one. Comes down, quick shot up towards the marks, almost taken by Willoughby. Geez, he had 2 bites at it. He had the Rezzies cheering him on as well. 5-point margin out here at Fair Park. 27 minutes gone. It is Forest Hill leading the Eastern Lions in the third term.
Dying stages of this third term as well. We've just gone past 27 minutes. Ball brought back in.
3 on
1
1.
only too many contend with. Good kick forward there was from Crosby. Almost a mark taken. Must have been touch off the boot initially coming through, but the Eastern Lions were quick to respond to that. Vanessa And he's short kick to top. Handball quick there to Banks, has his kick thoroughly smothered. Might come back to him now as Big Hurt tries to use his big size and strength to get through. But then comes to the...
That's a great
nice
tackle.
Great training Gibbons, but wraps him up beautifully for a ball up. Big work there from Kyle Hurd. He goes up again against the high leaper in Stoneham. As we get the three-quarter time siren, smack bang on 28 minutes for that third term. And as Damian Watson mentioned, wasn't a high scoring third quarter, but certainly the intensity, though, remained right throughout that term. In the early stages, though, it was a big breakaway. Carnelli with a couple of goals to open the margin to 17 points, but then goals from Need and then Mercer, who would probably owe him the first shout afterwards, stealing that one from Need with that goal at the 11-minute mark, brought the margin back to 5 points here at the final change across boundary side to Will de Jong.
Boys, Jamo is out of the game. He's had the jacket on for about 10 minutes now. He is hobbling pretty badly on that left leg, so he'll take no further part in this one.
5-point margin to Forest Hill out here at three-quarter time. They are 10-6, 66. The Eastern Lions are 9-7, 61. The Eastern Lions kicking towards the Social Club end in the final term. Major goal kicker on the ground is Matty Carnelli. He has 59 goals for the season with 2 great ones early in that third quarter. 2 goals to Ronan Laws, and for the Eastern Lions, still 2 each to Whirl and Mercer. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern, streaming live around the globe on EFL.com.au. If you're out and about at the football this afternoon, right across the eastern suburb with coming through over the next to be
Dave, mate, and hope
for A1
$59. .com.au.
Netball EFL is back. The fastest growing competition in the eastern suburbs continues to expand. Don't miss the fast-paced action every Friday night across multiple venues. For more information or to get involved, head to efl.org.au. Never miss out on the latest information on the Eastern Football League through the league's social media channels. Live updates, information and scores through the league's Twitter account. The latest news and views on Facebook. Don't miss EFL Gameday or the Match Footage Hub on YouTube. And all those happy snaps on the league's Instagram account. Simply search Footy EFL.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man.
Hope we win this weekend.
I hope we win too. Because I want to kick some weekend goals at Pancake Parlour after the game.
Because if your AFL team wins, you can go in and get a free sweet pancake with any savoury menu item purchase.
Oh, free pancake. First your team wins and then your belly wins.
It's win-win, man.
Claim your free sweet pancake with any savoury item purchase just by showing your winning team's colours.
Or your team membership.
At any Pancake Parlour this weekend.
Oh, and don't forget, check out Facebook for this week's offer.
Lovely.
Program sponsor.
How would you like to be celebrated?
I think a barbie in the backyard would be nice.
I would go to the beach.
Possibly a costume party.
It sounds silly, but I'd like people to bring their pets.
I'd have a karaoke machine. What's coming to my head is an ice sculpture.
Lots of cakes.
Cheesecake.
Lemon meringue pie.
And probably every flavour of ice cream ever.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, they know that every life is unique and they think that every celebration should be too. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
A new time and a new team, driving you home in 2016. Join a brand new lineup for The Huddle as the gang take a light-hearted look at the Eastern Football League every Friday night. More importantly, the team will reveal the ins and outs for this week's round of matches. The Huddle, 4:30 to 6:30 every Friday evening as you love it local.
Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. It's the Aussie family company that's been manufacturing mattresses in Melbourne since 1991. They offer a huge range, and selected mattresses come with everyday deals like free delivery, old mattress removal, 30-day comfort guarantee, and up to 20 years warranty. Buy direct from the factory and never pay retail prices again. Chiropedic Mattress Factory Direct. Locations all around Melbourne and country Victoria. Or shop online 24/7 for mattresses, bases,
You're running
beds,
the ads from
pillows,
here.
and custom-sized mattresses at chiropedic.net.au.
Program sponsor.
Go live and local every Saturday for Pancake Parlour EFL Gameday.
Can he bring the house down, Robbie? They go charging into Division 2.
Stutter step. Now sends it on its way. This one's going to go long. And straight through, Jeff. Pass. Gee, that was poetry in motion, to use the cliche. Braden Cross! Come at the moment, come at the man!
EFL Game Day, 1 through to 6 Saturdays on 98.1 Radio Eastern. All thanks to the Pancake Parlour. Lovely.
And welcome back to Pancake Parlour EFL Game Day. We are seeing an enthralling contest in Division 4 football. Forest Hill currently leading the Eastern Lions by just 5 points, 10-6-66. The Lions 9-7-61. Will de Jong is on the boundary thanks to Chiropedic betting, and he listened in to the coaches' addresses. What did they have to say, Will?
Yeah, so there was a big focus there, boys, on work through the middle. Martin Stillman, the head coach of the Zebras, was just saying that the Lions are getting first use, so they really need to tighten up on that and also put a bit of extra work into number 9 for the Lions. We know how damaging he is, so they'll put a bit of work into him this quarter, but it's all about strength, determination, and the will to win. That's what the focus was, boys.
Thanks very much, Will de Jong on the boundary. Wade Brasher with some around-the-ground scores at three-quarter time.
Yeah, Doncaster bust the game open in the third quarter to lead by 47 points at three-quarter time. Bowen up by 58 points. Noble Park still hold an 18-point lead over Roval. Very close game at three-quarter time. Norwood by 4 points over South Croydon, and Vermont holds sway by 31 points over Montrose. In Division 2, Murrell-Bark opened the game up in the third quarter to lead by 51 points, and Mulgrave still hold a slender 11-point lead over Doncaster East. In Division 3, we have Churnside Park up by 5 points over Ringwood. Baronia 41 points over Sylvan, 2 points up for the South Belgrave over the Basin. Templestowe by 4 points over Heathmont. Warrandyte by 16 over Scoresby. And in Division 4, the Game Day, 5 points to Forest Hills. Glen Waverley Hawks 2 points up on Donvale. Surrey Park have held Coldstream goalless to lead by 70 points. In Kilsyth, they've opened up the game to lead by 28 points at three-quarter time over Whitehorse.
Very comprehensive round-the-grounds coverage there. Thank you very much, Wayne Brasher, as we've ticked in the 50 seconds here in the final term of our EFL Game Day match of the round in Division 4. The Forest Hill Zebras up by 5 points over the Eastern Lions. Make that 6 now with that snapshot. Quite get who that might have been. Probably would have been, I'm giving it to Willoughby, that one. It was a pretty, a lot of numbers around that footy there, BWS, and hard to pick out who got it out of the contest, but I'll give it to him. So that's 2 behinds for the day for Willoughby. There's the long kick. Big roost from Hall too, covering well over 55 metres. Back inside the centre. Probably 2 or 3 throws involved in that one, but umpire a bit blindsided on that occasion. Jordan Buckney hammers the ball, now trickles up to centre half forward for the Lions. Rankin involved on that occasion. This time, because he didn't have the shield of about 10 other players around him to just disguise that throw, that was picked out easily on that occasion. So, kick forward now. That was by Holsworth. Goes to Stoneham. Stoneham, that was an absolute mongrel and turned over as well. McElroy getting involved. Short little kick's okay too. Here to Need, who's got a couple today. Has been an absolute live wire for the Lions. Stoneham manning the mark there, just holding Need up for the moment. He's going to sit this one nice and high to another big backup players and a huge grab from the back by Sam Groves. That was fantastic, absolutely scintillating. One of our A1 Airport marking mark of the day contenders there by Gross as he reached for the skies. The kick, though, not all that pretty, but effective enough, and allows his teammate in Willoughby to see it over the line, centre wing on the broadcast side.
Eastern Lions will be mindful of the fact that they were scoreless in the last quarter last week. They don't want a repeat of that.
Templestowe up by 8 points. Heathmont wasting opportunities. Word coming in from the Apple Peel. So plenty of great games as you go local this afternoon across the Eastern Football League, and we are at one of them. 1 goal is the difference. A big fly there from Stoneham. It was a bit of a fresh air shot from both players with Hurd as the umpires pulled out a free kick here. It'll go the way of Ryan Fisher for Forest Hill. So just taking, he got caught in the glue pot there, but eventually the kick fell short, straight down the throat of Nick Pincott on the right boot, kicks it towards the Carnally direction. Ball hit the deck, it eventually comes out, Zegering ducked. Good tackle there by Cameron Banks. and his teammate there in Brad Need, and we'll have a bounce. Let's go to Wayne Brasher with some more around the ground scores.
Yeah, midway through the last quarter, Norwood by 11 points over South Croydon.
High throws it back up again. Roger Carroll laying a strong tackle.
That tackling pressure hasn't wavered from both sides this afternoon.
Gibbons has been going in extra hard all day. Forest Hill Willoughby, third man up, got the knockdown. Want with the tackle. And a free kick has been paid for, I think that might have been Fisher for, no, in fact it was Newman who was laying an egg. Umpire said holding the football, so it'll be Want now for the Eastern Lions. You can see how heavy that football is. It just holds up and he kicks it straight down the throat of Gibbons, so he'll have a chance to reprieve that last holding the ball decision. Gibbons on the right boot, kicks it up towards the half-forward line. That was a beautiful kick as well. Rowe comes out. He's been pretty quiet today. Jakey Rowe kicked one goal early, kicks it in towards the full pocket to Lawsy, who takes the mark, the big man. Oh, he almost went on with it. And tell you what, he's lucky umpire Brad Pulley was right on the spot there, so he'll get to go back and have a shot. Now, this has been probably the hardest side of the ground to ping one back today, so it's a difficult one, although he's only 30 metres out.
I back him. Now, he should rise to the occasion. There's a lot at stake, and it's certainly kickable despite the wet conditions.
So Laws going for his third. Also a contender for our A1 Airport mark of the day. Kicks it towards goal, starts at left, it remains left. Margin out to 7 points, 68 plays 61 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Some may call that a very valuable behind.
Indeed. 7 points, it certainly is in the context of this game.
So it'll be Hall to bring it back in for the Eastern Lions. Waste no time either. Thumps at every bit of 55 metres there. Cowan was in the front spot, got knocked off the football, but the ball spills out up towards the half-forward line now for the Eastern Lions. In the front spot there was Cone, but he couldn't pull the mark down, so the Zebras go through the middle. The ball was touched off the boot there.
Gone.
And another throw has been paid right in the middle here of Fair Park. They wanted advantage paid. Running away with it was Cox, but the umpire said no.
Zebras quick to flood their defence.
A lot of players inside that arc. You're spot on, Damo. It's going to make it hard to find an avenue towards goal, but they're going to kick it towards the Rankin direction, who had the back spot in the end. A little bit of a headbutt happening there. Kick goes up towards the half-forward line now. Forest Hill is going end-to-end football is going pretty well at the moment, and the free kick's been paid against Laws, who's absolutely filthy, but Brad Pulley was right on the spot. So the Eastern Lions to switch the play now. Need's got a fair bit of space in front of him, but the ball kindly sits up for him. He's run himself into a fair old bit of trouble here. It's going to be chopped off there by Mathers. Podger Carroll came in to force the spoil. That was really good play. Little handball out towards the Holdsworth direction. Was eventually picked up there by Murphy. Knocked it on. Podger Carroll was in there. Holdsworth goes after it again, and we'll have a bounce. Almost true centre wing position out here at Fair Park. It is a current lead of 7 points to Forest Hill.
Wayne Brasher with the round-the-ground scores.
Yeah, midway through the last quarter, and Doncaster have opened up Blackburn to lead by 60 points.
It's a big margin.
In the under-15 boys, Division 1, the Eastern Football League just lost against South Metro, 14-12-96 to 10-7-67 at Walker Park.
It was a gallant fight back, but unfortunately bridged too far for those boys in the end. There's a free kick there on centre wing that went to Fisher, and his little toe poke forward felt the feet of Carnelli, and eventually the ball trickled over the line and out of bounds near the forward 50 arc and boundary line intersection. Ball thrown in. Gibbons bustles his way through the tackle, does well to get up towards Carnelli now. That one just surprised him a little bit, bouncing off his chest, and he goes to ground now. Good work by Top to force him to his hands and knees, and eventually the ball trickles over the line for another throw-in, this time around 20 out from the Forest Hill goal, kicking down to the Manuka drive end here at Fair Park Reserve. Can they get one here to open up to a 2-goal game? Well, not from that passage of play. And there's Newman. Gets involved and holds Podger Carroll up for a ball up.
You can sense the fatigue from both.
He'll be trying to do his best in the ruck. Didn't really get a tap out. Podger Carroll coming forward along with Fisher. Plenty of slapping of mud coming over to the bodies of those two players.
You can hear that in the effects mic too.
That we can. Bruce Press with the sharpest of audio here provided for us, as always. As that one's dug out. Gibbons trying to get it to a teammate, but it was turned over. Murphy did well to pressure that one. The kick now to centre wing. Chopped off, though. Holdsworth. Just surprised himself a little bit. And he's done for incorrect disposal there. Just that little drop. Characterised as a throw. Great lines, pressure on that occasion. The ball comes up to R4. That should be over the shoulder, surely. And that's the way the umpire sees it. So free kicked in. It was Combe. That'll do. Like the fine tooth.
You called it earlier.
It certainly is. 1 goal, 1 so far today.
Haven't used a comb in 15 years.
And, well, luckily enough, the head didn't duck at all on that occasion, and he gets the free kick, despite the fact that he did go to ground. So he'll have the shot just outside 50.
Doesn't look confident.
No, and he's probably one of the very few who might be beyond his range. We've seen a couple drilled from around this area too, right in front of the EFL media caravan. So he goes short. It worked, almost worked. Couple of bites there. Podgacole, no. The Zebra defence equal to the task, proactive enough. Quick kick away by Haylock.
Here we go.
That's going to probably come back with interest. Maybe not.
Well done, Rowe.
Oh, Rowe, fantastic work just to kill the ball on that occasion, because Cohen had an eternity to pick it up, and unfortunately for the big man, couldn't get down the ground quick enough.
They were spot on, that Zebras defence. They watched the quick kick into the hole, and they had enough numbers to clear it from that zone.
Well, went into the arms there of Gibbons, went without the football. Kick was half smothered. A lot of players around. There's boot to ball there from Fisher. Kicked it about 35 metres up. That was good play. No, now it's in the arms of Fisher.
1-on-1.
Kick goes inside forward 50. Worked underneath it was Matty Carnelli, and well done there by Top to take the mark. So on the left boot now, just weighs up his options, switches it out wide. Running away with it there was McElroy. On the left boot, kicks it up towards the position of Vanessa, who had Pincott right on his hammer. And over the boundary line, she goes for a boundary throw-in right in front of the Zebra faithful.
Hit the Wayne Brasher around the grounds.
Yes, Scoresby making a big comeback in the last quarter to be 8 points down halfway through the last quarter against Warrandyte.
Come on, Magpies.
Very impartial, Will.
Brought down in the strong Gibbons cackle. EFL.org.au is the place to be today if you're streaming the game live anywhere around the world. And 98.1 Radio Eastern. As the umpire throws it up. Gibbons again. Geez, he's been hard at the football.
They certainly are desperate, these players. A lot on the line.
And how desperate is the next goal for both teams?
Very crucial. It's be a short quarter too at this rate.
See Brad Pulley barking orders out there.
He's very authoritative.
Cowan got the second knockout on in the end. Guess who? Gibbons at the bottom of the pack. Murphy on top of him. We'll have a bounce. It's just forward for the Eastern Lions. The home side fans are screaming for a goal down their end. It's been a low-scoring last term. As we've said, it's desperation football at its best. Handball by Mercer. Backwards to go forwards. They're going to try and link up through the middle here. This is Bashir inside forward 50, but straight down the throat of Scotty McPherson, who was standing in position A. Wanted to go left, decided to go right, and it was a good option in the end. Mark's been taken out wide by Todd Berger. Just wants to pop it over the top. That was handy. And now they'll get a chance to go forward. Spearing pass up towards the direction of Remington. Got down low, couldn't quite pull it in. He'll go after it again, but plenty of players form around. Let's go around the grounds. Wayne Brasher, some final scores coming through, Brush?
Yeah, we have, and Ringwood have got up by 27 points over Churnside Park. And in a big turn-up, Glen Waverley Hawks have won by 18 points over Donvale.
I was wrong. Comes up Rankin, almost popped one high. Umpire comes in late, but said it was okay. Lee Rankin just towering over Brad Pulley there, having putting in his 2 cents.
Pulley having none of it either. The way he reacted too.
He's a
just
professional.
said enough of that, boys. As Forest Hill get the clearing kick away on the Scoresby road side. Pincott with a nice little toe poke forward. Handy. Remington's handball over the top, chopped by Top. And, well, still a live ball here as the faithful really start to find plenty of voice here. But I'll tell you what, James Top coming off Matt Carnelli, take a bow there. As you said, Damian, a game-saving intercept.
Indeed it was. Carnelli was all on his own in the goal square. Top obviously took the risk to leave his man and block the smother. It was fantastic.
I think Remington for Forest Hill was pretty stiff not to get his own free kick in that play as well as the Lions come away.
That they do to the open spaces of the broadcast wing here. The target on that occasion was Mercer. Huge spoil, though, coming across on that occasion to force the ball over for a throw-in. Fantastic work, Todd Berger.
You can't overemphasise the importance of 1%ers in these
No.
situations, particularly in the wet conditions, and they've been crucial in every passage of play in this final term.
That's why they are named 1%ers, Damian, because every little increment counts towards probably a perfect game in that result. So Podger Carroll now on hands and knees, tries to get a handball back towards Filtness. Missed him, though, as Forest Hill go forward. The unprettiest of fashion, but it might work out to become quite the beautiful swan from the ugly duckling footy. And it's a beautiful swan indeed. Great kick across the body from Davis, hitting the chest of Matt Carnelli. And he'll go back and line up on a 45-degree angle, 20 out for his fifth.
Yeah, this is a big kick. This would almost shut the gate in the context of this game. 13 points.
So as we approach the 15-minute mark of this final term, which has not seen a goal yet, Matt Carnelli could well break the spirits of the home team here. And he puts it through without any issue at all. 5 big ones for Carnelli, takes his season total to 60. And Forest Hill, one step closer to their 8th win of the season. 11-8, 74 to 9-7, 61 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. For Tuesday's Taps, Will Taylor.
The inside forward 50s, Forest Hill 6 to the Lions 2. The clearances all even at 6 apiece. The marks inside forward 50, which has killed the Eastern Lions throughout this game. At the moment, 2-0 in this quarter, 10-3 overall in this game. Free kick count is 6-2 in favour of the Eastern Lions in this quarter, and the turnovers at 7-6 in this quarter.
We'll have another crack at that. Choose tap stats. Sorry, BWS, you take over.
Tap, tap, tap it in. See, umpire.
What a movie that was.
Brings it in now. Pay the quarter. Get on the horse. Comes down now. We'll go around the grounds again shortly. 13 points is the margin.
That's a fun 10 seconds.
So just seeing if anyone can get some clear possession out here. Every time Forest Hill have opened up a bit of a gap today, Eastern Lions have come back with the charge. So trying to break his way through there, Bashir. Gibbons was in there also, lost the footy, then tackled. And let's go around the grounds, Wayne Brasher.
Yep, Norwood have got up by 4 goals over South Croydon, and in another big victory for Wani South, they've got over the line over Waverley Blues by 38 points.
Waverley Blues season is certainly on the line, as is the Eastern Lions as they try to surge forward here. Rankin used his body well, got the handball away, put his teammate there in Murphy under a lot of pressure. Slinging handball was scooped upon there by Gross, but then they've created the turnover again, looking towards the Banks direction. Knocked away there by Mathers. He'll go after it again, picks it up, somehow gets boot to ball. Lucks of Fortune had a teammate in the middle of the ground, and now they can link up. Fisher rode the bump magnificently on the left boot, kicks it up towards the half-forward line. Out the back there is Smythe. He'll be the first player to meet it, but he had an opponent chasing after it just as hard. Hall got the handball away, but to no avail. Oh, the tackling is just fantastic in this game this afternoon. Newman was at the bottom. In the end, here's Jason Want. His handball was chopped off also. Quick kick forward now for Forest Hill. Scrambles towards the Carnelli direction. He's down in the mud. He's one of the cleanest players on the ground. He won't be liking that, but he does a fantastic tackle. And he rips his opponent down in Brad Need, and will have a boundary throw in about 40 metres out from goal. Will Taylor, thanks to Choose Tap.
Yeah, inside forward 50s, 7-2 in favour of Forest Hill. The marks inside forward 50s 2-0 at the moment.
Handball out to Want. Smythe's got him wrapped up in a nice tackle. Berger.
Only 2 marks inside 50 for the quarter. That shows how difficult it is out there.
Another goal will seal it for the Zebras. Big knock there by Hurd for the Eastern Lions out towards the Want direction. Got a little nudge. Umpire said it was okay. Sitting on top of it, Crosby. And Geordie Buckingham comes in to restart this game once again. Knockout by Willoughby over the top. There was no one there for support. Quick kick. This is a really heavy football scooped upon there by Haylock. Set sail in towards the goal. McCarnelli got one bite on it. Couldn't quite pull it down. Handball over the top there by Hall. He had a teammate there in for support. Carnelli ripped him down in a strong tackle and will have a bounce about 40 metres out from the Forest Hill goal. And they'll be happy that they're keeping the ball down that end of the ground.
And that'll be their tactic for the remainder of the game.
Will Taylor, thanks to Choose Tap.
Inside forward 50s now. They've had the last 7 inside forward 50s Forest Hill, and it's 8-2.
Oh, James Top, only eyes for the football. That was a ripper leap, and Mark got crunched in the process of taking it as well, and that's what courage is all about. It's certainly how you get winded also.
No concern for his own body there, BWS, at all.
So Top to kickstart another forward surge for the Eastern Lions.
And we will quickly go around the grounds. Wayne Brasher, more final scores.
Yeah, Ballina got up by 102 points over Knox, and in the line-off, it's the Lions of Mulgrave that have got over Doncaster East by 11 points.
Ooh. That'll win that one there. We'll see whether the Lions of the Eastern variety can arrest the tide of a 13-point deficit here as they go forward. Nice big pack here. Want getting involved and has wrapped up Mitch Newman like a blanket. Beautifully done on that centre-half forward position here for the Eastern Lions. And we'll get a ball up. Brad Pulley just motioning which way he's going to run back. Don't get in his way, that's for sure. There's a high kick here for Forest Hill, goes up. A player standing underneath it. One of those being need. Punched away from him, though, as it now ball trickles towards centre-half forward here for Forest Hill. And again, another desperate lunging tackle to stop Boucher in his tracks, laid on by that man in Remington, and we'll get a ball up for Choose Tap Stats. Will Taylor.
Yeah, that's another. This is the second game in the row so far. The Eastern Lions have been kept scoreless in the last quarter.
I'll have to break that duck within this passage of play here. The ball trickles to the right half forward, but it's only as far, though, as McPherson. McPherson's kick is beautiful to Pincott.
Pincott.
Ah, sensational work. He was outnumbered as well, but he found the front position beautifully and didn't care who was around him. Eyes only for the football. Good contested mark.
Need the time on now.
So Pincott loops it over the top here to Willoughby. And he goes further afield. Shocking kick, that one. Even with the wet conditions, I wouldn't be happy with that as Gibbons falls to his feet.
Copped one high.
Did he? He did. Oh, yep. Right in the head by Hall. So Gibbons now.
I can't see any part of his body without mud.
Yes. I wouldn't think of anyone that wouldn't be inside the jumper. That's for sure. He's definitely covered from head to toe outside, if that makes any sense. Definitely not.
I'm confused. Brash might have got it, though.
Yeah, and that's why he's waving his hand. He's saying, yes, I do have it. As that shot from Gibbons goes right, and I think it's snuck through for...
No.
It's going to be called back.
Out of bounds on the full.
Out of bounds on the full, but now we will go to Brash for the reason why he was waving his hand, and that was the more around the ground scores.
Yes, and Noble Parker back on the winners list with a 31-point victory over Roval, and
just saying.
And Bayswater have demolished.
Gotta get one in. Yes.
And Bayswater have demolished East Burwood by 123 points.
Fist punts coming from Will Taylor, like it was ever in doubt. Still around 50 metres out from goal as it comes out need. Strong tackle. Knocked on there by Gibbons, gets it away. Zegering dropped the football. It'll be a free kick to the Eastern Lions. This is the last throw of the dice for them.
Yes.
They're putting themselves under pressure. Hall on the left boot. Switches it up towards McElroy. Takes it now. He'll want to switch the play once again. Goes out wide. He's needs to take off. They need to take a couple of risks. It's the ball on centre wing position. Mercer using the middle. They've got some clean skills happening in the last 5 or so possessions. McElroy screaming for some options up forward and finds one across the half forward line, and they'll need to move it on quickly. This is the best bit of play of the day as the mark's been taken by Whirl. Might be beyond him here. He might have to even go back and back himself as he kicks the ball inside forward 50, a 2-on-1 situation. Cowan was outnumbered, knocked away from him for a boundary, throwing 25 metres out from goal.
Again, the Zebras just congesting their Eastern Lions forward line, and there were no options whatsoever for World to kick to.
13 points is the margin.
Yeah. Try that again.
Throw in went about 3 metres, so we'll take 2 on that one. Can't be too much longer in this. This one went longer than expected. As knock over the back there by Gibbons. Got it on, and now the Eastern Lions, will they get a chance? Chopped off nicely there by Newman. Just kicked it out of the danger zone. Wanted the safety of the boundary line, and he's going to get it to a
Good
really
kick.
high percentage kick to get a valuable 35 metres. Around the ground scores. They're coming in thick and fast.
Yeah, and could be a real upset here. At the last change, Warrandyte was 16 points up, but with moments to go, Scoresby are now 11 points up with a 5-0 last quarter.
Oh, wowza. So Scoresby doing well. In the arms now of Pincott. Chopped off there by McElroy. He's Hurd. Backwards to go forwards. Combe on the right boot, kicks it towards the Rankin direction. Got spoiled on him, and now the Zebras will try and work themselves through the middle of the ground and get a bit of a run on. Law's got the handball away. On the left boot, he's Davis. Kicks it inside forward 50. Carnelli's in the front spot. Picks the football up. That is a beautiful tackle. It's a great tackle. Trying to say to the umpire, but I had one arm pinged, and that's what a good tackle is. In the end. Just trying to dispose of it. As Hall loops around on the left boot now, here's another chance for him. Kicks it down the throat of Hurd. He'll want to switch things up in towards the middle. That was okay. Vaness takes the mark. They've got players running out wide. Up towards the centre half forward now. The kick goes inside forward 50. Nobody's home. McPherson stands strong. He's been very consistent all afternoon. And he'll take his time to bring the ball back out of the defensive arc for Forest Hill.
So McPherson comes to the left half-back area. That kick set up well okay for Mathers, but well trapped down though by Rankin to allow his teammate Mercer to help out. The kick though is to no avail. There's the final siren here at Fair Park Reserve, and Forest Hill have come in as the visitors and have come away with the 4 points to all but kill off whatever ounce of hope the Eastern Lions still had in season 2016 to make the 4 in Division 4. 11-8, 74 to 9-7, 61. A 13-point triumph to Forest Hill. The goal kickers, Carnelli with a big bag of 5, was a pretty major difference up forward today. 2 goals to Ronan Laws, singles to Gibbons, Rowe and Pincott, and also Remington. Goal kickers for the Eastern Lions, 2 each to Whirl, Need and Mercer, singles to Podger, Carroll, Combe, and also Rankin. Well, Damian Watson, what a game that was. It probably might have surprised a couple considering the ladder positions, but really, I guess with the talk in the pre-show with both coaches, it probably lived up to the hype.
Yes, indeed, but it was an anticlimactic finish, it must be said. The Forest Hill were too good in the end in the wet conditions. Again, I believe the Eastern Lions were held almost scoreless in that final term for the second consecutive week, and that really is the difference. The physicality, the ability to sustain that 4-quarter effort and intensity. The Eastern Lions were very gallant in the first 3 quarters, but in that final term, Forest Hill showed greater class and polish, and in the end, that was the difference. Carnelli was fantastic, as you mentioned, with 5 goals up forward. He was primarily the difference, even though he was manned up well by Top. It was Carnelli with the conversion rate that probably won out in the end. But fantastic effort there from the Eastern Lions, but not enough to defeat Forest Hill, who march on to a possible finals berth, that's for sure. It's becoming more and more probable by the week. That's their sixth consecutive victory for the season.
Final score between Roval and Noble Park, and it's a 31-point win to Noble Park over the Hawks this afternoon. Ray Baird will have stormed out of the ground and tucked himself into bed already, I'm guessing, by that result. Templestowe got up in a really tight game against the Heathmont Football Club, 9-7-61 to 7-11-53, so a margin of 8 points there to Templestowe. Have you got any more that are final, Brash? If you haven't had any new ones, let's start with Division 1 and what the final scores that we have at the moment as we wait for the Forest Hill Football Club to make their way off the ground, where we'll head into the rooms very shortly, get the song, and then get a couple of phone guests, because we'll be going on air till 5:15 today, and then crossing back to Dyson Baker in the Radio Eastern studio. So we'll go to you, Brash.
Yep, Doncaster 18-13, 121. Blackburn 8-7-55 by 66 points. Baldwin 17-18, 120 defeated Knox 2-6-18 by 102 points. Noble Park 11-15, 81 defeated Roval 7-8-50 by 31. Norwood 16-7, 103 defeated South Croydon 12-7, 79 by 24 points. In Division 2, Bayswater, 2023-143, defeated East Burwood 3-2-20 by 123 points. Mulgrave make it 4 in a row, 12-13-85, defeating Doncaster East 10-14-74 by 11 points. Waverley Blues have gone down by 38 points to One Turner South 10-15-75. Waverley Blues 5-7-37. Division 3, Ringwood 9-10-64, defeated Chirnside Park 5-7-37 by 27 points. South Belgrave have got up by 10 points, 10-13-73. The Basin 9-9-63. Templestowe, hard-fought 8-point win over third place Heathmont 9-7-61, defeated Heathmont 7-11-53. And in Division 4, the radio game, Forest Hill 11-8-74, defeated Eastern Lions 9-7-61. Glen Waverley Hawks, big win here, 11-7-73, defeating Donvale 8-7-55. And Surrey Park, big winners over Coldstream, 15-9-99, defeating Coldstream 1-4-10 by 89 points. And the others that come through, we'll certainly give them to you as soon as we can.
Yes, let's head down to the east, to the Forest Hill rooms and hear the song. Well, they seem to have dropped out. Singing certainly with some gusto. Oh, there they are.
Got another score here.
Yes, Wayne Brasher.
Yeah, Kilsyth 14-9.
A disjointed Forest Hill song, but certainly very passionate.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's...
And Barone 44.
Pretty inaccurate there for Barone.
In Division 2 under-15 boys, 11-13-79 defeat South Metro Juniors 2-10-22. And in Division 1 in under-15 boys today, it was South Metro Juniors 14 goals, 12-96 defeat the Eastern Football League 10-7-67, Damo.
Yes, bittersweet there as far as the juniors are concerned. Well, it was an interesting contest here on EFL Game Day. In the end, it was Forest Hill prevailing by 13 points, as we expected. However, they certainly didn't have it their own way, and the Lions were very, very gallant throughout the course of the afternoon here at Fair Park Reserve. Take us through some of the stats thanks to Tuestat, Will Taylor, and some very intriguing ones.
Yeah, there certainly are, Damo. Looking at the stats at the end of this game, it was all Forest Hill pretty much. The turnovers count 62-50 in favour of Forest Hill in today's game. Free kick count 24-17 for the Eastern Lions, 13-7 in that second half. Marks inside forward 50s, all Forest Hill 10-3 in favour of the Zebras, 4-1 in that second half. The clearances 48-39 in favour of Forest Hill, and 51-38 inside forward 50s for Forest Hill, 23-15 in that second half. Damo.
Yes, certainly Forest Hill just prevailing in most of the very, very important and prioritising stats there on the Yarra Valley scoreboard. Thanks for your contribution in that department there, Will Taylor, this afternoon. Loiue Bulzomi, you certainly had a big look at the game, a great call from yourself. Who do you think were the standout players and the difference? Matt Carnelli would have to be up there.
Thank you very much, Damian. Yes, well, especially in the second half when those goals really did become the premium that we thought they were going to be at the start of the game. He kicked all of Forest Hill's goals in the second half, which was just the 3 of them to go with 5 for the game. And you might think it really wasn't really a dominant 5-goal performance from him, but it's just he just was there when it mattered in the second half. And it was a great effort from James Toppin. Unfortunately, bridge too far for him in the end.
Let's head down to the boundary line, and Will de Jong has been fantastic for Chiropedic betting this afternoon, and he's got a guest down in the rooms.
Yes, I have, boys. I've got Martin Stillman down here, head coach of the Zebras. Great win, mate. You must be happy with that.
Look, it's a really tough game.
Bring him outside.
Well, I think Will de Jong will have to bring Martin Stillman outside. We seem to have some technical problems there in regards to that interview, so we'll get him up as soon as possible. And it certainly has been an interesting afternoon around the grounds. Just before we get Martin up once again, was there anything around the grounds, Will, that surprised you? I know you backed Scoresby this afternoon to defeat Warrandyte.
I did. Yeah, great result there by Scoresby. It kept some hopes alive. But the one that interests me most was Mulgrave series. We're going to beat Mulgrave easy.
They really just got another...
70 points off of my 500. over the Eastern Lions, and they capture their 16 and join us one Martins. But you certainly, particularly in that.
Yeah, look at the game today. So I think Matt might have kicked the last 3 out the half for it. You know, played a really good game.
At least a goal a game with one, and he joins us right now here on EFL Game Day. Welcome, Nick.
Hey guys, how you going?
Yeah, very, very well. Well, very hard fought. You'll certainly enjoy the nice post-game formalities after a very scrappy win. But I guess well, maybe some people on the outer may not have expected something so close or a good fight from Eastern Lions. You certainly did not think it was going to be just a walk in the park. You knew that the challenge was going to come.
Nah, it's always hard coming here. We talk about it during the week, and we have a bit of dread coming out and playing this ground sometimes. It's generally pretty muddy out there. Once you get into the flanks, you are a little bit of quicksand. So we knew that we're in for a massive fight today. Eastern Lions are pure heart when they play. So it's... You know, you just got to get your head over the ball because they're going to be there all day, and you just try to get a few goals quick because they're really going to lock it down. So really proud of the boys with that.
No, it was really well fought at all. But were you probably surprised yourself in having a look at the first half and going, how have we kicked 8 straight so far in these sort of conditions? It's just absolutely magic. Is it just pot luck that the balls just hit sweet, or is it a thing that it doesn't matter what conditions happen, you're still going to be able to hold up with your skills?
No, look, I think we managed to get a fair few set shots, and that was the key to it. Yep. When we moved the ball really quickly from the midfield, we were able to get some marks out in front and have fairly reasonable shots at goal. So on a day like today, contested marks inside 50 are absolute gold, and I think that's what helped us in the first half. I didn't even know we were 8 straight, so that's a real credit to us.
And Nick, we were just talking to your coach before about the diversity of your team and some boys who can play a lot of multiple roles, not just stick to forward or back, but they can play a lot of things. Just some names I'm going to throw at you. Laws, Newman I thought was great in that last quarter. How confident are you in those players and the fact that they can swing forward or swing back and really play whatever role's thrown at them? Yeah,
well, that's the great thing about us. There's not many of us that are just sort of one-role players. And, throughout the course of the year, you're going to need that. You're going to have injuries. The game's going to change. You may need someone to go back if someone goes down injured. So I think one thing that we've done really well across the board, Laws, Berger, Newman as well, they've been able to go back and they've been able to go forward. Newman went forward in the last quarter for a bit of a lockdown role on Want, which was really good because his run off the back flanks sets them up. Yep. So, he managed to go from the back line on the wing as well, and then play a crucial role up forward. So it's really good to see from him.
Yeah, we definitely highlighted that role he had in the last quarter. It was pretty important. What about yourself, mate? Where do you see yourself settling down towards the finals? Is it on the wing or pushing more up towards half forward?
No, I'd like to play on ball, mate. I've hardly been on the wing at all this year. So, I like to sort of get that tap from the ruckman, try to get the first disposal, and sort of spread from there. But, there's never an issue with going forward for 5 or 10 minutes and seeing what you can do. But I like leaving it to our boys up forward. When I'm up there, I try to get out of their way. Hammer doesn't want me sitting in his hole. So, but probably on ball, boys.
That's fair enough. Give us an idea of how physically intense it was out there. It must have been one of the toughest tests in that regard for the season.
Yeah, look, it's a funny game like that. Look, I'm not overly sore. Maybe that says something about myself. But it was...
He's just joking, fella.
The issue is, because it was so muddy, it almost wasn't that hard football. It was contested and there was a lot of tight ball, but it probably wasn't as physical as what you would on a drier day to an extent, because people aren't hitting you with speed. You're sort of getting tapped down, you're getting tackled. When they get you in a good tackle and drop you down, you definitely feel it. But it was it was contested, but the ball wasn't moving much. So. Still physical though, we'll be feeling it tomorrow.
Now, Nick, this is the second week in a row that you've had to pull off a big last quarter. Obviously, you'd had exactly the same situation last week against Surrey Park. What's the thing in this last quarter that really got you over the line for the last 2 weeks?
I think it's just a bit of belief now. Early on in the year, obviously a lot of new players coming through and sort of just getting used to how each other play. I know, it happens with every team. You go in at quarter time, half time, three-quarter time into your groups. I can only speak for the midfield, but I'm sure it's the same with our leaders up forward and up back. But we talk about how they're going in the last quarter is now up to us as a midfield. If we can get first use inside 50, then we're going to give ourselves a chance to win. And then also on the defensive side, once the ball is turned over, it's us to stop the ball. So I think it's just, we have that chat. We really believe in it. We believe in our abilities. And I think it's just third or fourth game now we've won by under 2 goals. And that just comes down to heart, which, we've been losing those games in the last couple of years, so it's really good to see that maybe we've turned that leaf over, and when the game is close, that we've got that contested work and a bit of flair to hit up our forwards and get the win.
Well, Nick, congratulations on the victory. Make sure you rest up ahead of next week. 6 consecutive wins on the trot. Fantastic. Enjoy it.
Beautiful.
And thanks for joining us.
Yeah, appreciate it, boys. Cheers.
Thanks,
Nick Pincott joining us on EFL Game Day, highlighting a fantastic win for the Forest Hill Football Club this afternoon over the Eastern Lions, and they go into the run home with plenty of momentum. And Loiue Bulzomi, very good speaker, Nick Pincott.
He certainly is. Hey, I was going to say if he was available next week, but no, he's got a big game against Donvale, so no, we'll let him play his footy first, but certainly a post-career in media, absolutely. I'll give him 2 thumbs up for that. Well done.
I was interested in his comments about the physicality of the game. He said it wasn't that intense, even though it was muddy. Yeah. There was still a lot of interesting, skillful football, and that did resonate in the game. It was very accurate, and I think for most of it up until three-quarter time, relatively free-flowing for these conditions.
Absolutely, and I just think, as you mentioned before, that belief that they can finish off games off against the really good teams. They obviously knocked off Surrey Park last week, coming from behind. The next 2 weeks now for Forest Hill will pretty much define their season in regards to top 2 finish and maybe a premiership contender, because they've got Donvale on the road next week, then they've got Kilsyth at home before they've got into a really easy patch. Obviously, they've got Nuttawading, and then they've got Ferntree Gully the week after. So this next 4 weeks for for Forest Hill is going to be absolutely critical to their premiership hopes.
Absolutely. Let's head to Wade Brasher for some all-important around-the-ground scores.
Yeah, a couple more final scores here. Damian, it's a 66-point victory to Vermont, 15-13, 103, defeating Montrose 5-7, 37, and just confirming the final score from the Warrandyte Scoresby game, and it was a big win to Scoresby, 4 goals to zip in the last quarter to come home and win by 11 points. Scoresby 8-13, 61, defeating Warrandyte 7-8, 50.
The Magpies are back, guys. The Magpies are back.
Jumping on the bandwagon. Yes, I think you were the only one who picked that result.
I did, actually.
To the game. I thought Warrandyte would win at home, that's for sure. Well, Jong, you were on the boundary this afternoon. Take us through what you saw in terms of the physicality of the game. Nathan Jamo was a big loss for Forest Hill, but they managed to cope with that depth and obviously account for his loss.
Oh, absolutely. It was when Nick was in here telling us that it wasn't overly physical. I was like, are you kidding me? Because I was scared just being on the boundary line. It was very physical from my point of view, but what he was saying perhaps was very true in the fact that they don't go in as hard when it's that cold. It just seems like that to us because there is so many more contests in a sloppy game. But yeah, huge loss with Jamo going down, but luckily they were able to rally, and it was just the finesse that they had in that last quarter that, for me, just helped them get over the line.
Might go through our votes now, guys. It certainly has been an interesting contest, and I know you've been looking forward feverishly to going through them. Let's start with you, Loiue Bulzomi, because I know you came on the front foot with the free 2 and 1s.
And our winner today will take home a Trojan toolkit
Ooh.
as well, $150 worth of Trojan tools. So a fantastic prize for our best on ground this afternoon.
No, that certainly is. Get into the tool shed with that.
And we're all giving votes today. We'll leave Brush alone as he makes as he was been working feverishly on all those around the ground scores this afternoon. But of course, the 5 of us will be giving our 3, 2, and 1 to see who takes home the award today. And Will Taylor will no doubt be our scribe because that's what he does and does well. So, but Loiue, take it away. How did you see the votes pan out today on what was a very difficult day to give votes as well? A really tough, hard slog. There was so much pressure, so much desperation. Really enjoyed it today. It was a full team effort by both sides when you look at it.
No, I couldn't say it any better. BWS, really hard to fit almost 44 players into 3, but I've done my best here. I'm going to give 1 to Mitch Newman, and why? Because of the fact that he did probably the most important lockdown role in that last term, and the game was really in the balance and shutting down the pretty hot Jason Want. So that masterstroke move there from Martin Stillman to give the role to Newman, and he did it with absolute aplomb. So a big tick for him. He gets the 1 vote. Cohen McElroy, he gets my 2. So very important right throughout the game for the Eastern Lions with his drive off half back, and he would push forward as well and be quite a danger and get a few inside 50s as well. And he was pretty much tirelessly putting that effort in right throughout. So 2 votes for him. But in the end, Lucas Gibbons will get my 3. Just on a day where you know that contested footy is going to be at an absolute high, he was in the thick and thrust of almost every single stoppage contest, and more often than not would be the one to extract the handball out and really get a lot of play generated for Forest Hill. So he gets my 3 votes today.
Just confirming a quick around the ground score. Ferntree Gully 50 goals 14, 314 defeated. Nunawading 0 for the entire game. I predicted 500 to 0.
Not good enough.
So you're 186 off, mate.
No.
Not close enough.
Well, I think someone said 150 to 0, so I think I was closer. But anyway, let's go through the rest of the 3, 2 and 1s from this game in Division 4. Will de Jong.
Yeah, so it was a very hard game to nail down to 3 people. I thought both sides had a lot of strong players. Special mention quickly to Hurd. I thought he was really good. And also, I mentioned before Ormston, who didn't have a lot of possessions, but he was very, very physical, something I noticed in the boundary. But I had to give a vote to Carnelli, so he gets my 1 vote. And I also went with Newman for the 2 votes. He was just extremely good in that last quarter. It wasn't just the fact that he was shutting down possessions, but he'd give him that extra nudge when he was on the ground, or give him that extra push. And then also I had Gibbons 3 votes. He was just outstanding, both in the air, and his physicality especially really set the tone for Forest Hill, boys.
Will Taylor, you're 3, 2 and 1.
Yeah, I gave my 1 vote to Lucas Gibbons. I thought he had a great game, especially in that midfield battle. When it had to be 1-1 in that last quarter, I gave them the 1 vote. My 2 votes I gave to James Todd. I thought, to be honest, going to this game that Matt was going to at least get 10 goals, but not to be, obviously.
Halfway there.
So what's that? You've given 2 votes to Top? Is that what you said?
Yep, 2 to Top.
And Matt Carnelli's kicked 5 goals, the leading goal kicker on the ground?
Yeah, no, I didn't give him any votes, because I gave my 3 votes to Nick Pincott. I thought he had an outstanding game today, really running the show for Forest Hill in today's game.
My 3, 2 and 1. I gave 1 vote actually to Lee Rankin of the Eastern Lions. He wasn't overly consistent across the 4 quarters, but he was very good in the air and on the ground. I thought he was a hard tryer all afternoon. 2 votes for me to Matt Carnelli with 5 goals. He was ultimately the difference on the scoreboard and was very good in the clutch effort in that final term. And Lucas Gibbons, my 3 votes, certainly the best player on the ground in terms of his in and under physicality and ability to win the contested ball.
Really,
Warren Smith.
Really tough game to give votes for. I thought Laws was excellent. I thought Newman was excellent. But I've squeezed Nick Pincott in for 1 vote this afternoon. Although he probably didn't get as much football as what we'd see him do on a dry day, it's just what he does and how he reads the football and uses the football that really had his team in good stead, and he really helped them moving forward. And when times were tough. 2 votes I gave to Jason Want from the Eastern Lions. I really do believe he was their best player on the ground. Although he got slowed down probably in that last quarter, we know that it wasn't high scoring. It was really tough football anyway for anybody to get any clear possession. So I thought he was absolutely super. But Lucas Gibbons is, I think it's unanimous this afternoon.
Correct.
He was absolutely brilliant, and he'll take home our Match of the Day, Player of the Day award, which is a Trojan toolkit valued at $150 as well. So hopefully he's a tradie. If not, he can re-gift it. He can do whatever he likes with it. But congratulations goes to him as we go through the other awards before we quickly wrap up and head back to Dyson Baker in the Radio Eastern studios. I know Damian Watson is about to head off. If you'd like to... You can use Will's mic if you like, mate, or you can just chuck yourself back on. Great to have you back on board. We'll say goodbye to you now as you make your way out.
No worries.
Where are you heading tonight?
Very polite. I've got to do the racing finalisation for the show I'm involved in tomorrow, so I'm going to keep up with the Flemington races.
How did you go? How did you go on the punt today?
I'm hopeless, BWS.
You're in the industry. I've been waiting for you to text me with some tips. It never comes. But
that's why he's hopeless.
If that's your form, then I'm happy you have it.
A form analyst never shares their secrets.
No, you could still get him to text you BWS, but just do the opposite in that case.
Okay.
Grace, reverse psychology.
Yes.
Yeah, but if he picks one, there's usually 10 or 13 other runners, so it does make it difficult.
Yeah, true.
Thanks very much, Damo. Great
Thanks,
stuff
Damian.
today, and looking forward to calling with you over the next couple of weeks.
Well
as well,
done,
mate.
man. Looking forward to it. Cheers.
The Golden Tonsils of the Eastern Football League media team, Damian Watson with us today. Let's go through some of our other awards that were Pretty hard to choose at some points. Let's have a look at the A1 Airport Parking mark of the day. And we had a couple of contenders. A brilliant mark taken by Ronan Laws in the second term, and also Sam Gross in the final term as well, which we heard Loiue call. I think that given how tough that last quarter was, I'm almost swaying towards giving it to Gross for that mark in the fourth quarter. What do you think?
Because you said I called it, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
No, it was a fantastic mark coming from about third deep in the pack, and he did rise up on a day where it's very hard to really get off the ground given the muddy conditions. So it was a very good mark at a very crucial moment of the game.
Absolutely, and you've got yourself probably a highlight too on EFL.org.au or YouTube during the week. Dyson's listening back to this now. It was in the about halfway through the fourth quarter. The Chiropedic betting goal of the day. Also a couple of contenders. Jakey Rowe early in the match in the first term. That was very classy. But then to get the crowd up and excited, and also another one brilliantly called by your good self, Louis, was Ben Podger-Carroll as well.
Yes.
So I think the latter of the two is probably takes home the chocolates today. $100 voucher going to Ben Podger-Carroll from the Eastern Lions, and he'll be able to spend $100 however he likes at Chiropedic Betting. And then they certainly have a lot of great products, including some good pillows. We give away pillows as well, a good sleep after a great goal. So I certainly sleep on one, and they are delightful. I made sure I put one in my girlfriend's house as well because her pillows were rubbish.
Guess what? You're sleeping in the doghouse tonight.
The chances are she's not listening, so I thought I could throw that one in. If she doesn't call me tonight, I know why. And the Pancake Parlour play of the day is a $50 voucher given out to the best passage of play, how it started. It could also be a mark or a turning point in the match. Is there anything that springs to mind? It's always our hardest award to give away at the end of the day. So I'm happy to take suggestions on this one. I've done my bit for the other three, so I can see Will just trying to scratch his head and try and think of something. But Will Taylor, you look like you've got something in mind.
Yeah, I just think in that late passage, that last quarter, I just thought that big stop there from James Top, I think it was, in that last quarter. It's really smothered the ball with Matt Kennelly. Matt Kennelly shoots. They had an open goal, smothered the ball, and made it a dead play on that full pocket line for Forest Hill.
Off the hands of Remington, yeah.
Yeah, well, then Remington's efforts was brilliant also. And what a surprise. Will Taylor gives James Top, the only one of us to give him 2 votes for the day. Then he tries to throw him in for an award.
You got to be kidding me, Will.
Besties looking after besties.
Oh, of course, nice.
I'm trying to give some love to the Eastern Lions. Come on.
Well, they certainly got the love with the Ben Podger-Carroll mark, the goal, I should say. It's a really tough one to call, this one. I don't know.
There's a lot of similar passages as well. I mean, one of the ones that almost was up there for goal of the day as well was probably that little bit early on. I think it was Carnelli's first goal where he was just able to. It looked like the ball was probably going to be a little bit too much for him. Didn't really take the mark. It spilled to ground. He was able to just get it up. Didn't really take full possession of it again, and then just quickly swung in the 9-9, as I called it, at the time, and put it through. But
okay, well, let's go with complete opposite to what Will said. Let's go for Top's opponent, Matt Carnelli. a five goal performance today is no mean feat. And Matty Carnelli's been around a long time. I'm sure he can put away a short stack or two at the Pancake Parlour. So we'll give him the complimentary voucher this afternoon.
The Sunday morning specialist.
It wasn't free-flowing football. It was wet weather football. The ground has been bogged, so it was tough to get a play of the day where everything worked absolutely seamlessly. Whereas Carnelli ended up being one of the cleanest players on the ground as well, and still kicked 5 goals.
And plus, as well, I guess too, as I start to recap some of the plays too, BWS, a few of those pinpoint passes early on too that hit. Well, he was on the end of them pretty much. So either way, he would have been involved.
I'm sorry, Will. It's a democracy here, and you've been outvoted, mate.
Oh, that's all right. I knew that was going to happen. So, Yeah, definitely give that to Carnelli.
Before we sign off out here at Fair Park, we're going to cross to Wayne Brasher for one last time because the scores have kept coming through. He hasn't got them all just yet, but let's start from the top, the Premier Division. How did Division 1 pan out today, Brash?
Yep, in Division 1, Doncaster by 66 points, 18-13, 121. Blackburn, 8-7, 55. Balwyn, 17-18, 120. Defeated Knox, 2-6-18 by 102 points. Noble Park were the big winners today, 11-15, 81. Defeating Roval, 7-8, 50 by 31 points. Norwood make it 4 in a row, 16-7, 103. Defeating South Croydon, 12-7, 79 by 24 points. Vermont, 15-13, 103. Montrose, 5-7, 37. Big victory again for the Eagles by 66 points. Unfortunately, nothing from Croydon or Mitcham all day.
But Croydon were leading at the last score that we had.
Yeah, 7-7.
Got a final score, gents?
Go for it.
I say that and then I've lost it completely. Hang on. Here it is. Croydon 12-19, 91 have defeated Mitcham 9-9, 63.
Lemon chicken nearly. East Burwood went down by 123 points, 20-23, 143 to 3-2-20. Haven't got a final for Lilydale or Mooroolbark. Dyson, can you help out there?
I certainly can. And once again, I've got to look for it again. Mooroolbark 10-13, 73 have defeated Lilydale 5-12, 42.
Okay, in the line-off, Mulgrave Variety get up by 11 points, 12-13, 85 to Doncaster East, 10-14, 74. A result by 11 points.
They're on a roll.
They are, aren't they? Wani South get back on the winners list by 38 points, 10-15, 75 to Waverley Blues, 5-7, 37. In the Upper Gully Park Orchards game, Dyson, I've got Upper Gully winning by 11 points, 9-11, 65 to 7-8, 50. Ringwood, 9-10, 64, defeating Chirnside Park 5-7, 37 by 27 points. Big win to Baronia by 90 points, 19-21, 34 to Sylvan 6-8, 44. Up the mountain this afternoon, South Belgrave get a hard-fought 10-point victory over the Basin. South Belgrave 10-13, 73, the Basin 9-9, 63. And in the top big clash down at Templestowe this afternoon, they've outlasted the Jets by 8 points. Templestowe 9-7, 61, defeating Heathmont 7-11, 53. And as we pointed out earlier, big last quarter by Scoresby. They've got home by 11 points, 8-13, 61 to Warrandyte, 7-8, 50. And in Division 4, the EFL game day was a victory to Forest Hills by 13 points, 11-8, 74 to the Eastern Lions, 9-7, 61. And Ferntree Gully kicked the sweep this afternoon, 50 goals 14, 314 to Zilch over the Nunawading Lions. Big winners in Division 4 this afternoon were the Glen Waverley Hawks with a win over Donvale. Glen Waverley Hawks 11-7, 73, defeating Donvale 8-7, 55. Surrey Park did a great job today to keep Coldstream to 1 goal to win by 89 points. Surrey Park 15-9, 99 to Coldstream 1-4-10. And Whitehorse put up a gallant effort against Kilsyth to only go down by 11 points. But it was Kilsyth 14-9, 93, outlasting the Whitehorse Pioneers 12-10, 82. BWS.
Done a great job all afternoon, Brash. Thank you very much for your work around the grounds today, and we look forward to EFL Sunday in the morning between 10 and 12, and then heading out to Quamby Reserve
yes. It's going to be a
for the
good
big
game.
local derby.
I was a bit worried there, BWS. I didn't get any scores from them today. That game.
Waiting for you. You almost gave one of them a backhander, did you?
Yeah, just about. We got to say. We've got to say hello to one of our fellow colleagues, BWS, sunning herself on the beaches in Bali that listened to us this afternoon, sucking a few Long Island iced teas, and that's our friend Alana Coleman. Alana, I hope you're having a good time on the beach out there, so come back safe.
Fish bowls, jungle juice is what Bali's all about. It's been a great day out here as we wrap up and thank the team. Will Taylor back into the special comments chair, worked the stats as well, thanks to Choose Tap. Did a great job today, mate, and we look forward to getting you back on board soon.
Yeah, thank you very much, Benny. And look, it was a great day out here. It's definitely more than what I expected. But the question is, it's all about East Burwood.
Will de Jong, who rode shotgun on the boundary line between both coaches today. Had a little bit of trouble getting reception in different parts of the ground, but always made good and got the guests rolling on through. Great job by yourself, mate. At least you didn't have to use the brolly today, and we look forward to getting you back on the team real soon.
Yeah, no, thanks, mate. It was good to be here today. Great match, and looking forward to tomorrow, listening into tomorrow down at Quamby.
Of course, we thank Damian Watson, who'll be in his car heading back to begin work once again, but he'll be back on board for the remainder of the season, which is great. And the man who's jumped on board this season is Loiue Bulzomi, and he did a magnificent job next to me today, calling the game. Magnificent stuff, mate. You umpired this morning, you called this afternoon. You deserve a good night tonight.
No, thank you very much, BWS, and what a game too. You know how to pick them over here in the Eastern Football League, and it was a scintillating one to call today.
Yeah, it was an absolute cracker. Thanks to Bruce Prest from the Loft Productions. Always does a great job, Giggles, as does Leroy Green, sitting behind me right now, who debuted on the huddle last night, and he really loved that. We might actually...
I heard it was an outstanding debut too, BWS.
It certainly was, but it's... time to wrap up here. There was a big crowd out here and they came to see a great game of football. Division 4, the standard just keeps getting better and better. Wherever you were out in the eastern suburbs, we hope you enjoyed your day. If your team won, that's fantastic. If they didn't, well, they'll live to fight another week, and all the best with that. Tomorrow morning from 10 a.m. it is EFL Sunday. Gav Casey hosting. I'll be on the panels, and the two wise men of the Eastern Football League, Ray Baird and Wayne Brasher, in the studio also. Before we head out at 2 p.m, there's a gap of 2 hours for Val's Box, and then we'll head out to the Quamby Reserve to commentate the big game between North Ringwood and East Ringwood as well. So signing off here from Fair Park. Drive safely, have a great Saturday night, and then make sure you're tuned in to 98.1 Radio Eastern from 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, because it's all happening here in the Eastern Football League.
We're done.